So there we go. First, let's say it's Friday. Dies on rotations, has a couple of issues, but it's still FaZe get a couple of kills. Saturday rolls around. All right, guys, we need some emotional responses on camera. All right, just ham it up a bit, and they're like, all right, if I have to, do you not want us to win? They're like, no. Think about the video. So all right, Sunday, the phone call at 7 a.m. What do you want? Fuzz is on the phone. It's like, guys, what's going on? All right, win it now. It's like, what do you mean? We've had to play the way you've told us to. And they're like, well, now you need the arc storyline. You got to pick it up. And they're like, couldn't we have done that in the last 2 days? Think of the content. That's it. Like, look at that beautiful look from Kemba. But yeah, it's just a content piece,
It's a worrying look from Kemba because he's actually
OK さんどうも
in the blue, so I think he may have had a bit of a disconnect there.
てか最近さ、高松さん配信来なくね
Tab,
高松さん
Vestalok and Senya.
俺高松さんに PUBG もっと配信しろって言われて最近頑張ってんのに高松さん来ないよ
Still
ね
coming in through the blue just past El
おかしいな
Pozo.
LINE しようか
Inside the circle, everyone else is finding a foothold here. It'll only be Navi that's rather late to the party. Hence, a team that we keep holding to a higher standard, and I think it's deserved.
When do we
I'm
stop?
kind of okay
When
with
do
that.
we stop though? Like, when do we actually
I like-
stop holding to this? Because I feel like there's got to be a cutoff point, right? Like season 1, awesome team. Okay, they've had hit and miss events, and they do these crazy comebacks every now and then. But
なんか
when
フ
do
ェ
we
イズ1位なんだけどなん
stop
で
going? But their end, of course we believe in them. They're currently sat like 12th. Like, when do we
こんに
when
ち
do we
は
stop? When's the point?
楽しく見ましょ
I think if they don't qualify for this, if they don't get to the
う
finals, then
国
there is
王
a
って言われ
problem
るとなんか恥ずかしいね
fundamentally. And
Navi は
they
い
need
つ
to
も通
look
りの
and
アン
see
チ
what
外
the
か
hell's
ら
going on because the play styles
端端で入って
still
く
for
る
me
やつや
hasn't
ね
adjusted. It still feels a little bit slow. I'm only a caster and I'm only saying what I see. Things might be totally different to the trained eye, but aggression wins these tournaments. Aggressive teams do well. Aggressive teams pick up the frags. And I'm not saying just go completely balls to the wall, diving in, full send it DA to the maximum extreme levels. You see Liquid, you see FaZe. They have a good position, but they take fights proactively, which give them position. They take fights when it's safe to do so. They take fights when they're engaged with another team and third party and mop up. Yeah, I suppose we just keep for now. I don't want to keep harping on about them
Is this
because
a
there are other
crash?
people in
No.
the buffer.
Okay.
It wasn't the full push.
I thought they were going. Yeah.
いや
Okay, no, carry on.
別
Sorry.
まあまあまあ何でもいいよ
So yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's a really good call to make. Actually, Lauren, there is a point where we get the cut off and say, it's just you don't deserve this kind of limelight that we're setting yourself and putting you in the spotlight. You're good players and all, but you have to prove it long term with
お
when you come up with the land settings and
フェイ
stuff.
ズやばくねえか
Or the land placement, should I say?
フェイズやべえな
Small pull up towards the backside here. Better luck next time. Wookie Bookie in the kill feed. Lita. IQ, another team that has been having difficulties, down in 24 for this entire current
I was quite
standings.
surprised that
Well,
the
Kekko
Misfits
yabai
were on
ne.
to get that
Phase
knock.
is
If I'm honest, I thought it might have been the other way around. But look, next time we're on the closest ridge line, and I guess FaZe were completely occluding themselves towards Belloc next time, and then, Misfits pop along. It's a bit of a, I've got to say, for FaZe, bit of a crappy compound, isn't it? Like, look at that. Is that, I guess maybe strategically they feel it's a good position, but it's not brilliant.
It's not the best thing in the world, I agree. It's whatever kind of works for you, and that's probably why we're seeing some small and minor adjustments and repositions. Let's take a look a bit further at the circle. It's good for now. With this long road, there are options to kind of ditch it and bail out. It looks like Kemba did come back.
Hi, konbanwa.
Kemba Senya, whoever it was, has rejoined us. So Navi are back up to a fourth player. They're currently just arriving into Kumisera. Better luck next time. We'll fall back away from FaZe Clan. They'll leave out front and center to keep an eye track on it. He does have problems across the road, though. Tixu's also doing the exact polar opposite. Solo player just chilling with the team set back across a different roadside. A lot of teams vying for the hills at the moment to where Misfits are shooting down. You can just see them in the distance. Really good compounds and really solid terrain that you can keep a hold of.
引き伸ばしはあかんって言ってたよな
This could be the end of him. It looks like Levent does have a full viewership, so the instant confirmation comes through. which is what we should expect. Because, you know, no matter what, I've seen a few times say not a big fan of the flushing. Look, it's a point. If you don't take it, some other bugger on the map's going to, and especially like Miramar, where everyone's running a DMR and everyone's running a 6 times.
俺 Day4 と Day3 見てないんだよね。Day4 Day3 見てないから。
Not a fan of flushing. Who's ever said that?
Day4 Day3 を見ないと。なんでフェイズがこんなに稼いだか見れてないんだけど。まあライブはライブで見る楽しさがあるからいいか。
not a big fan of flushing. As if it's a
Oh, I
BM
mean,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Day4 Day3 もいつか見ないとな。
Like I've played with a lot of streamers, and they're like, "Oh, that's so BM. Why have they ruined our game? Oh no!" It's like, shut up. I'm playing to win.
Yeah.
Like I don't want a participation award. Piss off. I love all my streaming buddies, by the way. Keep playing with me and sub to me on Twitch using Twitch Prime. I'm kidding. But the point is, it's a competitive game. Go play Animal Crossing. We're having a good time here. Like, do you want to fight, you know, against a 4v4 or a 4v2? What do you think? Which one would you rather probably have a better chance at winning at? Stop that. That conversation doesn't come here. Maybe in casual games, debate away. Cool. I'm still going to flush every one of you, and I'm going to enjoy watching you get mad. I will clip it on your stream. I will enjoy that clip. I will then post it back to you. Stop it. Stop it. That's like saying Counter-Strike. Like, oh, I'm not going to headshot them because I want it to be a fair fight, so I'll only go for the body shots. Stop it. Oh, people.
Set you off, haven't I? Sorry, Lauren.
You have. Why have you done that?
But I think this is why
Richard.
ranked is so damn good, though, because I know it's not the exact super settings, but it's close to it. It's closer than what we've ever had before, and I think it's now opening people's eyes to what the loot settings are like, the circle settings, and how sweaty you have to be, and how quick these players have to be on their feet, because it is kind of sweaty. There's people shooting you all over the place. Every single, it's like old school day one PUBG where people just bomb Seneca. It is very, very difficult, and if you're not used to it, what the hell is this?
Speaking of difficult. Oh, that's good. FaZe, a little bit of a push. Artix on the receiving end. It looks like FaZe kind of just spun it around on them. Nice little bit of play carry from 3. They did have Uber backed by, I think, the original compound. It's Ents across the road now. They've managed it. They might have had to have used the buggy to adjust it. Nice work.
もう日曜日になったから今週だね。今週だよ、僕はお前調整大丈夫か？調整してるか？俺は DMR の調整はバッチリだ。
So here's
DMR はな。
this whole matter and Razor Edge are dying in the background.
アサルトは任せた。
My hot take, the closer the game everyone plays at home is to the competitive game that you watch these players play, the more you appreciate and understand how good these players are, and it makes you go, cool, I want to do that. That's the whole idea of like quote unquote esports, right? It's not meant to be a different game mode. So the closer it gets, the better it gets. In my humble, very uneducated opinion, it'd be cool to have the complete super settings. Pretty please.
They're not far off when I saw Brian saying they were looking forward to doing some adjustments, and he did use the super term in capitals, so I don't know if that's a sign of things to come.
見てこのエンス、これ絶対車こかしたこいつここで。今迎えに行ってんもんだってこれ。ほんでフェイズに取られるとこ。
I want to be
いやこれ死んだわ。死んだんじゃねこいつ。絶対こかしたここで。絶対にこかした。
So we're on the positive train, Lauren.
You're in the wrong house.
No.
Gustav with a nice little steal towards Squeaky. Richard's happy. No one else is. Never look at Reddit, Richard. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It's not the land for you. Stay cheerful, all right? For one, I'm excited about Wacky Jackie's adventures into probably Minecraft or Roblox. It's going to be good. Redline on the move. Marv, Ivers, all the other boys going to try and send it up. Nice little position they've nabbed, actually. Not too bad.
Day 2, Day 3.
Jumped ahead of a good
Day 4,
it's quite good for them. Again, they're one of the team, along with Red Zone. Maybe just because their names are so similar. I'm actually really looking forward to. These fights are on the outskirts. This is Haiku being held back by the old Penguins. Cold as ice. And who was it? It was Zorf who had a big game, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, was he yesterday? Zorf was pretty solid. So
I'm pretty sure we were talking about the off angle that he was holding to one of the teams towards the last stage of the game. I'm pretty sure it was him, and we kind of said, you know, this is important and being able to do this was. I'm certain that's the entire scenario. We'll talk about a different one though, because FaZe Clan's getting pushed. Ents. We'll see what they've got in the bag. They hold the side of it now. Gustav does at least have the information that he can feed to the rest of them. By doing so, that angle across the road's actually proving to be the downfall of NC. They can look across, look straight down. Big push though.
リキッドは97キルで155取ってるってことは結構順位ポイント良さそうだよね。まあ、キルも多いけどかなり。
In the Discord the other day. So we'll see how that one goes down. Ends 16th place. I'm sorry, boys, but this is looking like dire straits to get to that grand finals for now.
As much as Tomo might be laughing now, I don't know who's going to have the last laugh. Yes, ETG are down to just Markelov, but Tempest have only Tomil left. So both have kind of destroyed each other, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay if you want to do like a compound crash. I guess for Tempest, they are in 7th, but, you know, they are over the triple digits number, excuse me. So they should be okay in that regard anyway, unless other teams really start jumping. If you're like, your Wildcats, your Wasted Potential, your Red Lines, your Red Zones, if they start pushing, then maybe you got to be a little bit careful. But for now, Markelov's on 1 HP. Let's see. Go on, Tomil. Have them all. Have them all. Like, pins waiting in the end of a bowling alley. They all line up, and Tomil trying to knock them all down. 30 bullets, I think that's all that's left. It was something around that. Bates.
これ無理なんだよな、これ。
And Markelov, if the movement was
これ
correct,
絶対勝てないんだよな、あそこで待たれると。
happens.
パルクルしないといけないから。
Good job, Tom. He'll be having a lovely time with that. I like it. But yeah, FaZe in the meantime kind of fended off Ents. They adjusted, but now they've run into the Misfits. And this was a fight kind of going on earlier. They had this scuffle before. There was a knock before between these two.
It was Eds going down. Didn't manage to get him alive, as you can see, and advance forward. You were speaking about how it was a difficult position to be in. So they have to set this compound because the Blues all the way up against them. It'll be a decent fight, but they want to get it done clean. They wanted to get it done quick. Quick being the operative word because Circle is updating. It kind of comes there.
No, FaZe めっちゃ殺されてるけど。
work to get there. 2 players have gone down though. That must have been a push without really any kind of response. Uber's fallen as well. So the Misfits have holded this hyper-aggressive. Fuzz is trying to get out Zron. He does at least manage to down him, so that should be a confirmation easily. But my word, that's 3 players lost in one build into one push. I'd expect Fuzz maybe just to go for it, try and get him while he goes off the knock, which looks like is going to be the thing to do through the window. And what a peak. Quick peak.
あそこはね、確か乗れなかったよね。あれなんかね、
Is it good?
確か
Absolutely.
微妙に高さが足りなかったはずなんだけど。
To lose 4 in that engagement, it's 3 in that engagement. It's kind of crappy, but you know what? Circle's there. He could chill out.
パルクールで上乗ってしゃがみピークはできる。けど、パルクールに乗った時点で相手から見えてるから、もう負けやね、その時点で。
Yeah. The circle seems quite repetitive, and let's remind ourselves, roll your minds back. You know, obviously Na'Vi, a lot of people remember Na'Vi as of late for the team that got kind of pushed around by Better Luck Next Time. And I wonder if this could be a lovely bit of vengeance. If they get the knock, they'll know who that is. That's pretty good too. Have to be careful on these peaks. Na'Vi were a bit of a god tier team at this point, remember? You know what I mean? Like, they were pretty strong. Working their way into this, only on 89 points currently, but I feel like these circles, they will jump on this. For Alive, they do like playing kind of late game, remember? They do like to keep that 4 standing and then play out late. Best Luck gonna keep those nades coming, keep Better Luck next time under pressure. Kissik's lucky to be alive.
Where's the potential's gone in 12th? Makandat, the last person to have his seal is... Ooh. Wait, okay, Istanbul Wildcats. I was watching them in the kill feed, so Red Zone must have absolutely just gone to town on them from their position. It's Red Line who's actually in a very good spot right now. Red Line, Adepts, and then Tomil for Tempest. Fuzzface has to now face the full force.
Fuzzface 結構
This is
この大会あれだね。
for him. They could maybe bait him out with the mollies, just push him with the fire that wraps around. They clearly have the information that someone is there. Peekaboo, I see you. Sanya doesn't have to take this one unless the flashbang push is baited.
Yeah.
It was a
I
good
love
effort.
the ambition. I love the ambition. Give it a go, dude.
これは無理や。これは無理やね。
Those in play, especially from someone on the side of Na'Vi. Faultless little fall. Circle does update, and it goes the way kind of what we expecting with these 2 compounds mirroring each other on the side of the road. being the priority position to be at now. Raise Your Edge have to move down from the north when they're you know what? They're defending it. This is all kinds of dangerous at this stage in the game to be pushing that compound. For me is a questionable play.
Why is everyone running into this? We've had, what, 1, 2, 4 teams now all circling around this one compound. It's pretty wild. It's actually pretty wild. Tomil, still alive in here. He was the one who took down the first team that came in. His team crashed. They lost 3. He took it over. Adepts move in, and then Raise Your Edge sending it in. We have seen Raise Your Edge with a couple more kills already this round, but they are down to 2. I guess 9 teams standing. That's much better. What's up?
I think I'm kind of concerned that I think Red Zone will also work their way to this one. They've all just been knocked out on arrival from the north. You've still got 3 teams who are going to be heavily exposed here, Lauren, in the form of Northern Lights, Red Zone, and the Nuclear Penguins. Even though there's a clear line of sight here from Perfectix, I was surprised he didn't wait a little bit longer. Maybe he thought he could have got that away with that one cleanly and then pushed on it, because to be able to get across that road next, once the circle's gone, you're probably going to be straight in the line of sights of Na'Vi.
That
hillside might, for me, be the downfall of Northern Lights' position.
It could be.
ネイルアップの打ち合いめっちゃ見たいのにね。なんか移動で死んでたりなんかもう何もできずに死んでることめっちゃ多いんだよな。ライどうしたのって感じなんだけどマジで。
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Who else is standing? So, Red Line is that? I think that's Red Line. So yeah, Red Line, Northern Lights, and Na'Vi all have 3. So they're the kind of big boys. And speaking of big boys, oof. Look at that thing. Cheeky little arm. Not bad.
No. Decent place for it as well. Senya is disconnected from the rest of Na'Vi there. There's potential that he's unresable, given where the blue is. Are they going to commit to it? I think they are. The smokes are going up. Kemba says nope. We'll stack this wood and go for it. Get him back up. I suppose he is just next to the zone, to be honest. Besto actually hits that second time round. Woof.
I just want to see what he can do with this. Like, he's a big player, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say he's known for those bolties, you know what I mean? Like those bolt actions. I don't know if that's really his, like, signature, but if anyone's gonna say you can't aim, you're an idiot.
I think he's just known for being aggressively weird. Like the stuff that he does and somehow just manhandle people single-handedly. Like it's kind of scary as an individual.
多分入らないと思うよ。多分だけどね。そういう情報はないね。多分だけど入らない。大体いつも入ってないから。
Favorable to Na'Vi. They're the ones I've got to do the most amount of work here, unless they can put that on to good use. There it is. Beautiful.
So
that's what they needed. That's perfect, because getting that now's the opener. They'll probably send this one because there's nowhere else really for them to go, so they have to do this. Got the knock crack on.
No! Oh, it was.
いや今回入ったらやばい。
絶
対修正されるから今回のやつ。
The car was ruined, the front wheel was kind of scuffed. That sucks so bad. That was actually like... That was the right thing. They got the knock and they had to push on it. That was all they could have done. I guess they could have outlived a couple of teams potentially, but you look at the run they have in the terrain that's in front of them, it's just a run down towards red line. So any chance to weaken that, you might as well go on it. So at least Na'Vi took the attempt. I take nothing away from that. It looked messy, but that was their best shot at getting down that hill in those cars. Sadly for them, front wheel was kind of screwed, and now, you know, that they chalk it up to what it is. Maybe there could have been other ways, you know, walls of smoke, sure, whatever, but with the information they had, that was a good idea. Now, this compound is ridiculous. It's, you know, Adepts, Tempest, Raise Your Edge, Northern Lights, are they in on the new circle? I actually don't know where the new circle closes on.
They are. And there's no one else to hold them back. Really good. So they can sit there, wait for a while, chill, just on the side of the road in the ditch. And then when it's time, a couple of smokes, you need about 3 to get across there. And you've actually got hard cover that you can lay in with the ditches on the opposing side of the road. I think they're doing it now. I can hear some smokes going up in the distance. I'd assume that's maybe play for now. Nuclear Penguins and the last player from Red Zone being Atomical. Holding. No need to move. No need to try and get involved. Don't show your hand yet. Kissick I wonder if he dies to this blue or if he just has enough meds to do so. Nope. He dies. Good attempt. Zone comes in. Red line know that they have to move. They're going to force this one over the road. Or maybe they play edge. I don't really see why you would. It's there is an option to do so. Maybe try and let everyone batter one another with inside of that compound and then push onto it. I don't really know how this one's going to go. I can just suspect like a lot of third party, and to be honest with you.
Well, let's see if Redline can make it across the road. Let's put that down as the first kind of port of call. It looks like they're starting to make their move. I see a player maybe on his left there coming through. Atomical is apparently Twitch chat's favorite to spam things about, so I really do just want to see him win a game so we get an interview with him. That's literally it. He seems quite a lively character. For now, Raise Your Edge put up a bit of a utility wall just to maybe hinder people being able to approach the compound. Beyond that, no one's going to move in this compound, really. No one has to. This is the most static compound. What we need to look at is red line. They're the ones who have to make the moves, right? These guys are just going to wait, sit here. Maybe Tomo will get the glimpse soon once they crest over the ridgeline, and Tomo's probably going to realize that once that circle moves a bit closer, he'll probably wait for that blue to move up like it. Now he's going to hear the shots. He knows they're going to get close, so it could be Tomo's time, or it could be the Northern Lights. Whoever's brave enough to peek that ridge. If I'm Tomo, I don't know if I really want to peek that. I might sit safe from that. If I'm the solo man, but maybe he wants to frag out. Maybe that's the his choice to make. Same with the other teams. Adepts have a little bit more to play with, so they could peek this road. Obviously, it goes slightly, right? So once they crest over, they're visible to a lot of teams. But again, those teams have to be willing to make those peaks. And Adepts, yep, they've got 3 men up. A lot more than the other players in that compound, 2 and 1. So they can take that little bit of peak across the ridge. And they're using these smokes well for now, Red Line. They're hoping someone else gets the attention, and now that's started to happen. You might see them starting to move up. Northern Lights getting a lot of attention, and that's the Penguins. Perfect line towards them. Look at this ditch. That is played out perfectly for the Penguins. Adepts, I think, nabbed a kill, but didn't get the flush. Batulins and Perfectus are alive, but barely.
This is probably what they didn't expect because the Penguins were so quiet for so long. Final nail in the coffin, potentially coming over. Doing that utility here. Doesn't matter because Clumsy will be able to see Batulin. Hammer down, see you later, boys. Will actually get the ball. Turkey's gone. Another point in the bag. Udyr oversteps his boundaries. Tommel's actually evacuated.
He's popping off!
What is he doing?
If they peek 1 by 1, he's got a good spot. Ooh, tuck your butt in. Double cheeked up on a Thursday. Tomo is just popping off. Look at this guy. Just the one-man band. All right, 3 teams now alive, 6 players, so they're in scraps. If the Penguins do some damage to Adepts, then there could be something. Tomo's nabbed another. Can someone stop him? He's got 7 kills. What have he done? What have they done to this man? Who pissed off Tom Hill? Why is he playing like this? Tom, show us something magic. He's got no utility. He's got moves. No, he doesn't. He's got short arms. He can't make the jump. Oh, come on, Tom. Do something magical. I want to see something. You've already got 7 kills. You've done really well. If you had a bit of utility, a nade.
Even the amount of frags that he's already done here to get 2nd place is just phenomenal work for Tempest. If he can take any more, it's just 3 points.
Rich?
その上は結構いいかもしれない。でもバレたんじゃね？
He can kill him. If he gets the right peaks on this, he could do some real damage. He's getting tagged up from both sides, though. He's down to 36 HP. Sunzi might have a peak, so he's about to jump up. Did he see it? Yes. He just saw the pixel. Forex is trying to get in. Oh, Blue's here, though. Forex, 10 HP. Tom Hill. Dude, if you do this, Tom. I believe.
だからフライパン投げられて死んでんだけど。
Show me the replay. Show me the damn replay.
Did he jump up?
なんか投げ物投げられて
フライパン、わらわら。わらわら。
If there's any one person that can go down to a pan in comp play.
今フライパンかなんか投げられて死ななかった？
After 7 kills.
多分ジャンプ投げしたらさ、まっすぐ飛ぶんじゃね？
Second place, he's got a sick position. Bonk.
Oh wow.
Okay, if anyone of you are good at memes, right? If any of you are good at memes, I ask you to do this. You know the bonk meme where it's just like a bonk. Could you do that, but with Tom Hill's face? I'd really appreciate it. If any of you have the ability, just tweet me. Just let me know. I'll give you my phone number. I really would like that to happen if you could.
リプレイ見せろリプレイって言ってんな今。
Hopefully we can get a replay on that because that's all I've ever wanted. But Rich, that's the first game. I hope the rest are like this. I'm pretty happy. Let's go to the desk.
Let's indeed. He got in with a pan. I can't believe it. What a finish to that game. And yes, Adepts get themselves the victory. But truly, Tomil was an absolute hero in this game. I've got Avenger and Toby with me. Avenger, let's start with Mr. Tomil.
なんかいましたね、そういうトロール
What's
する
going
方。
on every single fight?
そういうトロールする方いましたよね、
Right.
岡さん。岡さ
I
ん。
feel like he just got Superman confidence
What was I
after
saying?
he managed to take down
That is-
Etiquette. Honestly, like it was crazy. It was good to see. Second place with 7 kills. 7 kills only from Thomas. Pretty impressive. That's a pretty
ちょっ
sick
とクリッ
start
プを
for
貼る
them.
あたりね。
I think that
優
we're
秀な
gonna
リ
see
ス
them
ナーだわ
sponge。up a lot of points today, as I said earlier. That's gonna be crazy.
He's been a clutch master, Toby. We saw that 1v1. I think it was against Shiv on top of Erangel, and now this situation. Didn't quite get the win, but still so impressive.
Yeah, he's proven time and time again that he is one hell of a player to be dealt with, and I think that's, I mean, that goes to show why Tempest decided to pick him up when they had their roster changes coming. There were a lot of free agents at the time where Tomil and Pixel were picked up by Tempest, and there was, I mean, it didn't take them more than a couple of seconds to go with, this is our guy, this is the one that we want on our team, and he's proven time and time again with Tempest already as well why he's a very, very good pick for them.
But that being said, all fair and play. We have Adepts getting themselves to victory. They have 60 points coming into today, so that is very important for them to be able to push themselves up the leaderboard.
いやだ今回はね、今回はなんかあんま自信がない
Yes,
な
who。did
自
you
信
say?
が
I
ないっ
was
ていうか、
completely focused on Westerlock there. Adepts, yes.
ちょっと
Adepts,
なんか前
fantastic
回よ
for
り
them,
難しい
obviously.
戦いにはなりそうな気
Great
がす
to
る
see
けど。
10 kills.
Yes.
7 from Sunsi actually. Obviously, Tomil a bit overshine that, but 7 kills from Sunsi. Impressive to see. It was a very good.
その G1 が全員揃って練習とかしないから
They
最
knew
近
that there was going on in
その
this
スクリーム
compound.
で
They
も
had to take it while the fights were
だ
going
か
on,
ら
and they
何回か
did
しかや
it
ってないん
safe
だよ
for
ね
only
本当
3
に指
guys
あ
to
違
this.
う
Oh, nice. We actually saw the wide perspective. I love it. That's great.
When it comes to the points, then we've got 3 teams
集まってないか
with
ら
0
その
points.
全員が集まった時の練
And
習
all
を
three
でき
teams,
て
in
ないか
fact,
らちょっと
really
わか
need
ん
to
ない
be
よね
stepping up their point earnings today to make sure that they can secure themselves a spot. But Adepts up towards the top with 20 points, and Tempest would have only had 6 points had it not been for the Tomil mastermind, the Cannonball himself, wrecking everything. I can't believe it. And also the Nuclear Penguins, 9 points. So a great
実は
start,
元ひどい
really,
確かに
Toby.
なんか
to
実
the
はマジで
day.
集まらんらしいね
Crazy circles for these teams to have to deal with, though, when it comes to the compounds that they want to try and play.
Yeah, no doubts about it. And Martin touched
ま
on
あ
just
例えば
now
さ
some really
その
good
その
reads
1チー
from
ム
a
が
lot of the
俺ら
different
と
teams.
ラン
I
ド
mean,
マー
we
ク
saw
が全く
the
違う
Tempest
全
and Etiquette fight in the compound.
まあ
Had
反
it
対の
for
チーム
really
とかだっ
quick
たらまだいいんだよ
to
ね
react to it. When Etiquette
でも例えば初動ファイトだったりめっちゃ近いチームだったらさあんまり参考にならなかったりするいや特に初動ファイトは本当に意味がない大会じゃ絶対しないじゃん
Really good reads and very quick reactions too.
G1 フルチームは1回だけ配信で見た気がする。も
Martin, how
しか
did
して
you
それ
think
だけ
when it came to the circles? Because I think one thing that you were concerned about was the
最近ずっと初動やらされてるよね。
もう2回か3回ぐらいしかやった思い出ないんだよね
今の20
フルチーム
本飲んで論証してください。
Honestly, like when we have these endings where you have so many roads with a cross with the road and everything, it's absolutely crazy. And they had to cross a red line and they lost because of it, obviously.
Well, we do have an interview ready with Sunzi from Adepts, the man who was able to rack up plenty of kills as well as damage done. Hello, Sunzi, can you hear us?
Hey. Yes, I am.
Perfect. Hello, Sunzi. Congratulations first off, and I want to ask you, going into those final moments, going up against Tomil, what made you want to go? Walk us through everything that was going on there for a moment.
AD ってどこのチームロシア
I don't know. I just wanted to make the infringe the spectacle, the show. So could be a nice thing. I wanted to
ロシアっぽい
do
な
it for just one
CIS
time,
チーム
so
っ
I
ぽい
tried
な
it and it works.
Perfect. Well, you've made many fans instantly with that one play. Well played. Martin,
G1
your
はブドウ
question?
とサンシスが大会中だからしょうがない。
Sansi, congrats again to the win. And
Ma
on the
ne.
win. I want to
それはね。
hear what was the communication
まあだから
like when you saw the
来週から
fights
は
going on in that
あり
very
そうだけど
center compound. Like, were you fully aware that there was those two teams fighting? And like, what was the call? Was it just like, guys, we're going
なんか
full
G1 チー
send?
ムじゃないけど初動ファイトないところしてほ
Not
しいね。
really. We wanted to play that shack out north, but we saw everyone was fighting in this compound, so we just said, okay, let's go make our.
まあでもさ他のチームのところが初動ファイトしてるとそのチームがいなくなる可能性ってかそのチームのムーブが遅れるやんかだからもうそれの時点でちょっと違うんよねその
I was thinking, Sunshine, again, yeah, congrats
結構なんか
on the win too.
まあ
you
1
guys
チームだけじゃ変わんないかもしれないけど
moved way
2
up
チーム
in
3チーム
LSR.
違
Do
っ
you
たら
feel
周
like
りに
on
影響する
circles
から
like
な
these that take place in, well, somewhat the other area of the map, you have an easy time rotating in because you're not a team that normally waits really long, like Navi or Tornado Energy long to rotate. Do you feel like even though you're far away, you still have enough space to push towards the center early on, or is it difficult?
Yeah, the first second you can play easily split, you know, for take the high ground.
世界で戦う味が見たいです。
Is I think on Miramar is the best spot to play
サノ
far
ックがマ
away
ジで
to
かぶり
the
すぎ。
other team because you can easily
アーブもサ
rotate
ノックで
and
ずっとぶった入ってところにブーケンかぶせられてるビブレチームプ。
いやそうだね ARG もそうだね
of Miramar on Los Leones, Monte Nuevo, and always we getting stopped by other teams. So we want to be aware of everyone and just play our games.
アーブ一生サノック負けてて弱い。サノ
Alright,
ックの
well,
初動
thank
ファ
you
イ
very
トと
much.
かみん
for
な
the
アージ一緒サノック負けててやばいでも大会の時来ないからいいじゃん
Thank you for
アルバートさんにて
my
ピサ。
interview. Sorry, I'm bad
Sorry.
in English,
No, you're good.
but it's okay.
アルベアトジープ、こんちゃ、
マジ
こんちゃ、こんちゃ。アルバ
Thank
ー
you
トさ
very
ん、
much,
わら。
Sunzi. Good luck
最
with
近
your
ウエ
next
スタ
game.
ーさんサノックで初動で倒されてない？
Bye.
そうか
Alright,
な
that was Sunzi from Adepts. Really great to hear that he's very interested in putting on a show as well. And that is going to do it for us here at the desk. Of course, don't forget that not only is this tournament for the players, but it's also for charity as well. You can go below the stream and click on the banner that is there and follow the instructions to be able to donate if you feel so inclined. We're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and when we return, we are going to have more Miramar on the way. We'll see you in a bit for more PCS.
何これ
意識高いのでランク回してました。ルル、ルル。
ああキャッシュ
人生が操作したんかと思った。わら。
Yeah, I want some more of this music. It's fantastic. Let's keep going. Yeah, here at the PCS, we're here for the charity showdown. We've got 2 more games on Miramar.
あバロラントの意識高いから
of Group
まあ
C on Miramar.
FPS 同じ FPS だしね
When it comes to the points, we're still looking at Misfits. We're still looking at Nuclear Penguins. We're still looking at, you know, wasted potential Wildcats Ents to try and put themselves
次の
really
試合早く
on
始まってくんないか
the
な
before things keep going. Here's the standing so far. FaZe Clan got themselves a few kills thanks to Fuzzface towards the end. So a little bit of points bagged for them. And Tempest is the one that makes a little bit of a move. And they're in 5th, Toby, despite not having played anywhere near as many of the games than some of the people around them.
They just been performing really well. I mean, they already had 4 wins in the first week coming into it. They've had wins on both Erangel and Miramar. Now they get themselves a 2nd place in a game where they probably, as you said as well,
ナビだいぶ落ちてきたね
maybe even outside placement points.
あでもこれ16位以内まで入ればいいんでしょ
was able to get the compound cleared out initially. So making taking 1 or 2 point games and converting those into 6, 7, 8 point games, that's insane. And that's what you're seeing if you look at their performances all the way through. Yes, they have the wins, it's amazing, but all the games other than that, they've been up there too.
They've got to be flying of Adepts as well, Martin, when it comes to that win. 5 placement positions moving up to 15th place.
Considering that Adepts obviously got 11 more games to go and sitting on 80th, they should be fairly safe.
てかこれさ
Like it's an average of 2.5
この
points per game for the
PCS って
next
こんな
11
に
months,
試合
and
数
they'll
やる
be
意味あるんか
far
な
above safe. So
予選やの
that's
に
really nice to see for them. They needed that. They were on 60 before that. They were not in
予選やからいっ
the
ぱいやる
top
んか
16 with that. Obviously not having played yesterday, but they were on the kind of cusp.
結構長いよね EU っ
60
て
points
なんかいっぱい試合するよね
after 12th, having 12 more games, they should be. They did the same average, so they should have 120 points. But this is a great start for them. I think the confidence will show today for the rest of the matches that they're going to be.
まあ選手からしたら結構嬉しいかもね
Yeah, hopefully so. Some of the big names, unfortunately for them, went out kind of middle of the pack throughout this last game. Teams like Navi, teams like FaZe. For Navi,
本戦もそんなにやんの
really
本戦
unfortunate to me that
15試合とか
they went out in
16
the
試合
way
ぐらい
they
でよくない
did. Their one car was in a
なん
vulnerable
か多すぎると
spot
誰
10 other positions where it could have been covered. It was difficult for them.
まあ20試合か
It really was because all they could do was let's hope to get a knock, just because they knew with the I call it the rainbow compound down by the Rogue's house.
まあ確かに ABC あったらそ
All
う
you
だ
can
ね
do is you know the guys inside are playing one house per person, or at least most likely. So if you get a knock on a guy on the edge,
それはあるかもしれない
at least you have something you can crash. Best of luck, it was a beast with the AWP in that game. He does manage to get the headshots, like oh my god, we can actually do it. But then, as you said, they weren't ready to get the car around in time, and there were Northern Lights ready to pick them out because before they even got to deep the area.
Yeah, definitely. It shows that just a matter of seconds can ruin an entire plan because they looked so poised as 4 to push on that. After that knock, it would have potentially gone fantastically. And then from there, you know, who knows what was going on. Well, that is going to be it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We are going into game number 2 now as we head to Miramar once again.
お、早い始まんの。いや、オンラインの大会は始まんの早いからいいわ。
Thanks, James. It's always your hair's growing back, by the way, James. I've seen your hair getting very tall now. It's surprising me every time. I don't know why I'm surprised, but it seems quick. Richard, what are your thoughts on James's swift hair?
It does look like it's fresh cut grass, I must say. Like when you kind of look at it, it's just got that like Action Man Velcro kind of feel to it and look to it. But it has been like watching over the times that we've been casting. I know I didn't expect to be casting straight off when he shaved it. It was a shock when he got an event. Oh no! But yeah, it's like been watching someone grow up over time. We've seen it all changing. I got my hair cut today. It was quite cool. By my wife, who's never cut hair before, so I didn't know how it was going to end up, but it's not done too bad.
We haven't seen enough of it yet. I was distracted by the panning. That's what I'm going to call it. But yeah, the panning.
オンラインの不正防止対策
Also,
取ってないんじゃないいや、取れないんじゃない
I mean, look, Adebs, you're fine. You're doing great.
5 placement jumps off of that's not bad at all.
Whoa, this circle. Look how far north it goes.
Navi, 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 Navi.
Screw Navi, take me to the Oasis.
Just about to say that. Give me
い
the
や、もう
Oasis
絶対的な信用のもとやってるとしか思えないよね。
Let's go south. I'll let you solo cast. How about that?
It's a warm, hot climate. Nice, cool, refreshing
いや、無理
oasis.
じゃないオンラインのさ、オンラインの不正対策防止無理じゃない
Oh, please.
We love to theorize these circles, don't we? We get ourselves all worked up and then it's like...
It never goes there. It's going to go to like
fields.
either FaZe
South
compound
fields.
or just like northeast of Pozo and that's it, right? It's going to do the same old thing, but let us hope.
I suppose this one kind of goes like the old...
審判団派遣してた
the
の
old Zaki circle. You
PKL
have to have every...
まあ、PJS はウェブカメラぐらいだけど、でもウェブカメラ自分、まあ配信とウェブカメラだよね。
If we get the northern hard shift, then there's a damn good chance. If we get a second northern hard shift, then it's like, yeah, game on. I've only ever been that far up once when we had when I've beat even
いや、おるよ
personally.
おるよ CSGO とかギャンブルサイトにさ、その八百長疑惑をかけられて、八百長疑惑かけられて、選手生命終わったやつがいるよ。数年間。まあ、それこそ八百長に加担したって言って、選手生命終わったやつがいっぱいいるよ。ドタ2とかでもいるよ。パブ G はわかんない。
Got it. Waste of potential. They can't be too unhappy with this. Obviously, Navi the most happy with this sort of this sort of circle in their spot. Uncontested, super comfy. They can do whatever they really want here. Should be a nice looting phase for them. Overall, pretty nice circle. I like it. Something different. I want to see unique circles. It makes me happy, Rich. It makes me very happy.
So there is a world in which this goes to the north and we do get that oasis area, or at least the compounds just to the left-hand side of it. Your likely ones and the ones that we see quite often, the down towards the latter end of the circle on the south, which you kind of touched on, where FaZe are sitting around just outside the crossroads, even Montenegro, when we get that, we kind of have a good idea it's going
俺が強いって言ってたから怪しいと思ってた。どういうことや
Northern Lights are also in a very good
前回の PJS
position.
は遅延なさすぎて、
Very good area, strong one that we see a lot of them coming off
1
the back of the
分遅
hillside.
延はガチでやばい。
Just roll down, it'll flow
あれ
into
もう
there,
本
find
当
its
に
little
もう
pocket and find
何
its way
も
in.
何を血迷っ
If
た
this
のかって
doesn't
感じ
go
だ
to
った
the
ね。
north, I'd say we probably go to the east.
メガネにウォールハック画面映ってバレたやつおったな。おったな。なんか CSGO でおらんかったかそれ。
It rolls down, you'll see water treatment. You think back how many fights we've seen uphill of water treatment and off the back of it, down towards the backside, just below, just above San Martin. Anywhere really above San Martin is open territory, and it's a free-for-all really. So I'd expect to see quite a lot of teams magnetizing towards that area. At the moment, it's actually, funny enough, on your screen, who do have a good split on this, 2-2 across either side of the road. If they're a bit more proactive, they could have set up some kind of entrapment bottleneck, but a decent headshot to start it going. If you can follow up with the SLR, that might be a free point. And there we go.
いやマジでお前らとりあえず撃つよな。
They've got a third player as well.
この人たちこんな早く動き出して武器どうなっとるん？
That could be 2 points.
当てるね。
車の挙動おかしくねえか。
見てる方は1分も15分も30分も変わらないからもっと気をつければいいのにって思います。だから
いや俺も5分は嫌だよ。正直5分は嫌だよ。10分つけてほしい10分。
Maybe not yesterday, but
Oh, regimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting more and more common. I feel like teams are just specifically working out rotation routes, and obviously most of the teams know them, but to specifically sit there, it's like they value the time invested to the return. So quite fun, quite a unique look of things. Now these other contingent vessels sitting, I think, on the northeast side of the craters up there. If I'm reading the minimap right, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But they should be comfy for a while. But teams will start moving. We're at the 5-minute marker, so you know if Liquid were in the lobby, they would already be well on the go. So you've got to be prepared at this point.
Well, it's a little bit quiet, and of course, if the action does kick off, feel free just to jump in and cut me off. But while it's a little bit quiet, I think it's a good time to kind of answer a question you asked about why we hold certain people to higher accountability and such, and I think it's
オンライン投票のためとは言ってたね。
past exposure and what they've done their land placements, their ability on land and what we've seen within the competitive environment. But it's also the PCS as a whole. You know, when we look at the Continental Series and how things have been changed up throughout the year,
まあツイッターで先に結果出す
6 teams that are not
の
only
ってでも選手しか無理じゃない。
but
い
also
や
the
まあ
PCS
そのネタバレ
warranty.
はあかんやろ
If
選
you
手
don't know
はやっ
about
た
those
が
and
や
how
ろ
it works, this charity showdown is
ネタバレツイー
completely
トする選手
separate
はあかん
to
や
the
ろそ
next
れ
two things that follow up. They're essentially, in a nutshell, kind of like the replacement for the Berlin Major, even though all the guys that did get to the Berlin Major have all been given a lump sum of money at least to, you know, it's been cancelled.
まあでもそれはあかんね。
All teams were honoured with $20,000, I do believe. Oh, excuse me, at least 6 teams that were qualified for it have already been honoured $20,000. So, and FaZe Clan, because they qualified through PGC 2019.
まあだから試合中は
But we look at
試合
the
中は
teams,
SNS するなって
FaZe Clan, Team Liquid, Navi,
エルボとタコ分
TSM,
野が最近より安い。
and
ネタバレは規
Resurrect,
約で縛
who
る
are
べき。
currently down the latter end of
まあ
that
確かに
leaderboard.
規約で
Some
縛
of
ってい
them
いと
not
思
doing
う。
well. These guys have actually automatically been qualified for the next two, what we could call in our terms, the next 2 major events that come up. Now, if you have that stature and you have that against your name already, you're going to be there and everyone else has to qualify through it. For me, you have to show that ability to stand up to that level, right?
お
Yeah.
お
I think that's a very good analogy or summary of what we can kind of consider to be that case. A lot of teams, these areas are taking me a second to get my head around because honestly, I'm not used to seeing these sort of areas played that much up in the far north. Razor Edge, Haiku, Razor Edge trying to get their players back on their feet. They could do with that. Shiv off towards the side, just trying to make sure no one can cross or get up close. FaZe, the red line. These two weren't too dissimilar in approach, and Gustav a little too thick and gets caught by Ivus. Caught around the wall. That slower run back in. That's going to be a flush all day of the week. I don't think his teammates can save him. FaZe aren't far away. 80's on the lower side of the hill, but
フェイズこれファイトしに行くのかな
bit of a loss there for FaZe. Maybe overreaching. Not sure what the
まあ
overall
さすがに
goal was.
無
It's
理か
hard when we haven't seen
無理
the map.
か
If we could have a little look at that so we can see
動
what
く
they
の
were
の点
going
数のは
for.
まるで
Why
谷の
was
続く
out
のよう
there
な
on
の
his
みた
own.
い。
I'm not sure what the plan was there, Rich.
Just don't simply think that they realised someone would be there. It'd have been a nice scouting
こ
position.
れ EU の
if
不
they
思
do
議な
have
と
to
こ
go
ろ
to
は
the
さ
north and the
弾が
Hatchets
ないのに撃つんだよ
do
ね
come in, and we kind of get that circle we're all
そん
hoping
なにない
for.
のに
It would have been a nice
なんか
transitional
すごいよ
area.
ね
But Redline have got this 2-2, so
Why
they
so
can pop
Tama
either
Ama?
way back down south to the north.
弾なくねみたい
If
な
we get it, oh, we
これは
do.
めちゃ
Now
くちゃ
this
珍
is
し
a
いアンチになり
wild
ましたよ
circle.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not the
not.
Oasis you
こ
want
れ
to
は
play,
なかな
but
か
it's
ないこれ
different.
考えてないだけだろ
Yeah,
笑
I'll take.
で考えてないだけでいやそんなことないで
Where's
しょ
the? Isn't there that like
弾が
weird
ない
little
の
area
に
that's got like
後
Easter
先の
eggs
ことは
in
考
the
え
top
ないタイ
left?
プ
Is that?
笑
I think that's up there.
まあとりあえずその今
areas
残ってる
you
弾
don't
で
see
敵を倒して
played.
それを
This is a super rare
その下
circle.
が
It's
弾を
something
取
that
る
doesn't come up
っていう
often,
考
at
え
least
方
to
なの
this
かもしれない
degree of northern.
外したらどうしようとかそういう考え方はないのかな
If you look at like that top run where Ents currently reside, where you got everyone shifting towards,
倒して
this
拾え
is
ばいいやろ
super
ロテーション
unheard of. Now it probably will come south, but then again, I don't know how much of it can end
ガチで
towards
そんな感じ
Crater
する
Fields
よ
or
ね
that
でも
rock to the like left of the Crater Fields. I'm sure you probably know more about that than I do. You're normally quite quick on those sort of things. This could be a very fun ending, so make sure you got your beverages ready. This is going to be a fun game. Already Redline.
撃たれてる方からしたら
Picking up
怖いよ
They haven't got the flush yet, but
い
maybe
や
just
そうな
not
んだよね
overstay.
撃たれてる方からすると
Making sure
車
they're
が
in a
お
good
じゃんになる
position
から
going
さすぐ
forward. They're pretty much slap bang in the middle. Navi,
味
Haiku,
方が多く持ってるのが分かって
Redline
ると
again,
か
not far away. Senya,
え
players coming around. Senya,
使わ
not
れない弾な
fast.
んて見ないってことかいい考え
Adjust
方や
quickly to the second. This is Navi
Wala,
looking
wala.
enraged.
Yeah, quick change of adamant to that. Armin goes down as well. Really good responsive reaction from Senya. It was a good effort to jump out the vehicle and maybe
い
take
や
him by
確かに
surprise.
ね
Second player though getting caught with his
どう
pants
せ
down
ファイ
trying
ト
to
するん
jump
だった
over
ら
the
自
hill.
分の物資を
To
全て
answer
使
your
って
question
敵
on
に
this,
ぶつける
if
っ
we
ていう
get
の
to
は
be very, very
まあまあ
open
合理
actually
的ではあ
towards
るんだ
the
け
south,
ど
you still might be able to keep the trailer park area just on that
次があ
roadside
るような
between
とこ
that
ろ
and
で
the
さ
angle that it goes
もう今の物資
and
そ
kind
こ
of
で全部
aims
使う
towards La Cobra area. There is a nice hillside on there that we
使う
have
意
to
味あんのっ
move
ていう
them end on. If you're looking at the map now, if you take a pen
おお
from the air on Cobra area and pretty much drive it all the way up to ends,
セニア強
anywhere
い
in that
な
diagonal angle from south up to northwest, it could end anywhere there. And this is why you're just going to have teams taking so much land, so much opportunity, just diving in a building and hoping it comes their way. Red zone, Penguins, difficult spots. Unless teams in front of them get bashed before they do, and then they can just take their territory, it'll be difficult on transition. Red line, for me, is a team we have to keep an eye on. They're in such a prime position for this circle. It's so damn good, but it's very open. There's a building in between them, or a compound, should I say, that is absolutely uncontested. And they are in a 2-2 split. If any team rocks up to any of those three compounds, they're in a difficult situation.
Look at this again.
こ
Senya's
れ
on one, by the way.
こ
He's
れ
just
やば
continued
いや
forward.
ろ
I think he's got like 3 kills now. I'm not sure if he got the other flush on the player, but he got another one after this too. So Navi looking pretty spicy at the moment. Pixel going to be finding one of ETG. That's further towards the south sort of side, towards cover area sort of area.
エンスの広がり方はなかなかいいね
As much as I'm excited about what the
スクイ
team's
ーケ
doing,
だけ
also what the circle does. Apparently as well, Sunzi said on Twitter that he had no more bullets left, so he actually had to use the pan, which would be a brilliant factor. That's the case. Someone could check for me. I'd really like you to look into that. That would be perfect. ETG trying to find a home. And, well, there is a squatter hiding out. And the timing couldn't be worse. Right, circle about to update. Oh, Rich, what is this?
Oh my. Okay. Ends.
Wow.
I think. I don't know. I no idea.
すごい珍しいアンチなんだけど
I'd
こ
say
れ
before where they are. I'd say
Ay,
I'd
Mitya
think
san
it's the
da.
ends, but I have
タイミング
no idea. I mean, the central as well for this circle, so maybe it just homes in on them, gives them a bit of a good one. But
なんじゃこれ
let's have some fun with this. I think it's going to be very messy, especially down the southern
Yo,
area,
めっちゃ
because we've got 1, 2, 3,
珍しいね。
4, 5, 6, 7
このアン
teams
チ
that
は
have
見
to
たこ
get
とない
through covered area, or
俺も
at
見
least
たこと
out
な
of
いよ
it
これ
if the
は
circle updates.
めったにないよこれ
Now,
What
I just
could
want
be
to like
fun?
consider Rich
Come.
as well.
Yep.
Like, bear in mind, like, okay, these teams play the maps over and over and over. How many times have they had to play up by this area? Like, they're not gonna every ditch and every divot. This could be a different look, right? This is a very different, unique game to have to play these areas in a competitive lobby. Keep in mind, not just like your usual casual games. In like a competitive environment, you are not going this far up north ever. So this is going to be super fun. What an equalizer this is going to be.
It could be fun if memory serves me correct. It's kind of like a disused train yard or like a freight area behind covered area, or just above it, should I say? If the circle does home down there, I seem to remember like this weird circle we had once in PEL. It was rare, but where a lot of teams died trying to get out of the containers, the container yard behind it. And I have had actually a container, thinking about a container ending. Somewhere at least getting out of that one. I have had a fight up there this late on. It might be from the same game potentially where I saw those random houses. But yeah, to just kind of back up what you say, it is a circle we very rarely see. It's not even a circle we very rarely see. It's an area of the map we very rarely see in play.
And yeah, you're right. That train yard is very hard to cross. There's a lot of lines of sight, literal lines of sight, that are very hard to work their way through. It becomes very close quarters. It feels very un-PUBG-like, if you know what I mean. It feels like you're in a Call of Duty map or something a bit different. So super excited to see how this plays out. Already Raise Your Edge suffering over in that area. That's towards ETG, who it looks like they carried on moving forward once they evicted the squatter. Got Tempest on the move. That's Tomil, Wookie, Bookie, and Clib heading further forward from the south, heading right up towards Redline. But there is a compound just to the right. They can take that over. It was where the 2-2 of Redline previously was, but now they can take that over as a nice home, so that's okay. Better luck next time. Full swing up north. They don't care. They're sitting up on the mountain near Squeaky. I would like to see what Raise Your Edge are up to, because the Misfits are moving in. Yes, here's the train yard. So you can see the literal train tracks and all the kind of crates and everything else. The lines of sight, long lines of sight, and it's actually very hard to cross through this, even though there's good amounts of cover. Oh, Squeaky. Here we go. He's going to steal one. That's a freebie. Swift. Surely a flush. Yep. Look for the second. Doesn't overextend. Smart play from Squeaky, getting all the information. Doesn't overdo it. And now the circle shifts south. It's gone just below, clipping, the very top side of the circle is clipping where Squeaky is. You can see it on the minimap there, but it's still including some of this town. So Na'Vi, good position. Ents can shift in. Red Zone, good position. Raise Your Edge, Misfits, ETG, all there. Everyone else, though, has to shuffle in. That northeast side is going to be very busy with, you know, the Penguins up there, with the Wildcats up there. I'm not sure how the terrain is for them to slot in.
Seem to remember this one now, and it's where everyone who was kind of in the train yard side of it, the blue forced them all out. They were moving slow up against it. There were a couple of them that had shotguns as well. It's the memory's coming back now. I seem to remember one of the circles that did end around this area, and it was messy. You're totally right, and how he describes it's perfectly. It's very close combat. It's very close corridors, and even though there's a few buildings and mainly trains down there, you don't get too many waves of fire. It's head on when teams run around corners and just accidentally walk into one another. Rightly so, there's a lot of bunkering down there because everything else is so open. It might be a point of factor where Penguins, Red Zone, Wildcats, all your teams up here that are currently on your screen just say, right, vehicle, go hide. Just send it into covered area. The fact that there is a wall in the back will give them some kind of defense to approach the area at least. So you can make it there alive, kind of like a same scenario if you think to Erangel, when we have something down towards the runway, you just see people playing off the back of the wall. It's something better than nothing, so maybe a few of them crash that. Tixu's center of the map, by the way, like literally plumb center with nothing but a ridgeline to play with. Again, we've no idea where this is going to be, so you will see a few teams just hedging the bets and maybe putting the odd player here, the odd player there. That's why Squeaky was up the rock side that you're seeing here. Just because, you know, you might as well kind of send out as many sniper dogs as you can to try and find a home.
寄ってるような気がするけどね。でも周り全くいないんだったら寄ってないんじゃないかな。
Start getting that heal off. You can see Penguins, big division of Wildcats. I honestly thought the Penguins might have struggled to get in.
この辺は別に寄ってても寄ってなくてもどっちでもいいんじゃないかな。
Red Zone waiting, hearing all of this, anticipating what's happening. Nice little tag on the first, but forced off the angle. And Red Zone having to play a little bit passive in here, and they're kind of losing vision, losing the ability to play out of this area. You don't want to be boxed in like this. They're not getting much play, so they could have some issues, and that's exactly what's happened. Rupture's found one. No trades available now, and this continues. The flush comes in. Goes down as well. This is around all fronts. Yes, BSD goes down. Can he get a flush on it? Yes, he can. Makadog's going to make it hurt, but the trade instantly comes in. And the Wildcats, living up to that reputation, clawing their way into this compound and taking it over. They have suffered casualties, but they are in towards at least a bit of safety for now.
Because of that safety, we would think that the Penguins opt to disengage from this fight and maybe run the valley. There is a route through where Bogger actually is in the distance that you can just hit and wander through safely. The only problem that the only problem that unfolds, if it isn't safety, is if the guys from above decide they want to turn tail and look down towards them. This is the team exactly what I'm speaking about on your screen. You still got Squeaky being a nuisance, provided he just doesn't go fall off the edge. He should be safe. Bit of a cliffhanger game, no pun intended whatsoever, although it kind of is. Yeah, if they get involved and then come down upon the Penguins, that's where they die. But they have to deal with Better Luck Next Time first. Squeak is still this nuisance and this annoyance, which is keeping Better Luck Next Time at bay and keeping them pinned in.
Circle does
update.
What's
Yeah,
it?
and
What's in this?
maybe
Got
now.
level teams.
Well, this is where it becomes a real
Kenba
issue now, where
to
ETG are
Besoji
for all the teams that are locked inside. It's kind of what we're talking
エンス
about.
やばい
earlier on.
ね。エンスすごい
If
こ
you
とになってる
imagine
ね
if you hit Kobareria, which Misfits and Raise Your Edge have done, how do you evacuate the scenario if ETG basically just hold you within there with the lines of sight that you spoke about, with the single route only out of that place? He's just shooting his teammate in the head. This is fine.
Oh, I thought Zeron then would have had something. It looks like the nade's going to come out. Slow them down. ETG, the thing is, like, yes, ETG could have focused on trying to lock people in, but I think they were considering how do we get out. They weren't looking at, let's get the points of the people coming through this way. They were considering their grand escape, but there's not enough room here. Redline put all their players in one shack, and that's probably not bad. Tixu is kind of, you know, forged a little Finnish palace out here, and he's going to welcome Rustamar over. Nice terrain up here, though. A little bit of divots, dips, you know, it's quite interesting, but there's not a lot. Na'Vi have shuffled in well.
Where does
Tempest go? Where does the Penguins and the Wildcats head to? This is rough out here. There's going to be a lot of teams put in a really bad spot. So the Penguins going to run around the circle. Looks like Hellscream's the last one to join them, but they'll be going around towards the valley side. But then Better Luck Next Time might have vision on them. I'm not too sure. I don't know this area of the map too well. I'm just kind of guessing off how the map looks. Na'Vi spot Tempest. That's not surprising. Tempest didn't have much room to work with. They're kind of in the open. And now, luckily for the Penguins, FaZe starts their fight towards Better Luck Next Time. That's way up in the north. This is the northwest side. Neither of these teams are currently fully in. Better Luck Next Time now losing out on one. Has got all of their team in the current circle, but they've got a lot of attention. And look at Tempest. They tried to make the move while it seemed like a good idea, but Na'Vi's position was just too strong. Na'Vi control the south, but if Na'Vi's position gets, you know, evicted, if they have to move out, they're screwed. Look at that open area around them. Wookie Bookie trying to do what he can. Uber definitely has good vision on that. Scooby has come around. That's Better Luck Next Time again, finding more teams facing towards them. They're getting way too much attention up on this hill here.
We don't know how this one's going to play out, Lauren, but if we were betting, folks, we'd have to assume that this circle won't end with those mountain ridges in.
Yeah,
so Na'Vi's position, Na'Vi's position could be really good here. If this just moves its way away from the rocks.
FaZe 残るね。
Okay, hasn't yet. I suppose in that kind of common sense, then we know we have land ratio in for Circle 4 and
これ
Circle
まだ
8 because
こ
we
こ
spoke
の
about
高い
how
山
it
に
has
登れたら
played
めっちゃ強そうじゃない
various other games when it came into effect. But if that in
何はク
Circle
ズで優
7,
勝
if
した
that
勢いそのまま
hillside's
って
still
感じ
in,
だね。遮
then
蔽な
teams
さす
should
ぎて入りに
recognize
く
that
そう
it will bop away from it.
そうだね。
The
遮蔽物ないから
circle
車ないとめっちゃきついね。
I'd still be proactive
What's it?
about
What's it?
how teams play this. I
これ
for
め
me,
っちゃ
I
珍
suppose
しいから
right
さ
now,
こんなアンチなんの。
I think Na'Vi in the best place to take the southernmost western area. If they can stay alive, if there's at least something to play with, maybe they even build a small fortress with vehicles just to deny line of sight from Redline, from FaZe Clan, who've yet to come down. That's a banger of a headshot. Daji just found Zeron. I don't think there'll be any flush just yet. Danilo now put onto Red Alert. Zenby is there for support if he needs it. Kemba onto Uber. Straight up onto FaZe Clan. We spoke about the line of sights that Na'Vi have been provided by Bin down south and actually been pretty sturdy on the feet and no one else around them. It's a good position. 10 kills for Na'Vi. Tixu onto Udir. That's central of the map as well. They've been there for a while now. It's kind of funny to think that Tixu went there maybe 3 circles ago and everyone else from ENCE were completely disconnected from him. Look at where Better Luck Next Time is holding position. It's paid off more for ENCE by just saying, you know what, evacuate this scenario and just fly to center.
Here we go. Na'Vi have moved up. I want to see what territory they've moved to, because it's not a lot. This is a fight over at the edge of town. Now, ETG could have left earlier. They didn't. They weren't able to make it out. And the Misfits player, Remainer Zembri, is there as well. The Wildcats trying to make a move through. Na'Vi have found enough of a territory to work with Redline. Haven't looked out their compound too much. I don't know what vision it has on Raise Your Edge still staying alive.
お前それだよねラップ。
It's Nail Up and Shiv doing what they can. Better Luck Next Time goes down. That's Redline starting to play out of their compound. That little shack that they had is starting to come into it. And we still haven't seen what Na'Vi are currently working with, and I hope we get to, because that will kind of paint a bigger picture here. Simbri tried to head out first, dies, and that does mean at least that for someone like ETG, they can actually play out here a little bit. That's pretty good news. So it's not much. It looks, I can't really see it from the high angle. It'd be nice to have that a little bit lower so we could see what the terrain's like. You can see it kind of, it's a bit of a hill to it, so they can play around there. They have the vehicles to make something out with. No one's up on the high ground anymore. No one on the rocks itself, so I don't think anyone has the vision down towards it. So Na'Vi actually might be in a pretty good spot here. Credit to Senya for finding this sort of area to play with. You can see it on the minimap, the terrain it's showing. I'm wondering if the Penguins or Redline could see it just because they have high ground. So I'm surprised that no one's popping shots. And again, the circle closing in, continuing to keep the rock in it as well. You've got a big kind of portion cut out of this one. Penguins up north, they're still pretty okay. And Na'Vi, just bit by bit, they've spotted another team. That's going to be Raise Your Edge towards the northeast. And still Nail up there, but they're clinging to these rocks for dear cover, hoping for the best. And Tixo, I think, has spotted out the ETG player who was over towards the compound. So there is another ETG player alive, but this could be another kill coming in for Ents.
Safety in the position that they're in, given that there is 4 walls around them. There's a couple of windows, but you can definitely avoid that. Senya has been made aware.
ナビある。ナビは全然ある。車も残せてるよね、多分。
Elab actually steals the kill. For Tixu. Denied a body right until the very last point.
ナビの方が動きやすそうだけどな。
Penguins actually in. Safe for now. They got the backside of that hill that they can play off of. Redline, the ones that have to do all the running
北側はどうだろう。
They're inside that little
地形がわかんないから。
Smokes will be abused and used. But
地形がわかんない
once
ね。
that
ちょっと
dissipates,
北側は。
I mean, they've only got until the smoke goes until someone else sees them. That might
で
be
もなん
a
かもう
shot
遮
through
蔽物
or
全くなくねこれ。
a very lucky gap because if you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you come out from there, you're exposed to everybody. If you go the other way,
遮蔽物がなさすぎてやばそう
you
こ
got to deal
こ。
with the nuclear penguins because they're sitting back and chilling. No one else has got a look on them just yet. If Na'Vi play this smart, this should be their game. And the second I say that, does Senya fall.
Nade comes back in. They haven't actually tagged up Senya with those nade jet. Keep your eye on his HP. That one did land, so he's actually very, very low. And I think that was a was that a nade?
That was accidental, right? It had to be a nade.
Yeah, Bestlog accidentally naded
今
Senya.
ベストロー
That's a
チ
bit of a shame.
グレ
So
投げた
no
な味
revive
方に。
possible, so they're gonna have to continue on with I think
行こうと
3
したけ
now.
ど、あってなってや
Penguins
めたな。
piled in towards Redline. They're going to be eliminated down in 5th. We're down to 4 teams. So the Penguins holding up towards a very polar north. You've got Ents in the middle, Na'Vi in the south, and Naleb hiding away here. Bestlog's got the big green again. Huh.
Oh, God. He needs to make up for it after nading his teammate. It happens. We've all done it. I think we both can notice at the same time. We just see this ball just been thrown towards him. It's like, whoops. See him back off for a second. Ents were in a very difficult spot yesterday when we saw him going up against Team Liquid, but they managed to grab fifth
どっ
from
ち
a
が有利
excuse me,
なん
second
だろう
from
な。
fifth. I don't know where that came from.
なんか一人崖の
Second
上乗
from
ってるや
doing
つい
so,
ない
but a couple of decent nades denied them that
崖の
first
上
place position.
乗れたらめっちゃ強そうじゃね
Penguins a lot of work to do, especially if they want to get the revive now. I think
めっちゃ
Hellscream's
強そうだ
gone.
け
He's
ど
all the way
な
up
んか
against
、That's a
微妙
nice
だな。
trade.
さっきもアウム持ってたなベストロチ。
Getting
Yeah,
Kemba down
yeah,
there is
definitely.
really good. Like, the
わから
thing
ん
with
な。
Kemba being knocked, that's going to have to
わ
kind
から
of
ん。
slow down
地形がわ
Bestlog.
からん
He has
こ
to
れ
put his utility back. He has to try and allow to
なん
have
か
the
小
room
屋
to
の
get
車線
Kemba
が
back on his
結構
feet.
しんどそうだね。
And I think he's just continuing to almost nade his teammates at this point, but I don't think that actually was a teammate. But
なんかこ
you know, it's costing
こ
a
の
bit of
辺に
time
あ
here.
る
If you're best of
丘
luck, if you're, you know, one of these other players, you're looking at,
こ
okay, how do I get forward? How do I get to the
視
next
線が
spot?
すぐ切れちゃう
Is
から
Scooby up top there?
何もない
That's
よ
what I'm
ねこ
interested
れ
in. If he's up top, this could be a bit of a different matter. 3 shots is what Bestlock has left. And
行
these
くんだ
have
ったら
to be
左側の
big
方がいいと思うけど
Now, keep in mind, they've spotted out Scooby,
で
so
も
they know
山
where
上が
Scooby is. That's not
おっ
surprising anymore. He tries to make it count, but Bestlock does it better. That's the beauty of the bolt action.
あこれは結構左に回れる
It's gonna
あ
do
てかアンチ
damage.
入ってんじゃん
Zor's
ナビ
still alive for the Penguins, but Navi's attention
これナビ
completely
臭くない
swivels on
か
them. 16 kills. They've played this out well. A
16
circle like this
キル
was always going to sit in their back garden, but I didn't expect to see 16 kills at this point. You know, Senya was having a hot game, but then, you know, Kemba was like, all right, let me take over for a bit. So Scooby's going to be flushed as well. That's going to be another one. 17 kills. End still alive, Razor Rich still alive, and the
Navi やばい
Snake
ね
of Zorf standing.
キルすごい
Kemba and
数。
Bestlock looking around. Bestlock, I think, has either 2 shots left or maybe 1. And if he gets nail up, that's perfect. That's a jump up and a point in the pocket. And now center point. Let's look at what this means. Tab's in an extremely strong position. If that molly's in, I think it's just short. I think just off in his peripheral vision. Kemba's spotted Zorf making a bit of a run for it. That's going to have to adjust Kemba's positioning as well. He needs to kind of account for that. Needs to make sure he doesn't, ignore that's a possibility. And now with the blue moving in, it's going to force Naylup further forward. Ents hiding out in towards that little bit of a shack there. They're going to play that as late as they can, although Na'Vi, once that blue's even, Na'Vi will have the jump on Ents in this because Ents have to make the run as well, but they're going to make the points count out while they can. Tixu finds Naylup. The floor is burning. He can't leave that yet. Zorf gets Tixu as well, though. The Penguins, what remains, trying to make the most of this. Rustamar, good tags towards Na'Vi, but not the frag. Bestlock still stands.
You might not see him because of the smoke. It's a bit of an awkward angle to see Rustamar in there. With the nades bouncing off the back wall, they still might miss him. Should do a fair amount of damage. Nope, it doesn't. It does confirm it. He goes down. Now it's left down to Zorf against Na'Vi. That's not going to happen. Instant shutdown. 19 frags. And a win, Lauren.
Not bad.
Is just ridiculous for a game like that as well, where it's such an obscure circle. They put some serious numbers on the board there. 29-point game.
Yep. Yeah, that was actually pretty crazy. I'm so happy we got to see that circle. We got to see Na'Vi playing it out incredibly well. That was like a really good, quintessential Na'Vi style performance. Playing it smart, and then, when the pace was there, they pick it up. Happy to see variety in circles. Always happy to see it. The Penguins still holding on. Good little position. Ents not bad for them either. They did have a nicer route in, playing quite smart from the north side of that circle. But all said and done, Miramar's been quite fun today.
I've been enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. We get another one, at least another one to see. Hopefully it's another weird and wonderful circle, but I'm interested to hear what the guys on the desk have to say about that one.
I'm excited as well because Na'Vi welcome the entire lobby to their territory, and they say welcome. And not easy at all for the rest of the map. That was difficult indeed for every single other team. Na'Vi as well as the win event. It was Na'Vi from start to finish. It was their entire story. I'm going to start with you, Martin, because that was a massive performance by Na'Vi in their home turf.
Yeah, honestly, what usually happens is when you have a home turf circle, you either you get into a position where you sit in the center, you sit in a great spot for a long time, and you don't really get that many points, you just keep on getting circles. But this time, they just fragged out. They pushed everything. They third-parted everything. They made sure that everybody were where they were, and they split. They had some really spot. I really loved them. The amount of confidence that was coming out from the beginning. And they were sitting in a position that was super rough. Obviously, they got a circle shrink towards them, which it kind of should with this rock here, and they predicted it extremely well. So just overall, such a coherent game for them.
Yeah, of course, they had a decent compound towards the bottom, and then when it moved away from them, Toby, they took this particular dip here that was at the moment on stream, and that really lended itself nicely to any kind of engagements that they were going on, and they were, fortunate with how the circles played out from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what led into it that really that I really found interesting, because Na'Vi, as we know, is always the team that say, okay, if we can avoid fighting the first 3 or 4 circles, maybe even 5, we'll happily do that. Let's take a look at the leaderboards here as well. A lot of teams, obviously, with no points coming in, given how the circumstances were with that second really tough circle. But that was actually the fun one to me, because Na'Vi, they said, you know what, we'll just stay on the south side. We actually have a chance to play edge in an area that we play all the time that our opponents don't. You see, I mean, they get 19 kills, a 29-point game, right? They allowed for every other team to wrap north around them, and they said, you know what, we're just going to play edge on this one. And then, as Martin said, they were never scared to push anyone, and the teams that that tried to push them, they didn't have a chance. 3 of their players, sitting in the top with kills.
Yeah, Bestalosh gets the backseat for this one, but it really doesn't matter because he contributed a whole lot throughout this game as well. Kemba the Tab and Senya will sit at the top. Zorf and Naylup, though, getting themselves some positionary moves there as well. As we see
1317
The whole team. The whole team is there.
Panic stations, 1,300 damage. Jeez Louise. I don't do that in 10 games.
YouTube にアーカイブ、そうね。
His name is just so perfect. He's tapping everybody.
ちょっとちょろちょろ上げていこうかなと思ってる YouTube に配信のアーカイブを。
We are going to go to a short break here, and then when we return, we're going to our last game of Miramar. Don't forget that you can sign up
上げてほしいって言ってる人もいるんだよね。
will be starting very soon
だから、
for those
その人
qualifiers
たちが一定数いるからさ、一定数か。
EU to sign up for that. Just scroll down a little
ちょろ
bit.
ちょろ上げるようにしてる。
It's right there.
で今日の上げた
We'll
もん。
see you in a few
今日
for
の上げ
more
てない
PUBG. It's
今多
Miramar
分
soon.
アップロードしてると思うけど。今日のランクマのドンカツしたやつ。チーター倒したやつ。
Still standing. Team Liquid are trying to blast it. This is not looking good. This is so risky. They're going straight into TSM.
ヘルプジェンプティ。
6月のプクスもプリスからは2チーム。今日の上がっててあれってなりました。
Jempty, what on earth is he doing? He pulls up, but he doesn't go down. Oh, they traded it! If he stayed alive, he called off Gustav. Michael, though, just digs his heels in, and they cannot get past him. Gustav.
PJS のデースよりツイッチ残ってないんだよね。俺、上げようと思った時にはもうなくなっちゃってたんだよね。ツイッチさ、60時しかアーカイブ持たないからさ、早く上げないとやばいんだよな。で、YouTube だったら一生残るじゃん。ツイッチすぐなくなっちゃうから。しかもダイジェストを作らん限り残ってくれないし。
初見です。
初見ざいらっしゃい。
ミラマーのドン昇進が。
Trying to get the revive, the flames are spreading! He's burning! He's burning! No! It hasn't quite got him! He's just... How's he survived?
Against two solos, you don't go 1v1 in a situation like that. That potentially just threw the win away from
最近、ウェスカーさんが上げてた試合、でも様子でライブコメントしづらいんだよな。
YouTube ライブコメントしにくいの？でもインターフェースの使いやすさとかはさ、もう絶対ツイッチじゃない。ツイッチマジ見やすいし使いやすいよね。なんか最近ちょくちょくアップデートしてだんだん見にくくなってきてるけど。
両手での脱出もっと上げれないんですか？
あれ1080上がってないんですよ。
It was a great time last year, but we move on and we're going to have an even greater time when it comes to the
YouTube の画質はわかんない。俺多分最大で上げてると思うけど、あれより上がんないんだったら無理だね。
Not only for today, but for Group C in its entirety. And when we look at
それはある。動画上がったばっかりは画質悪いよ。
Nuclear Penguins and Raise Your Edge so far today, Toby, have actually made quite a stand for themselves when they before, especially Raise Your Edge, unfortunately for them, didn't quite have the momentum behind them.
Yeah, I mean, now they've found, I guess you can say, one half of the recipe to success, which is placement points and finding a way into late game. Now they just need to get the kills to kind of back it up. Both the teams, as you say, have managed to find their way into top 5 in both the last two games. The kills just haven't quite been there, so while it could have been those 10, 15, maybe even more point games, they have set it around 5 or less, which, as good as the placements are, just won't cut it.
And it's almost like 2 placements as well. 11th currently, Martin. That's nice to see from Ents with that 3rd place that they previously got in this game. So they feel a bit more alive today. Maybe they can also translate the fight.
Yeah, for sure. I think yesterday it was a good start for them. Like 40 points was the best day. They had a 21 and 24 point day, so it was definitely needed. They said they wanted 40 points today. I'm curious to see if they can actually get that. The 40 points will definitely put them in a secure spot. I would still say we're looking at the 105-ish marker, plus minus 5 points there. I think that's where our hypothetical cutoff would be. Especially because our teams keep on sponsoring. We just saw big game from Na'Vi, obviously, and our top 10 teams, they just keep up sponging so many
ちゃん
points.
と上がっ
The
てな
vast
いって
majority
い
of the
う
kill points and the vast majority of the placement points usually tend to go to that, obviously. So it's going to be rough for our lower teams, maybe also for Ents, but I think they're safe Ents, no matter how bad their next games is.
Maybe. Guys, talk to me about that last circle, because that was a bit crazy. It's very rare we get to see those kinds of northern circles, Toby. And obviously, yes, Na'Vi was able to thrive pretty well, because they're kind of there anyway, and it feels like we're able to deal with it well. But a lot of the other teams trying to rotate there, never mind anything else, is a task in itself.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the area that you're headed to, it's easy enough, but what do you play once you get there? I mean, we saw four guys, a full red line team crash, just shacks it inside and go, well, I guess that's the best we can play in this circle. Even though you have like a square 2 kilometers to play. You're like, there's gotta be something better in this area to play, right? But then you look at the map and you go, I guess there isn't. There's a rock over there, but that ain't gonna help you too much either.
Martin, have you had many finishes up towards
どうやって動画消すんだ
I think I
YouTube
had
って
one up west of Cabrera, but that's about it.
動画の消し方が
I've
わ
had
か
a
んない
few, and I've actually played a comp in where we had an Oasis ending. I can't remember if it was Stadia, whatever it was. But it was super entertaining, and I love these variety circles here. And this one, it was interesting to see. It's rough area to play, but your decisions really put you into a situation. Like, obviously, when you see a circle like this, in my opinion, you never go into the town, like unless it's a Hail Mary or it's a last call that you have to do to survive. But you will never survive that. You'll have to try to play around. You have to try to play spots that where you can get as many kill points as possible. Na'Vi did that and also succeeded with getting a new spot where they got into a great spot where they can keep playing from, because they kept their 180 degrees back free and safe, so they could only focus in the front, which was super clever. Also, like the Nuclear Penguins, trying to get into a high ground spot to put some pressure, to kind of relieve some of the guys on the ground as well. It was clever.
難しいよ
I
な
think it was
まあ
exemplified. You actually just mentioned
今行けたっす
going
多
into
分
the
今行け
city
た
and not having an easy way out of that.
俺が
Toby, that
上げ
felt
たか
like
ったのはこっち
exemplified
じゃないん
by
だよね
Etiga actually being kind of stuck there, and as soon as they were coming out with the smoke, they were instantly gunned down. The one last person was instantly gunned down, and I feel that's probably one of the smarter moves that Na'Vi did. They had the entire town if they wanted it, but they said no, we can't sit here. We have to go and find another spot to transition.
Exactly. Big walls and fences are great if you can sit behind them and use them for cover, but trying to push out, like, and past them, then they're gonna work against you, and that's what Na'Vi just took advantage of. They could just sit there, wait for them to come out those 2 walls. It was pretty easy pickings for them, but of course a great game overall.
All right, let's get to it. The final Miramar here for Group C, at least. Let's go to Sims and Pansy.
Pims is ready to go, and yeah, more of those circles. PlayerUnknown's in chat. He gifted us the circle. I'm happy to see it. It was something rare. It was something unique. And that just, again, we watch PUBG. We love this game. Everyone in chat who turns up, you guys watch this, you support your teams. Seeing something out of the ordinary is always fun to see these guys put through their paces in a different scenario. We know these guys know how to play out those normal circles. They play them to perfection, but something a little varied, it'll always catch our eye. Rich, I'm happy to see it, but what do you think we're going to get this time? We're north to south. This could be back to normal. This could be your more standard circle, or maybe it'll just go crazy again.
So we are, I must say, I hate to single somebody out when it's not, I think it needs to be said here. We are currently on and it's all about chicken dinners, Lauren. There is a goose watch. We're into game 14. Zemberry still has 0 kills. The only one so far throughout the entire 24 teams. So we are on goose watch. We need to keep an eye on it. There is still a challenge there. It needs to be made. We need to see that 1 kill. We don't want to finish on a 0.
There we go. Slap bang in the middle. No one can complain now. It's anyone's game, but already I'm seeing casualties coming through on the kill feed. That's the Wildcats. Must have just been caught off landing near Ensign. Well, the scar to hand, only a level 1 helmet and just about 30 bullets to play with. This could still be some danger here in the car. Get out of there, the Wildcats. Everybody wants this. This will be points in the pocket and points mean prizes. It looks like the Wildcats for now can survive to fight another day. They're on the move. They're going to look towards their next destination. But this should open up everything, right? This should be back on even territory, even ground. So the teams, let's say, who are really put out by that last circle, say they play the South, they're back in. They can play this one out now in a way better scenario, a way better game. So we'll see what happens with this now. It looks like, again, I'm seeing their name in the chat. I don't know what's happening there. Did they just knock him getting out of the car? Or maybe he knocked himself getting out of the car because he was so low on HP potentially. But 2 knocks means you're going to bleed pretty quick coming around to the battle. So, could be hard. But who's sitting in good position for the circle?
I say good position. It's kind of pick your poison, right? You go where you want with a circle like this. You've got all the time in the world to kind of stand back and say, right, where do we want to be? Where do we feel most comfortable? With a circle like this, when it's so open, there's a multitude of areas that really you could take. Especially given the fact that you have San Martin. When you look from that, you go down past Power Grid. You know, you can't go around the rock face, that big cliff face that just jumps off. We don't get any circles on there. So you have to knock that out. Which side of that do you want to be? Me, personally, I said you're going to be somewhere around the southeast, surely. It's the bigger area of land, so raise your edge, Etiquette, anywhere around there. Picado's looking pretty good. But in and around Picado, will be a very, very safe bet at the moment. Picado, so Etiquette over to raise your edge, Tempus. Generally, it's one of those where we can't read too much into it until we get that next update. All I would say is probably from Minas Generales, maybe all the way across San Martin, then go down and branch off and go around Power Grid. They're the kind of no-go zones. I could see people sitting on the edge around the roadsides and just playing for time and playing for an option of mobility, or maybe even a choke point, but with how open it is, I'd be very disappointed if I saw people dying early on rotation. But yeah, kind of knock those areas out that you know it doesn't go, and you know, and basically just hope for the best. There's no other way to really say this one because it's so open. It'll be one of those games where if it just centralizes again, Lauren, that we probably go to about circle 4 and maybe have 55, 50 players still alive and not many dead.
Could be the case. It's a good esports. So on screen right now, you've got one place pushed up. Not alone, there is a teammate behind, but not in a stance to fight. They're a little bit isolated. Perfectus, I'm not sure if they know how close they are. I feel like they've got a good idea. Maybe they got a spot or two. Deep's there, Spyro's there. They can isolate this one man. That is a nice little point to be had. Back in the vehicle, and I think, yeah, this is push-up time. Perfectus wants this, chasing it down. Mini. And 16. Away. Find the bullet's not gonna land. Has to hit the reload. And that's kind of done with, but 3TG live to fight another day.
We said it'd be quite a passive one. It's kind of what we're expecting. There'd be no reason for any team to be pushing onto somebody. You'd be unlucky if you pulled up and there was a team wearing a compound. You should be proactive in scouting. You've got all the playtime. You've got all the room, more important. That's the thing that teams sometimes lack. Space to be able to traverse through and even approach certain compounds in certain situations with room to breathe within. Oh. It's a bit wobbly in the truck, but the return fire at least helps out. Teams solidate themselves back together, grouping up. I'm okay with it. Everyone else is generally expecting that scenario that we spoke about, where this side of Power Grid towards the east. The hill's a good place to kind of hang around, especially for someone like Northern Lights, which is exactly what they're doing at the moment. They can opt to go back. If it goes towards, it'd be difficult. If it was a northwest shift, you can almost guarantee that's going to Power Grid. Like if it was a hard shift to the northwest, that's a straight up Power Grid circle, just because it's in the middle quadrant of the circle. So for someone like Northern Lights, you probably just see them bomb back and maybe take.
ナビ100ポイント超えたら多分ほぼ確定だと思う。
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read at this one, and it's all nice and quiet on the western front. Raise your edge, quite spread. I don't mind 2-2s, but I'm not a big fan of 2-1-1. I understand why teams want to do it. You have more land, you have more options, you have a bigger reaction to what happens with the next circle if you're not happy in your current position. But if you go down, generally A, you're an instant flush, or B, you... Yeah, you just put yourself out if your teammates do it. I mean, some can get them.
40ポイントぐらいから40ちゃうわどうだ俺キルポイント見てたわだから10位から20、70まあ20ポイントはちょっと変わるかさすがに80と90ぐらいまでだったらもう変わんないんじゃないかな12位から18位とか
And it's funny recently I've been playing a lot of
変わん
kind
な
of
い
like
ね。ナビの
Armor,
108位から9位が結構差が開いちゃってるね、これ。
And I know we give a lot of grief to the vehicles in this game just because it's a fun meme to do. But when you play other games of like large scale, like getting in vehicles, it's just like, all right, will I be flying or will I go through the map? It's kind of fun to watch on this. At least they're a lot more stable. Put it that way. I've been enjoying the PUBG physics, which was it feels like a weird sentence to say, but legitimately after playing the other games, oh my word. It's been a weird time. You know what? Lockdown's really allowed me to go through my Steam list and play some games again. What have you dipped back to? What have you been looking at?
I mean, there's always the old addiction, what everyone has, what we spoke about. You have your Warcraft, but I am I'm impartial to Age of Mythology. It's one of my really weird but favorite games.
Nice.
The Titans expansion pack. If anyone ever used to be a heavy fan, I've played Age of Empires and stuff, and I like my RTS in general, but Age of Mythology, just because I'm a bit of a nerd and I like that kind of, ancient Greece and ancient Egypt and all that stuff, the Norse gods and all that, it makes me smile when you can like strike people down with thunder or raise a beast from the sea and some weird other mythological crap like that. I enjoy it. That's my jam.
No, I was Ferex has found one off. I'm quite surprised to see a couple of picks here and there, just because, as I said, that you shouldn't be losing full squads here. I can imagine you can lose a player or two, maybe, but okay, a little bit more south than some of the teams expected. Southwest, in play Picardo, just south of that's the center point. I remember when I used to play Age of Empires online. My dad had the PC. I'd go over play AOE.
20試合もあればだいぶ実力差出るんじゃないか。
Yeah, I'm like a 12-year-old girl. What's up? I just beat you, and it was a bad idea. Having like chat in the little like multiplayer lobbies.
エランゲルミラマーオンリーの20試合だったらだいぶ実力差が出る気がする。
Whatever history class
サノカ入ったらもうわからん。
AOE taught me everything I know. Get ready. I'm a drop some knowledge. It was a good time. Age of Empires was good, man. Oof. How do I turn this on the little cheat driving around in the car? Yeah.
I love how you touched on the chat box thing. Obviously, I play Halo as well. Separate to this, it's recently come out on PC. But now there's a chat box in Halo, and it's never been there before. I was playing the other day, and someone says, "Is that the real Sims?" And the first response that came up was, "No, he's a crappy PUBG caster who doesn't play this game anymore." I'm like, "Wow, that's a new one, is that?"
Damn, insta-flamed. It was crazy that, like I said, we're only like, talking nonsense because at the moment, the circle's pretty much, again, quite central. Teams just have to kind of keep folding in. It hasn't been any too crazy hard shifts. We'll jump back to the game. But it was quickly, someone in chat, the one thing I love about PUBG is it brings a lot of people out who've played games for years, right? Like, some are new to it, some are, like, a little bit older. So it's like, oh, I remember you casting, like, a COD LAN, like, years ago. Was that you? I'm just like, yeah, I remember. In Prague, of all things, it was a wild time. It's funny how it's all changed, things good. It's not looking good. Is this Haiku push? Oh, no, that is not nice. Nice response from Armin. Maybe there's a little life left in him, but that's a risky play they've gone for here, and Tempest just simply... caught unawares maybe didn't think they'd fully commit to this, but they have done.
このチーム最下位だけどさ、意外となんかファイト強そうじゃね？なんか多分動きめっちゃゴミだと思うんだよね。もうなんかわけわかんないことしてると思うんだよ。でもなんか打ち合い強いよね多分。普通に。
They haven't even chimed in yet, but Rustamar's in a position where Haiku might be open to this. ETG miles away, shooting off shots. So again. Bit of a weird and I don't want to say wonderful push from Haiku. It felt a little bit hap-handed coming over that ridge, not maybe scouting it out well enough or what the issue was. But Tempest, yes, they are potentially down to just 2 here if they can't get Tommel up, but the casualties for Haiku are way higher.
It's not a great compound to be falling down in as well, with it only been a small one-story building and so many windows. Even getting a res off there, if someone throws a nade through a window or just has a line of sight, there is another player out in the field, by the way, which is going to be Lolita. If they do find that angle, going for the res, he'll be in danger of being knocked himself, and that puts Pixel in all kinds of trouble. 2 versus 1. We'll see. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's all theory at the moment, and again, we're just theorizing what happens. This circle, we did say that we could see really rapid fire moments where everyone just starts to die and burn through the fields because everyone's on transition. The previous one was still pretty good. 60 alive. We kind of guesstimated around 50 to 55 Circle 4 area. I suppose it depends on how nasty This next one takes, if it decentralizes, great. It'll put a few people out of place, but it won't be too damaging. If it hard shifts, well, then we have a different story. Okay.
You said the magical words.
Yes.
ナビとフェイズの方全く人いないんだけど。
Let's kind of think back to Lauren. We said anywhere around Picado seems to be a safe area.
ナビとフェイズの方人いなくて全然。
That is very true. Now, I want to see the teams. I want to talk about the teams who've suddenly been played into quite a strong point. Remember, Na'Vi were playing super up into the north. They were, miles away. Now, suddenly, sitting so pretty. FaZe suddenly go from not, super center, but now very strong. Better luck next time. Misfits, Northern Lights, Raise Your Edge, all become quite key components. To this, so, overall, this kind of shifts the power dynamics here. All these other teams, look at them all trying to go slow side. You've got Adepts, Redline, Ents, Tempest, ETG, all the same way. If someone wants to gatekeep this side, if someone slows down and tries to hit these shots, there's going to be some blood spilled already. Tempest and ETG very close by. That's going to be the Misfits putting down fire towards them on the route. You can see the pull up from Clib, trying to get some shots down, make things a little bit trickier. Work down those vehicles, keep the players unhappy, unsafe, unsecure, and there's the shots coming in. Tag there, but one comes back. That's from Redline though. So many people in this one area trying to make their way through.
ナビはあと何回かいい点取って予選は確実にクリアできるような。まあ多分もう余裕でできると思うんだけど。まあもうちょっと取っときたいなっていう感じはありそうだよ。
Down the side through the open hangars. It's going to be a difficult one. Wasted potential. Sophia is at least getting an answer back. Tixu's been flushed, so that's a straight up not going to kill. Job done. Diggory, Squeaky does have one in the car with him, so 3 players still standing there. It's going to be Tixu. At least it gives good information and a good read to all the other teams, but the problem is for all of them that have to come around, it'd have to be a hard swing. I can see Ents are actually going towards the south of the circle, and that's fine. Tempest, ETG, or at least the one player in Redline, they are bodyguarding. They are the bouncers currently on the eastern side of this circle, especially down that main road from the garages. Wasted potential for me in a really, really rough spot. I don't think they go much further than this. It's cycling the pan, so maybe just a Hail Mary from God, and if it finds its target, it would be hella funny, but still. They've got a lot of work to do. This is just wasting time at the moment. They've got no vehicles because it's flipped, or maybe they've got 2 bikes. Excuse me, I stand completely corrected. They do have 2 bikes. So they'll bail this scenario, but it's what's standing in front of them. There are 2 teams, and if they don't take this safely, they'll pull up and end up dying. Now, let's kind of set the scenery here with the lay of the land. This circle's going to be updating any second. For me, you want to be on the opposing side of the road away from coming.
じゃあなんかその反対のグループさ、めっちゃ強くね ?B グループ。
Could go down to the south, but if I were a betting man, I'd say it'd be shifting away from Kumasera, putting everyone more towards the Picado side, which it does. That's because it comes down from a hillside.
これはフェイズ固めた方が良さそうやね。どっちかに。
The topography, so it floats down.
ああ、やっぱ下の方が固まるよな。グループ B 強すぎだよ。
But it does leave open a compound, which if Na'Vi or another team scout it really well, that becomes empty and becomes a good foothold in this circle. Look at the north. If we bring the map up, good God, Na'Vi, Raise Your Edge, Wildcats, everyone is just smashing head and shoulders into one another. Thankfully, for Raise Your Edge, they're at least on the giving side of this one. That's because Shiv is still inside Picado. He's inside the very tall building, and he is laying down copious amounts of cover fire. His more important job is to feed information. Tell Raise Your Edge where players are directly in front of them. All he needs to do is just IGL this from a distance. Give them the info they need, help him keep his teammates alive, and hopefully they get out of that situation.
And here we get to see the fight in the south. The north is at least in the circle. This isn't Redline. Wasted potential. Diggory out of the blue comes around. Diggory's doing damage, and ooh, did so much damage it closed the game. And now wasted potential on the run. Sophia trying to make the move, but it has Redline right in front of them. Na'Vi holding on. That's over towards the north. Kemba's been knocked in the meantime. Nailop is the one to find best luck. Senya answers back. So it's a back and forth trade, and the Penguins chiming in themselves. They're still fighting this further out, though. They are not quite in the same position as these other teams. Better luck next time is the big boss waiting on the other side. Ivers might make it out, he may not. Scooby finally falls, and it's the Penguins going down in 14th. 13 teams still alive and 41 players. Plenty of players looking for their place here. But this hillside is going to be the death of some of them. Na'Vi may be looking at a new way around. It looks like Raise Your Edge and the Wildcats are about to fall together. The Wildcats Cats are pushing this, maybe seeing blood in the water like a shark. They're hunting it down. They're going to turn up anytime now as Ivus wins out that fight against Sophia in the end. And the Wildcats, how long until they get involved? How long until Razor Edge suddenly have a threat elsewhere? Now it happens. She created their monkey. Not longer for this world as Rupture waits to do the damage as well. Razor Edge being held alive by the Misfits out of nowhere. Fire comes in. Shiv was looking for an off angle towards Na'Vi. Didn't expect the Wildcats to come around, leaving Razor Edge with just 2 players here. Naylor bleeding by the wayside, and it's not looking so hot. One more nade from Na'Vi might do the damage, but they don't have the chance for it. Marv goes down. Better luck next time. Gonna find that as Kissick is the one to claim it.
Self-destruction for 3 teams down in the south that just met each other, and it was all because of the slow play. Now, I feel a bit sorry for Razor Edge. They took a fight head-on with the Wildcats, and the Na'Vi just heard the alarm bells ringing, magnetized towards this, and they've got so many problems. Granted, they've not picked up every single kill within the bag because another team in the form of the Wildcats have just got on the bike and got the hell out of here.
お前今よう見えた
done
な
enough damage, which will probably send Razor Edge Gaming out, and there you have it. Job done. See you later, boys. 12th position. Excuse me, 11th position. It's not great when we're looking for this team to be up there in the high-figure numbers. They needed to win that battle. They needed to get in. They had a good position, good strong position at one point in the circle, but they stayed there. They got a little bit lazy, and by staying there, it's punished them, puts them up against the blue, and ultimately puts them outside of the lobby. Wildcats moved in. They centralized. It's a weakened position, given the fact of so many teams around them. If they have to move, they're dead. There's only 2 of them alive as well.
めっちゃノーザンライツの方寄っていくやん。
Tempest are searching. They're looking for a home. There is one compound open.
一回左に寄ってそこから右右。
That'll be a good position for them to take hold of. I'm not even sure if it's actually the stronger compound. I think they're more like the little shacks. Pixel instantly drilled. That's a really good spray coming out of Zeron. Follow-up nade. Tomwell should be wide enough to try and avoid this one unless it rolls down. He doesn't expect it. All the utilities committed. He thinks, you know what, let's try and get out of here, but it's too little too late. Tempest, they go down in 10th. Couple of kills in the bag, but still a low scoring position.
いや、思わんかったやろね。
Become kings of the mountain, been able to
そんな外れるって感じじゃない？
Even just from noise and peacocking. The pressure that the guns will apply will just keep them at bay. FaZe Clan, finally, the security of the compound is taken away from them with this circle, which means they're going to be forced to fight. The problem for FaZe Clan here is they have 2 teams behind them.
まあでもここの山に上がっていきそうだけどね、フェイズは。もうここの敵倒して。
Yes, FaZe is in a favorable scenario, but when you've got 2, who do you pick?
それから考えそうじゃない？
First, where do you look towards? This is the problem at the moment. They're just a distraction. FaZe Clan needs to be moving forward at this time to keep it clean, to keep all 4 players alive. But how can you do that when you're so focused on teams that are actually now getting in front of you?
Gonna find out soon. Misfits, how much land do they have, Rich? Look at them in the north. Holiston side is theirs. That's a really big land grab. Senya for Na'Vi, still trying to find a way in. Red zone bit split up here. The Wildcats, this is all a contested area in the west. Yeah, FaZe, I don't know how they're going to find their way forward, but it's FaZe. They know more than I do, and they maybe still have those vehicles. Yes, Gustav's in his. Going to work his way forward. Maybe Fuzzface trying to lead the way a little bit. Find an avenue of approach. Northern Lights sitting so pretty in the center of this. Don't need to overextend. Don't need to do anything crazy. Look at the way the topography plays to this compound. Those hillsides are so open the second you have to run down. If this closes in on Northern Lights, they should be winning this out every day of the week.
With the position that the Misfits hold, it makes it that much more important why they had to take that fight on Tempest. Did they have the drop on them? Absolutely, but still to go out there proactively and remove them from that position, it now gives them this side of the circle. Hell, they've got more, just below
ナビは結構いい広がり方してるかもね。
They've got a compound if they have to move back towards it and group up.
おお、ノーザンライツに寄りすぎだろこれ。
If they now bring the team together, head down towards the south, they can hold BL dead to rights. FaZe Clan is a good fight. Uber's turned up as well to the party. One's already damaged.
Yeah, Fuzzface's nade is going to set up Gustav for the flush, but they need to find the other player. There's at least one more there, and combined they dispatch of them comfortably. Red zone being wiped off the map. As Mummy's gonna have to make the run, and it's, well, do I die to FaZe or Na'Vi at this point? Maybe he can snake away, but there's not much grass to hide in for this snake, so I don't know what he can achieve. Adepts as well, holding on to almost nothing here, maybe trying to catch better luck next time as they work their way in, but even for them, where do they head? Look towards the Misfits, hard ground to take, and Zembri, wanted to see more from this player. This could be the chance.
Not sure if he's got it yet, but we're still looking for that first initial kill of the competition. Nobody wants to see anyone ending on 0. When we put in smokes out, fortunately we'll give away his position. You can see Uber's already cycling the nade through his inventory. Throws that one out, that should be an easy 1 point. Do feel a bit sorry for FaZe in this scenario. It's them up against CIS at the moment. Na'Vi towards the north. Northern Lights towards the central position. Really pick who you want to die to. Who do you want to give points up to at this point? It might even be easy to give it up to the blue.
Might be the case. We'll see. Keep your eyes on the board. See what they choose here. Adepts. Time to use that utility, boys. Do what you can. No more smokes, I can see. They're going to be stuck against terrible odds. FaZe, though, might help them find a little route forward as the fire came in towards Kissick and he's gone down. So better luck next time. Not having the easiest of approaches here, but fire just came in from Na'Vi, so they have to be aware of that left-hand side.
It's a pretty disgusting shot as well to hit it from that distance. It's definitely a headshot, so it's a 1 or 2 tap coming through. Oki's gone down. He'll be able to get himself back with 4X picking him up. But I can see better luck next time. I'm looking towards that area, so there is potential. They push on that. The bleed out for 1. Excuse me. The blue even comes through, and that's the one that Fuzzface knocks in the back. The way of FaZe. Still in this very large split. I don't think there's any real
Naviにファイト仕掛けるのが多分一番いいんじゃないかな。
Unless FaZe gets gifted a hard shift here, which I wouldn't expect up on this plateau.
おお、まだちょっと入ってる。フェイズ。ナビが外れたよね。逆に次ナビがしんどくなるんじゃない？
You lucky people, because now it's Na'Vi that has to move. All of a sudden, the scenario is completely flipped on its head. That is just genuine potluck.
Straight up luck. There's, I can't wait to see chat just spamming like who paid off for the circle. You know what I mean? Like FaZe just on the cusp. I mean, they don't have much room, but it's more than most. Them and Northern Lights are in. Everyone else stuck on the outskirts, looking in. Clawing for space, but now the points coming through. FaZe want these.
Oh, 出てくる、当てる、当てる、当てる。
Way towards the top, but of course you want more. Of course you want to do well. So Na'Vi almost hit.
いや、意外とそうでもないと思うよ、これ。高いとこからめっちゃ視線通ってるから、そんなに打ちたいほどじゃないね。
The Adept squad falling now. Northern Lights start seeing their first contenders. It's going to be a couple of the players from the Misfits moving down the hill. Zembri skidding down there, goes down, tab finds that, but it's Spyro putting in the hard work.
いや、伏せれば入らないと思う。上からの車線さえ入らなければ大丈夫じゃないから。今結構閉まってきてるし、大丈夫だと思うけど。
あ
とここからナビ見て。ナビは耐える位置ないと思うんだけどね。車と多分無理だと思うよ。ノーザンライツの車線えぐいと思うけどこれ。
This should be their game, but anything's a possibility. The Misfits have somehow just made it down the hill. Vestalog's also gone down. Everything's fallen apart.
車で前に行ったとしても、もうグレ圏内なんよ。
Mop up what you can, bag as many points as humanly possible, because the Northern Lights are the final boss at the end of this dungeon.
Na'Vi got the smokes up, they've got a knock, they're trying it. You gotta give Na'Vi credit, they'll run it till the very end, and Na'Vi making the push tab out in the middle of the open. And Eitsu's bullets are going anywhere but him. Finally it lands, tab is caught, Senya goes down to the blue, and we're down to 3 teams. It's all falling apart so swiftly. Northern Lights piling in, better luck next time is the next target to focus. Getting attention from both squads here. 4 alive for FaZe, same can be said for Northern Lights. Right off.
FaZe. You'd
argue if it was a weaker team in that compound, it could be a different case. We
have
Uber reload. You need some bullets there. Fuzzface, he's going to try it. He's going to do what he can. Pulls the car up. He's made it a little bit closer. Not sure if he's fully in yet, but he's close enough. He could maybe worm his way forward. And there it is. Fate goes down. We're down to 2
まあ無理じゃないかなとは思うけどね、これは。これきついよ。これはきつい。これ結構きつい、これ。
And Batulins are the ones who have to make it work. So how do you deal with Phase here? Because technically,
これなんかノーザンナイツが2人とか抜かれんかったら大丈夫やね、多分。
You should be. They are good and they've got a good shot on them.
行くとこないよ。
The mini standoff, to be honest. We've got a bike if Etsy wanted to kind of play selflessly and maybe distract them so other people can move. We used to see Mexi doing that quite a lot where he just
エアドロのところまで行けたらいいけど。エアドロのところまで行けばいいけど、まあ無理やなこれ。もう絶対無理だと思う。
I'm wondering if somebody plays selflessly here and yep, there you go. Look, 8C is going for a different angle on them. Now they'll all look towards him.
まあ無理だよな。もう絶対無理だよなあれ。
Uber to get to the vehicles a bit closer towards Northern Lights. You know, 8C, you can't save him now, so everyone can just focus on the problem at hand.
Now, they're in the circle. 8C's dead. Gustav's just fallen, both trying to find the similar thing, but we're down to Uber and Fuzzface. These angles, Uber, please be careful. No helmet, barely a vest, no smokes, nades and molotovs. All that's left, but maybe it's all he needs.
Oh no.
Excellent nade, and it's go time. Fuzzface
Yeah,
wants a bit of it. You can see him pushing through the smoke, flash in hand, he gets found. Spyro says no, he's up top. Uber, a second tactical nuke goes off from him, and the push continues. The nades are good though, coming back in. Uber down to 3 HP, he's trying to make it work. Tags up for Tulins, but he knows he's low, Northern Lights. 10 kills. They hold the compound, but that was close. FaZe gave everything they had.
めちゃくちゃ惜しかったな。
Yeah, I don't think any other scenario you could have played it better, to be honest. It's he makes it to one side, he has another angle of an avenue of approach, just be a nuisance, be a magnet, you know, look towards him. He does the job. It would have been nicer maybe. I can understand what Gustav's trying to do by looking from above and trying to get some kind of peek or just even a dink or a knock. But it might have been better if he could have joined the rest of them early. Itzy's gone down, fine, he's done his job. They've all looked towards him, used that advantage to run down the hill, get with the rest of the team. Yeah, Uber's nade at the end. What could have been, who knows, but they still had all the utility. That was the good thing for Northern Lights. They had a copious amount of utility because they hadn't really been in any fights just yet.
Yeah, good win for Northern Lights, but again, it feels like, and I'm sure the desk could echo this with the Tomil storyline that we saw with the Depths earlier. Sometimes that runner-up team fighting against the odds is sometimes just that little bit more exciting. But for now, it is the Northern Lights picking up the victory. Guys on the desk, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
That's right, Lauren. It was exciting stuff. FaZe were trying to get themselves into the right position. However, it was just a little bit too hard. Northern Lights get the victory here inside that compound. And of course, Avenger and Toby, yes, Northern Lights get the victory. And yes, we might be able to hear from them very soon. But the most important thing is, hopefully it's Batulins, and hopefully he's wearing a bathrobe. That's the most important part, Avenger, of all of this. Let's look at the highlights. What do you think?
I think it's very important to see whether he's wearing the famous bathrobe or not. I think he's the 10% comfort and 10% rotations you get extra from that rope is just you have to wear that, you know. No, jokes aside, they obviously had this couple on for a long time, but they managed to get 10 kills with it. Very nice to see. Some unfortunate things going on throughout the game, but that last circle shift towards FaZe, like I was baffled. That was lucky, but it was super interesting to see.
That was Digital Athletics magnet level of circle pulling right there. That was some sick stuff. Toby looking towards the final ends. FaZe, obviously, they tried to make a decent meal of it, but it's so hard to cross that road into that fortress, effectively, as Richard coined it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's practically impossible. It's the opposite of what we saw with Etiquette trying to leave a couple of years last game, right? Now you have those walls in your pay, but only if all you have to do is sit behind them and say, well, in 3 seconds they have to be down from that hillside. You start peeking, and then there they come. And there's only so much they can do. I liked how they pushed down Fuzzface early to maybe try and be able to put down some suppressive fire. Gustav was doing the same thing from above, 8 to try to get a wide angle. I mean, they were doing everything they could to make the play. It just wasn't possible. But having said that, I mean, I want to give a massive amount of kudos or credit to Northern Lights as well, because yes, they get the compound, yes, they're sitting in the center, but that is a very crashable compound. And if you're not on your tiptoes, this is not just a lean back position and wait for the circles to come to you. You have to run around and constantly your 360 safe, and they were doing that. If you look at the game, I mean, I think none of them had more than a couple of bullets left in the chamber. In the very end of it, they were shooting all the time to make sure that they weren't getting crashed. So massive credits for them to be able to hold that off too.
Sorry. Even in Circle 3, they were like all the way up to Circle 3. They were in a nice 2-2 split as well. It was very nice to see.
Let's take a look at the points that they get then. 20 points up towards the top, 13 points for FaZe there, as well as they were able to fire at everything that was moving from up on the high ground there, so not too bad for them. Better luck next time. Get themselves a 3rd place here when it comes to 5 kills, as well as those 5-pointer-roonies coming in. So very good for them to try and push themselves up to a more stable position as we take a look at this head-to-head here between FaZe Clan and Northern Lights. And it was very clear, Toby, that FaZe Clan had a very decent position. It's just a shame that they had to move eventually with that kind of damage that they were able to put out.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both them and Northern Lights pretty happy DA weren't playing today. Because, I mean, that was, like, those spots would never have been taken had we been in a lobby where a team actually landed on that west side of Picado. But it was opening up for grabs early, and with the 3rd hard shift coming towards them, that really, I think it put a smile on both the teams' faces.
Yep, indeed he do. Spyro there gets himself 5 in the bag, and we see Uber once very close to that 1,000 point mark. And we all know Uber is very good for it when it comes to getting those damage numbers up and running. So, but that being said, Misfits were able to punch out a lot of damage here as well. And they're one of the teams that were kind of floundering, Martin, throughout kind of the past couple of days. So nice to see them being able to, you know, have a few of those punches going.
Yeah, I mean, they had a 7-point day yesterday and 15 points today, excluding this game, I think. So it's super nice to see them to step up. They need to do this as well. I mean, it's the last day of play. They need to step up now if they want a chance to get into the top 16. And they really need to have like 1 or maybe even 2 very big games for it to happen.
Guys, I'm being notified that there will be no interview. So that's unfortunate. We're not going to get to see Batulens. We're not going to get to see the bathrobe, but maybe next time. We're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and when we return, we are going to have more from the PCS. We're going to Erangel Remastered. We'll see you in a sec.
Predator は連絡は来ません。俺はなくなったもんだと思うようにしてる。
And that is making it a 2-on-2.
Called them into the Spaniard is doing everything he can to keep his team up. A lot of damage coming in towards him. Still on their feet. Colter goes down. Lynxy is there. Gets the flash in towards Calvin. Lynxy got the knock onto Tomlin.
いやー、俺は前オーストラリア人たちと会いたかったな。
大全員違ってて草。
Lynxy got the knock onto Tomlin as well, so I believe it's just a 1v1 now.
Just catches the spray down, goes for the red dot spray. Ultra trying to tap away, it's just not working for him. Lynxy tries to line it up, switches over to the mini.
Hold on, yeah. Speaking of, ooh, no, that's a bit of poor driving.
味方追ってるこれ。
6月から始まるプクスアジアはプジスフェーズ2から2チームと書いてありました。
あ、そうなんだ。6月から始まる PCS アジア PJS フェーズ2から2チーム。俺5月30から始まってそこから3週でしょ。終わったら速攻やるってこと。
Oh no! What is going on?
Around the north or south or whatever. Oh dear. Nixie's been caught out. Misa's coming in. That's just going to go horribly wrong for Crow Crowd. Nuki and Misa have managed to get some back themselves. They didn't expect Nuki to be around the rock, and that has caused a problem for Seven. Illivice, the last man standing down low, does get Nuki down.
そうなんだ。8月にもある。で、その8月の PCS が終わったら、あれか、グローバルイベントその次が。で、そのグローバルイベントで、あれか、PCS で結果を残したチームが出れるやつワンチャン。
Illivice, the last man standing down low, does get Nuki down on that side of the rock. We could be seeing Seven going down very early here.
このクエスチョンみたいなんいるか？
わかんない。まあ何もしないよりいいんじゃない？ んばんは。
ラスカル出場ワンチャンありそうですね。今年は世界あるんですかね。昨日の土偶惜しかったですね。
That's right, we're back. It's no who's who just yet, but hopefully later on.
いや今年いや日本はさ日本はできるけど海外ができなくね世界大会。
I've got Avenger, I've got Toby here for Erangel.
海外がコロナやばくない？
We've got 3 more games to play out tonight, and we are going to be going to Erangel. Martin getting things going. It's do or die really for a Group C. We've already seen wins from Adept, Navi, as well as Northern Lights, as we see a little bit of dominance going on here from our CIS regions in the last 2 games at least. So great stuff by them so far. But going into Erangel Remastered, what you're looking for, my friend?
Obviously looking at the
欧
teams that
州
have
と
3
かア
more
メ
games
リ
to
カ
go,
はそうだね無理だねだから多分できないんじゃないかな
Penguins, Istanbul Wildcats that are still
来週か再来週にはまたコロナはやる
kind
よ。
of top 16
あ
rounds in the
じゃあもうダメだ
tomorrow, so
できないわ
you have to put up a lot of points, make
まあ
sure
確か
that
に
they
ワ
don't
ンチャンは
get
失礼だと
overtaken.
思うよ確実に出れるか出れないかはまあ違うにして
For both Misfits and Red Zone,
確実に出れる
Red
チームとか
Zone
な
and
い
Nuclear
し
Penguins right now because they're just in the cusp.
Yeah, definitely so. Nuclear Penguins fall down 1 place in this previous mode. In fact, from the couple of games that we've seen so far, as Adept have moved up 3 spots. So nicely done by Adept to try and solidify themselves up there. But of course, they have another day tomorrow to actually try and play out the things. So looking very good for them so far, Toby, from what we've seen from them.
It has, and I'm looking at it. I mean, Wildcats again. They're almost there, right? Now you have 3 games to rag up. I want to say 20 points. Then you'd feel.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can breach 110, then you should be feeling confident. But at the same time, I mean, 10th is 98 right now, right? And a lot of these teams still have 6 more games to play. You'd have to think that it might actually be pushed up even higher by a little bit. But I want to say that 110 you should be in. But I mean, it's gonna be close.
Yeah, there might be a precedent almost of like, if you find a Group A team, then maybe you actually want to go and deal with those if those are a little bit lower than you. But you know that is kind of ambitious. It's a bit weird to be able to try and figure that out on the fly in the heat of battle. But if it happens, it happens. So moving forwards here, let's take a look at what we actually saw yesterday. Because of course, from Erangel Remastered, we got wins from a lot of the teams that weren't even in Group C, like TSM, for example, and Tropic. To try and push themselves on. So it's a good opportunity, Martin, for a Group C to just have a little bit more of a buffer, I suppose, going into this and trying to match up against Group A a little bit better.
Sure, but I still think we have our top teams that are still sponging. Like that's if I was a team that was on the cusp or just inside or just outside, I'm looking at the teams that are like they're just vacuuming all the points up. Honestly, it's actually crazy how many, like how far ahead our top teams are compared to our mid pack and our bottom packs, and how far ahead / behind that those teams are. So yeah, I like, if I was a team that are right now like looking at needing like 20 points, 30 points to get in the 110 mark, I would be playing the next game safe in the first couple of circles, and then get into a good position in 4th and play on foot from there. And try to get a lot of kills from that position rather than try to send it center in the first couple of circles and try to get lucky in those.
So PUBG は結構アジアで流行ってるもんな。
As you mentioned, with that sponging up of points, Toby, they've been just on fire, realistically speaking. Of course, you know, FaZe and Northern Lights in the first game didn't make their presence that felt, to be perfectly honest. But beyond that, getting a 1st and 2nd in this last game, FaZe being present in the last game as well before that, very, very difficult to deal with for some of these teams.
Yeah, sometimes it all clicks. You get the rotations right, you hit your shots, and when you have the teams that are on the top of the, I guess we can say, food chain in competitive PUBG in Europe, doing that in lobbies where you may you have open qualifier teams that have come through and that lack that firepower, or maybe the competitive experience, you know, that you just can't compete against it. I mean, when you have some of these top teams that are really on their good day, it's some of their top team come rush, you should say, to go up against them, and yeah, that's gonna be tough if you're in that position right now, where you're trying to really like claw on some more points when it comes to the likes of Navi, Northern Lights, and FaZe.
Especially if
they get really comfortable and swinging away. All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Time to move into our last 50% of the day as we go to Erangel Remastered. It's an exciting time, as always. Don't forget as well, the PCS #1 registration is now open. You can go to PUBGesports.eu for all of the info and get signed up. We'll head over to Sam's and Pansy. I can't speak. We're doing it. Let's go. It's Erangel.
てかさ、プロゲーマー意外とコロナかかってなくない？やっぱ家出ないかな？結構かかってないね。
Erangel Remastered for our group. I believe it's C teams now at this point when we're coming into it. That's Miramar done. All the Miramar.
だってさ、ここに出てる人もさ、みんなさ、いやマジ気になんないだってさ、海外のチームも、まあ日本もそうだけどさ、コロナかかってなくねみんな。あ、俺キーキャップ変えてるよ。ハイパー X のキーキャップつけてる赤色の。カメラ映るかな？
中国どこも強い。
わかる？
Yeah, that's a bit weird. I mean, whatever floats your boat.
コードがね、あんまり伸びないんで。わかるこれ。あ、ここの部分。ここ変えてる俺。
But then also the Northern Lights can box them into Prim because they have the kind of surround, so a little bit of a back and forth. The one thing we do have that is fun is Na'Vi and Belloc next time next to each other again. Tempest quite close by.
あ、違う違う。これキーキャップ変えてる。後で下に追加しとくわ。
Rich, you asked for Stauber.
What's that?
これ結構いいよ。滑らないしね。
There is a chance.
本当はV とか V とか G とかにあればいいんだけどね。1、2、3、4のところにもこのキーキャップ。あんまり滑んないよこれ。だからデフォルトのさキーボードってさ結構指の油がさ付着しやすくない？わかるこれ。これ誰か分かってくれる人いる？指汗がさ結構なんかそのキーボードに付着したままなんか取りにくくない？拭いても。
We have FaZe in North George. I don't know how I feel, Rich. I'm just getting my sandwich. I'm very confused.
確かにちょっとテカりますね。
そう、それがないね。
もっと様子でに動画上げてほしいです。めちゃついて気になる。
めちゃついて気になるでしょ。このハイパー X のやつあんまつかないよこれ。これ結構いいよ。あ、マジで？どうだろう。俺結構なんか指が引っかかる感じがあって結構いいけどな。もっと YouTube に動画上げてほしい。まあなんか今度そのなんだろう。まあ試しにもう一個なんかそのモンタージュっぽいモンタージュではないけど、なんていうのかな。うわもうしっかり落としますね。まあモンタージュっぽいモンタージュは多分違うけど、なんかそのなんか DMR 多めのやつ入れようかな。2タップみたいな。そのモンタージュに入りそうになかったシーンみたいな。入れてもいいけど入れたらちょい微妙だなみたいな感じのシーンを入れたなんていうの動画みたいな作れたらいいなと思って今ちょろちょろ溜まってるけど。前アサルトばっかだし、モンタージュって大体アサルトばっかなんだよ。
やったー、嬉しいです。ありがとうございます。楽しみにしてます我々。どんなにしてみたいです。
なんで使うたけど安いスイッチ。最近マウス変えてからめっちゃ DMR 当たる気がするから。意外と DMR のなんかシーンっていうのは集まりそう。まあランクマだったら。ランクマの方がシーン出やすくねってか敵固まってるし。
それなめっちゃ当たってる。
最近マジ当たるよね。エンドゲーム XM1 です。
The north side, where we're kind of looking at now, red zone, Haiku. These guys, you know, ooh, easy, 7 HP. You're lucky to be alive, but yeah. So the north side includes Stalber, Severny, that sort of thing. The south, Yasnaya, the Fields, Rozok, playable too. This is going to be a very interesting one to see where this heads. You know, we've seen the ending southeast of Stalber. That, again, Tomil being the
もう
highlight
マジ
player
で
of
撃つ
that.
よね。
But still, I wonder where this heads.
この人他から撃たれて死なねえかな。
I suppose it could be pinballed around rather awkwardly, to be honest with you, because if you look at the water, and we do know that the Yasnaya Pond and even the rivers do play an effect in the game when it comes to the land ratio off the back.
おお、なんか味方に引かれて死んでたぞ。
Fine, doesn't matter because it was a kill anyway. Oh, reloading at the
Whoa.
wrong time and you get punished.
シンベさんのドムア打ってるの見るのめっちゃ好きですしょ。
Noki's gonna come for the flush here. And you know
Ah,
what?
so that-
He decides to try and
ア
pull
ジア
up
大会
and
見て
res
思
him.
った。
Sophia might get punished as well. I like that he's not just bombing it across the bridge and going for it.
まあ自信があるからね。
Wouldn't be surprised if Noki just
海外
really
は
just
っていうよ
went
り、
out
あそこ
baited
に出てるやつらはめっちゃ強いんよ。
for the res. They're looking for this final flush.
そ
Kind of
う。だか
set
ら
up the
めっちゃ
place
強
out,
い
but
や
yeah,
ん。めっちゃ強いから
we'll watch it
打
regardless.
ち合い行こうとするやん。
Talk about and expand on
って
what
いう
you
ところが
mentioned, but
強
this
気に
one
見
is
えるんだと思う
difficult.
よ。
You have water north and east, which plays a factor circle 4. But then you have the snaking river from Georgia Pol goes all the way through to the Yasnaya main pond. There's quite a lot of water on different areas of this circle. So it is going to
ア
play
ジ
a
アのフィジカルは
factor.
世界でもトップクラスだと思
There
う
is。potential it just goes to Stalber eventually if like the circles.
エイムに関してはマジ強いよ、
Scenario
アジアの
when
フ
it
ィジ
gets
カルは。
to number 3, we go to number
エイム
4.
は
It'll
マジ
try
で
and
強い。
avoid everything as much as humanly possible. So I suppose Circle 2 will give us a good indication of where we could be rolling to. Base Clan,
Spawn
somewhere I
Island.
wouldn't expect to see them. Douche.
Dude, I remember
Enjoy.
looting
その
Spawn
平
Island.
均
You
した
see,
エイ
like,
ムの
drop
強さっていう
down
のは
by,
め
like,
っちゃ強いと
Stalber.
思う、アジアは。
Before Kamishki even was
本当に
there,
ね。
get a boat, head
でも
across,
なん
rotate,
か
come back.
もう天才的なやつとかいるじゃん。例えばなんか
Essentially these days,
めっちゃ配信者やけどめっちゃ強えみたいな。
It used to spawn
っていう
big.
のは
It
ヨー
used
ロ
to
ッ
be
パ
quite
に
good
生まれ
at
る
it
の
too,
が
'cause
多
it
い
was
ね
all milli built.
ヨーロッパとか
Yeah,
アメリカとか
We took a trip over
に
on
生まれ
one
る
of
イ
the
メー
Stalber
ジが
Islands,
あ
and
るかな
it's
俺
just-
は。
there's nothing else
まあア
I'm
ジアにも
assuming
探せば
we
いるん
could
だ
buy.
ろうけ
That's
ど
why they kind of got rid of
まあ
it.
配
Maybe.
信者
I don't know.
じゃないにも
I
し
have
ろ
never
この人
thought
めっちゃエイム強いとか
Before
Before that.
Gliders. I
この
might
人
be
キャラ
wrong,
コンめっちゃうまいみたいなのはなんかヨーロッパとかなんかそのズバ抜けた感じなのはヨーロッパとかアメリカとかが多いね。
like fully geared, and then you'd see the circle go Millie Island. It's like, alright.
アジア
We used
が
to cast, didn't we? We've cast
ア
in
ジアが
2017. Like
他の
I
地域
remember
ヨシンブリ
some
シ
of
ンベさんがドムアバンバン当ててるの見
when
て
we
るの
had
楽し
the
いです
Western and
わら
Asian teams meeting up and the Eastern teams. We saw a lot of them.
アジア
actually
圏が
still
他の
loot
他の
there.
地域に
I
劣
think
ってるっていう
even-
の
I
は
think
も
in
う
a
ない
Gamescom potentially,
もう
yeah,
なく
we
なって
saw
きてんじゃない
teams
だいぶ
looting
だいぶもう
over
な
there,
くなってきて
heading
ると思う
over on
よ
I wouldn't be
boats.
surprised. Yeah, Gamescom, dude, Gamescom was a wild time. That was just like, there was no game really like this. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time you got to see so many, like, crazy things happen, you know. Ninja was
昔はあ
still,
ったんよ昔はなんかその
like,
10年ぐらい前と
start,
か
but
は
Ninja
あったと
was,
思う
you
んだ
know,
よ
still
ね
playing PUBG.
アジア圏あんまり勝
You
てなかった
had
りとか
who else was there? You had Andy Pyro
なんか
there.
5対5の
FaZe was
FPS でも
there,
韓
you
国
had
はあんま
like
り
all
強く
the,
ない
you
みたい
know,
なのあっ
early
たんだ
guys,
け
Yellow
ど
Armor Boys
今は
coming
もうだいぶ
across.
そういうのなくなってき
It
た
was
と
pretty
思うよ
wild. It was quite a fun time.
Yeah. Always
You had
remember, yeah, it
Martin
was
there.
it was the
アジア内での
had
差がある
Martin
のかな
actually coming. I think it was second again in that one.
He did
アジア内で差があるとしたら考え方の問題だね
Pony Rider. I think it was in the duos.
文化が結構出てきてると思うなんか最近よくほんまそれ感じるわそうなんか文化の
God, yeah.
その国の文化
Man,
の
it was,
なんか
who won it? 'Cause I
なん
know
ていうの
Luminosity won.
大事さというかさ
Yeah.
なんか戦い方に文化が出てきてる気がするね
Yeah, because that was
for
Drassel
duos.
and
身長
Was
わら
Ninja
like
and
that.
Cohen Drassel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tier 3
Cloud9
gaming.
got. Did
今
Cloud9
大
get
会現
the?
G があまり結果出せてないの見てるとアジアのレベルどんどん上がってるのかなって思う
Duo
日本語って
Because
チーム戦あんま向いて
that's
ない
when
よ
we
ね
first saw Borg.
日本語は
'cause
チ
he
ーム
was
戦あんま向い
replacing
てない
somebody. We were like, Borg's going to be an
Yeah,
absolute
Chappie
banger of
won
a
it.
player.
Chappie won it. I
Yes.
remember Chappie winning that. Chappie and Solid FPS won it, and then Martin and Pony Rider came second. Andy Pyro and Forsen came third.
おこつのりを
Oh
蹴
my
ったり
God.
体力減ってても攻めた
Dude,
り
that,
海
how
の嫌い
nuts was that, man? And then
Oh,
you had,
so,
like,
so, so.
Mazarini and Spike in
そういう
fourth.
考え方の違いだよだからヨーロッパとかさ弾がなくてももうとりあえず撃つじゃんも
Ninja and Chipsy
もう
were
撃ちま
fifth.
くりやんか
Dude, those are crazy times.
だからそういうの
It's-
も
it
ヨーロッ
feels
パの
like
文
such
化
a
だ
long
し
time ago. Like,
でもなんか無駄なところは打たずに倒せるところ今のめっちゃ強かったね。倒せるところしか打たないみたいなっていうチームもあるじゃん。それはその人の考え方だし。
Oh, they're
韓
on
国チームの
way.
ミリ体力で
If
もう
he
一回
just
覗いて
drives
くる
through
のは
the
びっくりす
smoke
る。
and
プ
runs
ブはア
well,
ジアで流
give
れ
us
て
a
くる
camera
から
on
ア
the
ジアが
back. I
強い
want
し
to see it.
CG は U の方が人気あるから U が強い。
No.
そんだけでは
そんだけじゃないね。考え方の問題ね。考え方の問題ってすごいあるよ。で、自分が思ってるよ
Will he
り、
make it
多分なんか
over the
ね、
hill? Oh, he's
観戦してる
tagged.
人たちとかって多
Oh,
分、
he can... oh, no,
わかんないと
they
思う
get
けど
another、
その
penalty.
国の考え
He's
方
running.
っていうのがあるじゃん。その
I think
教
so,
育から
yeah.
小学校
Sophia's the
か
only
ら
one
何やら
else.
の教育とかさ、言語の違いとか。それって結構チーム戦で出てくんだよね。
Yeah, that's not good. What position were they when we came into this WP? When we looked towards the point, they were.
流行ってるから、まあ流行ってるからっていうのもあるけどね。人口、その一つの中で人口っていうのはあるじゃん。人口が多いみたいな。まあそれも環境だし、まあそれをひっくるめて環境っていうのもあるしね。
Innocutive was playing in that. That's crazy.
はい、こんにちは。
ずっとってたと思うんですね。ゲームによっても考え方全然違うし難しいですね。
日本人はなんか一人でやる競技とかさあるじゃん。なんかストリートファイターとか、ああいうのはめっちゃ強いと思うよ。ゲーセンの文化もあったじゃん。だからそれこそ文化よ。ゲーセンの文化があったでしょ。なんか人前でやるような、ああいうさ、みんなが集まってやるみたいな。
文化がスタイルに出てくる感じ。
だから日本のストリートファイターってすごい強いじゃん。ある程度年いっててもめちゃくちゃ強いじゃん。
日本でピオみたいなプレイは全然ないよね。EU は多国籍チーム多いからいろんな国の考え方を取り入れられて良いかもですね。
If someone remembers it, let us know, because I can't like find it on the Wikipedia page, so let me know.
それも文化だね。ゲーセン文化が築き上げた強さだと思うよ、それは。
Who was it?
I need to remember. I'm trying to think of his name now, and it's really annoying me. Oh God. Because we've seen them, because we knew straight away when we've seen them compete, we cast over them in other events when they played.
I know. Who?
Oh, Martin's messaged me. Yuki. It was Yuki.
Oh,
and
yeah, there we go.
The man who we don't speak about anymore as well, Yuki and his partner.
Gosh.
Yeah, thank you, Martin, in the background. Appreciate it. I knew, yeah, it just came.
国内と国外で好きな選手いたりする？
Okay, so let's look at
バックグラウンドが重要なんですね。
国内は別に好きな選手はいないから。
国外だったらいいけど。
日本人は日本生まれのゲームが強い気がします。当たり前なのかもしれませんが。
あ、その国の生まれのゲームが強いのは、まあ大体当たり前っちゃ当たり前やね。
Penguins, ETG all waiting on that jump off Na'Vi just coming in. The rest
だからスポーツとかもそうじゃん。自分母国、自分の自国で生まれたスポーツは強いでしょ。その国が。
Are we going up the mountain?
それ歴史があるからね。
It's a little further east, but
歴史とか
Stalbert
文化
is
が。
slap bang on it. You wanted this, Rich. Where do we need to look?
So we need to look at Reggie Reg because this is the
打ち
one
すぎだろ。
where they did really well. They got a lot of frags to the name. It's where we saw the Shiv versus Tomo 1v1. Granted, they didn't win it, but they still came second and they picked up a fair amount of points while doing so. In the position that they're currently in, you can bob between two different locations. If my memory serves me correctly, it's where you can play forward. You have that main compound on the ridgeline. And then it's a little bit further up from where they were.
バックグラウンドがそう、バックグラウンドはね、意外と重要だよ。その思ってるより。そのゲームだけしてるからみんな一緒でしょって思う人いると思うんでね。でもね、バックグラウンド結構大事だよ。歴史っていうのは本当に。そういうのは海外行ったら余計感じるかな。
You have this plateau compound and then you have a garage on top of it. It's like such a disgusting place. The only problem is if it goes up to Stalba, if everyone else gets ahead of you, it's quite literally an uphill battle. You have to weave your way up the hillsides, and there's so many rocks people play between them, and for good reason, that it becomes a really difficult scenario to get out of.
その一つで、そのバックグラウンドっていうか、まあ教育的なところで一つ挙げると、日本人は話し合いが苦手すぎるね。
I'm sure we'll find out. People where we want to be looking for trouble afield, you have Yasnaya. Wildcats, Northern Lights, both have to move out. Haiku's in the field as well, which will cause them all kinds of problems on transition. Over on the eastern side, Battle next time have to come up and just below Kameshki, because FaZe Clan's going to be on the hillside, so they might deny them any further route into the circle. Ends, well, it's FaZe 1 territory. They're all, whoa, that's a nade and a half. She created on fire. Is that thing going to go out in time? No, it's not. So all three of them go down back to back to back, just like that. Where's the last player? He's pinned in Yasnaya. I don't think he can get to him. I think they're all dead.
Hold on, let's see if the rescue mission can come through. Better luck next time being
fend it off. Uber says, no, this is my ground, my territory, get back away. Now I'm looking at Rupture on the map.
でも空気を読む文化があるじゃん、その代わりにあんまり言わないっていうので空気を読む文化っていうのもあるけど、でもその文化がいいこともあるんだよ。
Does get she created back. BSD still bleeding, but
それがいいこともある。
No, they don't go
それで笑いを取れるようなさこともあるわけじゃん。でも日本の笑いって海外からしたら意味不明なことで笑ったりするようなこと結構多いらしいんだよね。でその海外には空気を読む文化っていうのはないから。
You have the Penguins, you have Adepts, you now have Northern Lights trying to make their run through.
まあでも言わないとわかんねえよな。
Both happy to put down bullets.
特になんかその他の人と競い合うようなことをやってるとしたら競技とそうだね。こういう片側に寄り続けるアンチと最初に海が半分アンチ。どっちがいい？お、海入ってる方が嫌だね。俺は。陸にずっと寄るのはまだいいかな。海入るとさ、すごいなんかなんていうの？プレイできるエリアがすごく小さくなるじゃん。だからなんか回るのとかアンチギリとかめちゃくちゃ溜まるから。結構難しい。海入るの。
Wildcats to make that move and get his players back on his feet. Good job.
Oh my goodness. Let's see what they can do with this. They get up towards the plateau. Armin on the other side, now suddenly a little bit scared. Haiku having to fall back. Wildcats ferocious in play, pushing ahead of this. And now Haiku's coming back around.
やばいやん、これ何これ。この人たち何なの？なんか下がったり上がったり下がったり上がる。なんか大変なチームなの。
Northern Lights and eliminate Northern Lights. Down in 15th from first to last. It happens so often. Lita's holding the line, isolated from the rest. Atomical's been caught off by Zorf. That's way over in the western side, way out of the new area she created. Punishes Go Black. Now, can the rest of Haiku hold on to this? You got Armin up there. You got Manic up there. These nades are so good though. Rupture. He came to save his team, and then he pushed further forward. Armin now. Maybe regretting all the attention they put down the spray. Desperate for it to land properly. Didn't find its final place. Armin lives to fight another day, but his teammates have died all around him.
Thankfully, the third party saves him, or at least saves the team. Keeps them inside this lobby. Sophia lurking and lingering just off of the side of the screen.
Just look though, Na'Vi and Ents might be fighting here. That's a big fight about to happen at the top as well. Imagine that.
It is if they go the right way. I'm kind of concerned, friends. I'm looking at the map here. They don't know Na'Vi's presence. We have to get on board with Na'Vi because they know about Ents, but Ents do not have a clue about what's to come their way. If they go further up, the shots have definitely been traded off. Rustamar first one to fall. Tixu gets the off angle for Besto. Puts him back for now, but immediately finds two. Unfortunately, DMR up close and personal like that. Don't do the job. You need an AR in your hands. It was a quick push. Not great.
それな。
The backline.
それな。打ち返しめっちゃ強いと思った。
Slowly but surely, but he's only a one-man army. What can he do against the four mighty titans that are on the side of Na'Vi? Face Clan now also just interjecting himself into this fight, and why not? Aitzi has an angle. Squeaky has one better. Patiently, he waits for a second, but he does get caught. Now, the trap has been jumped. He doesn't get the drop that he needed, but that's a beautiful headshot.
Oh,
the second follow-up, could it be real? No, it cannot. Instantly eliminated. Ents goes down in 12th.
And you gotta think in Ents' mind, we finally got a fight up here by Stalber, but Zeron! Maybe we wrote him off a little too early, but maybe Na'Vi were so broken from that fight, they had no time to recover. Kemba's on his knees, the nades come out. Zeron hits the deck. Has the information been seen? He's got to be careful of that blue. You're right, and red zone. They're breathing down his back, but they've got fire coming in. So many third parties. This is Reach Your Edge from lower downhill, spotting all this happening. Zeron got caught off by Atomical, but now red zone. How do they make it in the circle? Can they make the run? I'm not sure.
This is where Raise Your Edge's position just becomes so good.
DMR がマジでうまい海外で本当に。
If they really wanted to, maybe they put someone else outside of this compound and try and get greedy, but for me that's an easy option to be giving up a player to a crash further down in that one compound.
結構 DMR ってエイム出るよね。
This is good. Keep all four players in this. The circle eventually is just going to roll to you and just murder everyone on arrival. Everyone uphill, they can hide behind trees, but really you're just holding them at gunpoint. Nuclear Penguins gone. 10th position will be
OMK は前から強いよ。
Daji.
ノーザンライツは最近出てきたチームでめっちゃ強い。
I thought he was laying down for now. The wrap will come out from ETG. Markelov takes a different angle. Honor's there as well, and they're just waiting for Red Zone to come out against the blue. Once that mist dissipates, the fight will then begin. Honor gets a little bit overzealous, though, oversteps the boundaries and does get punished instantly. It is traded back 2-on-2. And remember, once it's all said and done, well, raise your edge. Yeah, raise your edge says, well, it's fine, we'll wait here, because once you've fought it, we'll just finish off whoever's left over.
Rich, they've just crashed this. They've turned up at the just edge of this hill. You're going to see, they peek over that, they're going to skyline like crazy. FaZe are holding this, and the nade's going to come through anytime soon. 8C caught with the nade in his hand. Terrible timing. Gustav's going to do the best to keep control of the scenario from unraveling in front of them. Arctic's going to peel away from this. We know these guys can go after the Giants. These guys can hunt them down. These guys are your David in this scenario. They like to take these fights. But now, can they make it count? Na'Vi from up above, the team that they cost so many, I guess, potential positions before she created those, spotting out more action going on as well. Na'Vi from above, they're the ones getting the fire down on the eastern side. That's a whole different fight. Don't worry about this one. That's going to be just Sunzi being flushed. This is the fun one. Uber. The building. Arctic's there faultlessly trying to clear through this. FaZe have not held their ground. FaZe have just been pushed back completely here.
I'm wondering if Na'Vi, I didn't see the kill feed, has played a pivotal part in them just been disassembled. Gustav was definitely holding a really good angle to kind of keep Battle of next time at bay. But by doing so, he was exposed. He had to open up and move the way of the side. But unfortunately, it's just, yeah, it's kind of crumbled and fallen apart. Uber's a strong individual, don't get me wrong, and we're already into that top 10 scenario, so he's picking up some points along the way. If he can flush any more, happy days. Could be a good little fight here. Uber and the two members of Na'Vi versus Battle on next time. We've seen what Arctics can do before. He's Na'Vi's favorite player in the world. Maybe a little bit of revenge could be sweet. Circle updates, Tempest, raise your edge. Imagine in this terrain, in this area, if it was the same again. Tommel versus Shiv for the final match.
なんか大体トップ8ぐらいにはもう上位入ってくるよね。その強いチーム。なんかよっぽどのことがない限り16位とか踏まないよな。
Certainly two words to sit well with the Wildcats, but for now, the nade was pretty good from Markelov. She created, it's already down. Rupture and BSD trying to make a play to pick them up, but that SLR so crisp at these shots. It's so good at punishing people. Ooh, Markelov, careful now. Makes that smoke wall. Have to wait for it to plume. There's a bit of a gap there. Rupture can see. Oh, I might have just lost that vision on the cross now. Has to be careful. Spots out Markelov, and now Markelov runs. Gets the attention on the left, runs to the right. Uber's just found Tab. Now FaZe putting all their faith in their last remaining man. Rupture still waiting for Markelov to cross that smoke. The nade's coming in as Uber on the other side. Looking for Bestlog, trying to find Na'Vi as they infiltrate the building. Markelov trying to move forward. Another smoke goes in. Tab goes down to the blue. Uber tries to make the play. He falls. That's going to be from better luck next time. We're down to 6 teams here as Markelov focused on those two that are in front of him, but neither are safe in the new circle. Another smoke. Markelov. How many smokes does this man have?
2 times jump, but it's not a problem at all with the M4. Turns and faces the next problem. BSD hiding behind a tree. Probably should have had him bang to rights there, but unfortunately does not. Really good maneuver here. Ops to go the other side of the smoke, and he'll rush this one up. With the flashbang for now. Damage through the smoke, blind fire and shoes. I'm still watching that kill to see if Bestlog goes down as if he does the dirty. Onto Bedlock next time, we will soon find out. BSD, Markelov goes down. Bestlog gives it up to the blue, so it does not give any points away to the side of Bedlock next time.
Raise your edge pushed. Pushed out of that compound. I actually don't mind that, Rich. A little bit of aggression here and there. Not a bad look.
I'm okay with it. When Naileup can just hold the entire thing and they're actually not just sending one player. Like, if one player goes aggressive and then dies, like, well,
普通にさ、普通に回復してよくねと思ったけど、もう木に隠れてからピークしてもう決め打ちしたよね。もう打たれたら絶対に打ち返すみたいな感じやね。
You okay, mate? Yeah, it's fine. Sends a vehicle. They can just build them up onto this next compound, the one downwind of them, the one that I said really you don't have to keep control of. Well, now they're going to use it as a stepping stone. They'll set up here to try and keep control of Better Luck Next Time. Maybe even by their presence, been at this point, Lauren, force the engagement between Better Luck Next Time and Tempest. That's exactly what's unfolding here. By moving to that compound, it now stops BL in their tracks. And basically just offers them up to Tempest. But Tempest don't need the points, Raise Your Edge do.
これ23位のチーム取ったら16位以内あるね。
Raise Your Edge, 6 kills. They've got to take their time here.
一回取った後に
They can let Better Luck next time
あと
get
もう
behind
一
them. They've got to
回
play it
成
just
績
at
残
the
さない
right
と無理
time
か
here,
な
but
多
this
分
means they're leaving a lot open to Tempest. So Tempest can make the moves while this all happens.
まあ2ドンは必
And
須や
there's
ね
an
これ16位に
excellent
入ろう
nade
思ったら
from Monkey. Instantly eliminates the problem that was in front of them. And look at this. This is a huge, huge game now. Oh dear, what? And Naylor pushing forward on the bikes. Tempest, a little bit more of an Eastern lean here, almost mirroring each other. 4v4, final 2.
どうかな
Interview with Monkey in the past, and he said, you know, Nail Up, he brings his aggression to the
無理
team.
や
Oh, that's not a good way to start it, though. Shiv caught with his pants down behind a tree. Instantly just put down. No chance of a revive. And now Monkey's out of place. He's got to regroup with the rest of the roster. If they manage to dink him out of this car, this is looking like it's all falling apart. Shiv, I think, had level 3 gear. If not, it's going to be Monkey. One of the two brings a crate back to this fight, at least.
てか
It's
こ
something.
こもう一回じゃね
It is.
もう
It's
一
actually
回やる
Monkey,
けどこれ
excuse me. So the AUG
このチーム
the
と
three
前も
vesting
なんか
helmet could
4
be
対
put
4や
to
ったよね
use here. Look at the aggression, though. Like, honestly, the movement coming out of Tempest at the moment.
人数不一致
Yes, Tommel's
ダイ
back
マジ
is
フォローが
wide
多いんじゃ
open.
おいいよネイル
Yeah.
ネラ
Disconnected from the rest of the roster.
The problem is for Tempest, they're getting surrounded on all fronts, and
Ahí,
that's never
Gimasa.
going to be a good look here.
Working.
Tempest couldn't secure the line, and Raise Your Edge have smothered them. They've surrounded them. Remember,
あるわ
Raise Your
やっ
Edge
ぱり
had
やっ
the
ぱりあり
high
そうやわ
ground. They worked down on it. They're not underestimating Tempest's power. They're aware of what this
あの
means.
六角の
Oh
企画の
dear,
やつか
Nail Up,
トロー
Monkey
ル頑張
staying
っ
as
て
a
る
hit squad.
笑
トロール頑張ってる
Face
やば
off
いっし
now
ょ
against just 2. An overextension from Tempest, maybe not reading the terrain, maybe just playing carefree, has opened up room, and Raise Your Edge need this. They're hungry, but Wookie Bookie
なんでそ
denies
こ
the
トロー
meal.
ルすんねんって
Udyr is down.
まあ
It's
相手めっちゃ
Monkey and
強かった
Nail.
けど今の
Aggressive by
相手
nature,
今のマ
these
ジ
two.
強くね
For Pixel.
やっぱ
Let's
無理
go
か
walkabouts,
いや
Rich.
無理なんかやっ
わらわ
ぱ
らアイム強すぎわらわらあれ
He smokes a monkey, so surely he'll know idea. He's
Tuyo,
going to come
wala.
check it, which I think is
おモンキーいいよこ
great
れ
work from him.
お
that
い
he
い
sees it
おわ
first.
かこいつ持ってるわ
Monkey stands his ground, and it comes down to Wookie.
今の動きめっちゃよくないモンキーのスモーク焼いては来てると見せかけてからの
And
スモーク
now
の左
it's
から
going
出
to be
て
a
左回りのやつで倒
1v3.
すっていう
今のお
Those
すすの
smokes about to go, and Wookie Bookie needs to make a play happen for himself. He needs a clean knock to start with, but they're all going to face together. The Death Squad arrives,
モンキー
and
強
Raise Your Edge get the win. 11 kills. They make up for the scenario that cost them so much before, losing out to Tommel. Certainly in the back of their minds, if you're in that situation and you realize it, they played it out well. They didn't drop the ball. They were smart about it. And I'm happy to see them recover after what was a bit of a sketchy game at the end there. I was a little bit worried, but then Tempest did let themselves get a little surrounded, did give up, some of the map control there, sweeping forward. But again, I don't want to, give them too much, grief on that. They're okay. They're sitting pretty comfy. Raise Your Edge have to play everything perfect.
Yeah, there were certain times where you'd have to look at Monkey's position and say, is this a little bit too overzealous? Is this a bit too over-aggressive? Not only does he get a knock,
最近
but he
ラム
also
でめ
manages
ちゃく
by
ちゃうまく
holding
感
that
じるん
to
だ
turn
けど
around and knock out Pixel, because if he'd have got that flank on them, that could have been
脳みそが
an issue road, to be honest with you, but that's
脳みそがブドウ糖を欲してる
Let's see what the Death has to say about the final circle.
That's right. Very happy to see Raise Your Edge there being able to get the victory after a turbulent time in the tournament so far, but they get themselves a lot of
まあ
points.
盛り上がりの
And
あれは多分あれ
they
や
even
ね
get a little bit of
韓国の
revenge
実況の仕方によるんじゃ
on
ない
Tempest in that area of the map. Avenger
海外って結構叫んだりしないよね
to break things down the highlights as we do look at them here for our fourth game.
そうね
of the
ドンカ
day.
ツするとき大体どこも2桁キルしてるよね
Toby
結
starting
構
things
すごく
off,
ね
so it's great to see
もうだから
Razor Edge
も
getting the win.
う打ちまくる精神
It sure is. It's glad to see them back, and as we said, I mean, multiple times now in a scenario they have been in before where they failed to go out and get the chicken dinner. They managed to do it now. I was a little sad to see them not maybe go a little more aggressive early on when they had chances of third party, but I think that goes to show how desperately they want to stay alive and get into late game. Like how much out of the, I guess you could say comfort zone they're feeling right now, knowing how the tournament has played out so far.
Yeah, definitely. So when we take a look at Navi as well, they were trying to pop some heads once again on the edge. However, they were not to be. Razor Edge actually moved out of their safe position, I suppose, Avenger, but eventually they realized having to move with circles was very important. To clear out some of those people on the west was also
まあ
very
打たんねえと
important.
弾当たんねえしな
I mean, those extra points they got there
とりあえず
was,
打つか
was crucial. They actually ended up with 11 points, which is a completely okay situation for them. And it's I would say like with today, how they play today, it's back to what we've seen them play before. Like they've got more points today so far than they've gotten combined with the 2 other days. So it talks to how bad the other days were,
相川
but
も
also
無理だね
them being able to get back on the horse.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Unfortunately for Northern Lights,
まあ確かに分かる
they get themselves 0. However, Razor Edge with 21.
もう基本男打ちやんもう男と男の殴り合いみたいな感じになってる いやね EU 勢ってやったらすぐ分かると思うけどもう見えたら撃ってくるでしょで車が持たない車がもうすぐ爆発しそうになる本当にいやもう車が持たねえんだよだからなんかアジアとかだとあまだあと1回使えるなっていう時はもう EU もう無理だからもう無理。もう車持たないから。
Apparently barking at me, but that's regardless. We are moving on. We're going to be moving on to our next game pretty darn soon. But let's continue talking about this here for a moment. Toby, when we look at it, better luck next time. Yet another top 3 placement here for them. Really good stuff.
で4台車で行ってさ、フォーカスをみんなばらけさせるとしても、もう2台潰れるからね。もう撃たれまくって。嘘でしょみたいな。打ちすぎなんだよみたいな感じ。もうなんか当たんなくても車体にめっちゃぶち込んでくるんよね。車体にぶち込まれすぎて、そう。車体にぶち込まれすぎて、次移動したら絶対爆破で死ぬレベルまで持っていかれる。
Hello, Monkey, can you hear us?
Yo, yeah, I can hear you.
ああ、もうなんか200メートルぐらいだったらもう一瞬で死にそうだね。
My first question to you, and it might be a little bit of a rough one, but bear with me for a second. Obviously, a lot of high hopes for your team, as it's a veteran team, I want to say. But it's been a bit of a rough road for you in this tournament. Can you break down how things have
バイク OP な、バイク一番 OP だと思うよ。
What's gone on throughout the tournament so far from your perspective?
バイク一番、いや OP ではないけどもね。
The first week was a disaster. We can say it.
どうなんだろうな。バイクさ、意外と車抜きやすいんよあれ。まあ速いからちょっと難しいけど。体出てる面積がさ結構なんていうの出てんじゃんバイクって足から頭まででも車って屋根がある車だったら腕がちょっと出てて肩と頭しか出てないからバイクは結構当てやすいんよねまあそれは OP やわ
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I can see the adaptation, which is why I wanted to ask the question. So thank you very much for that answer. Martin, how about yourself?
Yes, hello, Mongi, Miamor. I want to ask you guys, how do you feel with this kind of changing lobby, with it's being like 23 different teams and it's changing back and forth? Is that one of the reasons you think that you're having a rough time, like it's hard to adapt to?
I don't think so. Like I said, I really think it's the meta. Like the meta, you know, recently is like to play as 4 second circle. To rotate, to bomb the mid second circle and shit. Like I think the only team to play, for example, Edge, it's Navi, for example, and a lot of team are playing mid. And if you play Edge and you don't know how to do it, you will die like top 10 without any kill, most likely.
Okay. Toby?
Yeah, I was just thinking. We talked a little bit about it here in the break as well, Monkey. And knowing you guys as a team, knowing the amount of firepower and talent you guys possess, I saw you and I've seen you through this tournament play maybe a little more passive than what I've seen before. Is that part of, as you're saying, finding out the meta, or are you? Is that just a different approach you're taking these days? Because I have situations where it's like, oh, but they're gonna push, and then you don't do it. Is that maybe change the strategy, or what is it?
I mean, when you have one bad game, two bad game, three bad game, you know, like the confidence is starting to go away.
Right.
And it's really hard to bring back the confidence. And I think the mental in this game is like, let's say 70% of the game. And I'm not kidding. Like, if you are not confident with yourself and your teammates, it's gonna be a mess. You won't kill anyone. You won't push anything. And it's starting to come back because we reset most likely the day and start to work better and better.
I have one more question before.
なんとなくだけど、なんとなく今この人が質問したのがなんかレイズ・ユア・エッジってかなりなんかパッシブって言ってアクティブの反対がパッシブなんだけど、なんか受け身言ったらなんかアグレッシブじゃない動きを結構してた印象があるんだけどみたいな。なんて言ったらいいの？消極的な動きを結構してるんだけど、してるように見えるんだけど、それって何か理由があるのみたいな。以前はもっとなんかプッシュして敵を倒していくようなイメージだったけど、なんかチームの中で何か変わったのかって言った後になんかモンキーがこのモンキーって今喋ってる人ね、このフランス人なんだけど、この人が1回悪いゲームがあって2回3回って続くと自信がなくなってって、その自信がなんていうの、チームをメスって言ってたかな、まあ言うたらチーム内をそのなんかめちゃくちゃにするみたいな。それであまり良くなかったみたいな。でも今回のドンカツでちょっと良くなっていって、それがまた良くなりつつあれば、なんていうの、なんて言ったっけな、良くなりつつあればもっといいゲームができるみたいな感じのことを言ってた。
Yeah, I love Monkey.
そういうインタビューをしてた。
like,
最後の人しか聞いてなかったんだけど。
throughout the times. I remember him giving me a hard time in the beginning.
まあやっぱ
He's an amazing player and he's got so much experience.
ファイナルマウスの話は一番最後にしてたね。一番最後の最後に新しいファイナルマウスが出るけど、まあそういう感じかな。チームの雰囲気、そうだね。雰囲気は良くなくなるっていう感じのことを言ってたね。だからそれがプレイにも影響してみたいな。一番最後に新しく出るファイナルマウスが楽しみですっては言ってたね。でも僕はエンドゲームです。
is solidifying themselves. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah.
It is. And with the way that they're doing it now, yes, the kills aren't there, but I would say it's much easier to go out and find kills if you know how to get into the late game than it is to try and get into the late game if all you know is how to shoot. I mean, don't get me wrong, shooting is arguably one of the like very cores of this game, but if you don't stay alive early, if you can't make that first rotation, you won't get a chance to start shooting at people. You will if you manage to stay alive longer. And I think it's great. I mean, if they can do that now and then get the kills along with it coming into next week, they could be a scary team to look at.
Yeah, they could be. Any thoughts looking at this, Martin?
Well, obviously, Istanbul Wildcats sitting at 105, but like next time, those two teams are looking to make sure that they're sitting in there. I think actually with this, even though maybe Istanbul Wildcats wouldn't get any points.
マウスの新製品の情報、いや、チェックしてない。回ってくる、リツイートで。俺は特に気にしてないから。もう気にしないかな。もう俺エンドゲームあるし。もういい他のマウスは。
Get close, I feel in my mind. It's not going to be
エンドマウスだからさ、俺これ。
例え
ばね、このエンドゲームのこのマウスの無線が出るってなったら、それは買いますよ。僕は買いません。エンドマウスに穴開けます。開けません。
I can't remember exactly how much they got. They did well at least, and yeah. I think it's interesting. I think the cut is going to be 105, but it's going to come down to the last game. Honestly, like it's it's so close in our mid pack. It's so close in our like bottom teams. Obviously, some of them are not playing today, and some of them are playing tomorrow. But it's gonna be extremely close, and I think it's gonna come down to the last game, like every other time.
Yeah, it is going pretty darn well. And aside
誰が言ってたんですか？大悟じゃね。
you know, FaZe, Northern Lights, and Tempest.
実は予選とムーセンって関係なくて。
It is very nice to see Razor Edge be able to put themselves properly on the board with this. And as Monkey said, it's kind of that momentum swing that could potentially be in their favor, and then maybe they can get the ball rolling off of this win. What do you think?
Exactly. I mean, he said it, right? If you don't have the confidence, you ain't gonna go out and win the fight. Your communication won't be there. Your aim is probably gonna be off with it. We know they are scary good fraggers. We saw them when they were exiled. How many? Like they can go up against any team in any of these 24. They can go up against them and win 4v4s. We haven't seen them do that pretty much at all in this tournament up until this very point. If they get that now, they still have tomorrow to play. There's a good chance they can jump on into the top 16, but it's still a long journey.
Let's get it done then. It's game number 5 of the day. Sims and Pansy, bring us the action.
Thanks, boys. And yeah, I think confidence is a big key for Razor Edge. And I want to see them translate that sort of victory away from just Stalber Hill. Now, we've seen 2 wins for them in a similar location. Can they make that happen elsewhere? Those still feel like rare circles. So for me, Rich, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt, but I'd love to see them do well again.
これラストじゃないかな。
I mean, they have to. We kind of spoke about this and said they have to have 2 good days, given the position of where they are on the leaderboards. If they want to make it to the grand final, there's a hell of a lot of work to be done. It's only been backed up with a couple of poor performances that they've
それめっちゃおもろい。
Lie about this one. They've had some low-scoring games. They're still overall. Yeah, I mean, 8th is okay, but we've seen an 11th position out of them.
研究結果好きだもんな、あの人。それめっちゃおもろいわ。それちょっと使わせてもらおうかな。
Previous day on Sunday, but still in 11th place we have definitely seen out of them in round 9. So the low-scoring games, they need more frags. It wouldn't be unfair to expand on what Martin said, and ironically they're on the screen. And they have 2 more games to play, and that's it. They're one of the teams that has done their both days.
今日寝る前にちょっと自分の文字で変えてあれ
Wherever
しとく
they
わ。
end after those 2
ツイートしとこうかな。
games are done,
確かにそれ言うよね。
and everyone else, their lives are literally hanging in the balance of what other teams do around them. So I'd like to see them get at least 1 win. Any performance for me now in these last 2 matches for Ents that's sub 10th position with some frags at the very least, it kind of puts them out of the competition. They have to perform. They've got 2 more games to do it. They have to step it up now. We need 15-point games, boys. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And you've got to hope for Ents. They know that too. And I feel like they're a team that's not silly. They're not stupid. They know what's in front of them, but they have to change it up. They have to find that confidence to make it count. So for now, we'll put that to our back of our minds. This circle might play quite well for them. FaZe here over by Milta. There is a team quite close by. That would be Haiku, just down on the very south coast, on the rocks almost. Doing the southern side loop by the garage down there. There's Northern Lights this time. No one near them. Misfits. Opting to head over towards Sosnovka Island, heading towards a military base. So a little bit of a different drop for them. Maybe feeling this could have been a military circle considering the plane path. It wasn't. It went slightly further north.
Yeah, Haiku's position's a weird one. Been on the scrappy edges of those compounds. Yes, of course, you're going to get loot. But it's backed up by the fact that you're going to get pinned in by FaZe. You're on the doorstep. Yeah. You're in their territory. Once if you do manage to evacuate the scenario and get away from them, you then got to deal with Tempest, who you know like to loot around this area. It's then a treacherous run through the farmlands area, so you just want to go for a big old swing. The old school 2018 end scenario, just go for, old school FaZe scenario, Milta power, take the east coast. Oh, this is the moment we spoke about. Haiku just got enemies on both fronts. It's not going to be easy. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost a player or 2 on rotation. We've so many teams over on Sosnovka and how teams kind of react to that, or if they know their presence is there. First of all, you will have them potentially running into each other off the back of the transition. And secondly, it's if anyone decides that they actually want to gatekeep. I mean, this circle is... It is on the southern side. It's not on the southern side, excuse me. It's touching the southern side of Erangel. It gives you a big open area, kind of take your pick where you want to be. Which side of the river, which side of the snake have a better scenario. But you'll have teams who are just kind of staying stationary. You'll have teams that will be looting on the southern side of this circle. And if you run into them off the bridge, well, you might not make it much further.
No, you're right. Now, Razor Edge with the points they just gathered. Looking at their total points here, 72. Marker. They can definitely jump. They need I'd say one more big game and they're right in that big pack of teams. So if they get a kill, decent kill count, and maybe a top 3 finish. Beyond that though, you're seeing now 10 teams breaking into the 3 digits. The Wildcats have got definitely caught our attention throughout this. Constantly aggressive. I love that play again. Actually, it was Haiku. Haiku tried to show some aggression and well, they got met by sheer force. Shift. Bouncing around, gets himself 3'd up.
こういうことをするのが EU だよね。あれでなんかちまちま車の体育削られるんだよあれで。
But they do need a push here. You want those triple digits. I'm always saying double digits. Triple digits and a little bit more. This isn't quite enough. It keeps it a little bit too open, I feel. You're leaving your fate in others' hands.
でも今さ、車のなんていうの、その車抜き狙うのもいいんだけど、なんかタイヤ狙った方がさ、確実にキル取れるような気してきたわ。タイヤ狙ってスイップすればの話だけどね。まあ一番いいのは乗ってる車のやつを抜くのが一番いいんだけど。めっちゃうざいやん。めっちゃうざい。
Come into this tomorrow have already pre-qualified, you know, with the amount of work they did. Omakan's one of them. Look at that, 152 points. Team Liquid, 155. It's scary to think that those guys are 3rd and 4th, respectively, and they've still got a day of regular play ahead of them.
Terrifying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Fairs probably sets the bar here. Dolp down. Fairs will set the bar. Obviously 2 days in a row. They should hit 200 point club easily. 2 games left.
Who's that?
And it's really who else can jump that. There isn't any prize money, I believe, at the moment. Remember this, for certainly group stage, it all comes down to the grand finals. Oh,
no. I thought they had
なんか今なんでスリップしてたの？味方に当たった車もしかして。
We said bridge could be a problem. And
oh
my, no, not like this. And it comes down to fast rail. Oh, Jack, you have got a lot of work to do, buddy.
Yeah, that's a mountain to get past now. Not sure if that's gonna work out by any means.
うまいね。
A little bit rough on the bridge. I mean, it's not surprising, you know, it can happen, but very unfortunate at this point, losing out, you know, almost your whole squad sub 10 minutes, especially on a quite centralized circle. Yes, they're on the military island. It's not what you want to be seeing here.
General transitions. It's kind of to be expected at this point. Ends come down from the mountainside. Outside the Yas9 and around we go.
Tell you
what, friends, if they get lucky with this next circle and it goes their way, they are laughing. They'll set up in the ITEA buildings, just overviewing Roshok across the river. Everyone else is the opposite side of the Snakein River, so they all think it's coming down towards the south, and for good reason. There is a good chance, given the fact there's more land ratio, or land presence ratio, land presence in the southern side beyond that river. Closing in slowly but surely, 45 seconds remain. Misfits off safely for now. Base Clan moved up, moved out. Haiku, same for them. Northern Lights. Take your pick where you want to go, boys. No one's in Gatka, no one's... You got one player skirting the edge of ruins. If you want to go over to around shooting area and even higher up for the circle, potentially play it, you can.
なんか今日アジア大会のコメ欄なんかめっちゃ荒れてたって聞いてたけど、ツイッターですごいなんかコメ欄のブロックが追いつかないみたいなって言ってる人結構いたな。
I suppose the backside of those fields there is safety. They are
相当ひどいんだろうね。
Away from the gunfire of other rosters. See where it goes. See what it does.
Wow.
Okay.
What a shift. Suddenly ends. Okay, it's gone from like, okay, maybe if it goes north, they're okay. They have half of this map to
まあ
themselves.
そういう誹謗中傷とか
Everyone
なん
else is
誹謗中
battling
傷してんの
out
か
in
わ
the
かんないけど
south, east, no, ends of it all. Northern Lights have a really good jump off point too, just because they're already west.
まあ見ない方がいい
Adept,
だろうね
solid, Navi,
そういうこと
not
書
bad,
いてるよう
Radio
な人た
Edge,
ちは
ETG. These guys are the ones to keep
あい
your
つ
eyes
も
on
通り
now.
なるほどねまあそんなん書いてるやつらはもう貧乏なんだよ貧
It's
乏
the
が
IGL nightmare, Lauren. The yin and yang style circle.
金持ちは動じ
The
ない
river serpentine straight through
はい
the
こんばん
middle
は
of it, splitting it 50-50. Where do you pick? You've got to go for a place
そうなん
that's
だ
in a position where there are
うお
drive by.
これが自信ついた結果か
Style
モンキー
Amazing.
おっとウーバーさん
Same for Uber if he lands it. 360.
あんなこと書いて何が楽しいのかわからん。
Kick flip.
まあだからそういうやつは貧乏なんだよ
コメントなんてのらでもどんか
心が貧乏なんだよ
Yeah,
そんなやつ
I
ら
think
だから
north
心
is
が
probably
金
the
持
best
ちな
bet.
俺らは
I
そんな
feel
こと
like
動じ
the
ないんだよ
water sits a little
心を
further
リッチに
south, but you know,
環境を
take
リ
your
ッチ
pick. I
に
guess we'll
自分もリッ
count
チ
the
に
water sometimes. If it goes south
韓国
now,
配信あそうなんだ
and look at all these teams going north. You've got Ents, Raise Your Edge, Wildcat,
いやもう
Phase on the way, and they've gonna found one of the
すごい
penguins
ね
on the bridge. Not known to be good territory for penguins. Gets
姉あ
run
げる
over.
あいつら手のひら
Running
グーグル
over
だからな
innocent little
まあ
penguin.
な
How cruel. But yeah,
なんか
vast
ね
majority
そ
so
の
far, so
インター
far
ネットを
opting
使
for
ってる人が
northern
人
side
だと
here.
思ってないんじ
What
ゃ
are
ない
you,
か
what
な
are your thoughts
そういう
on
こと
this?
言うの
Is
は
there a logic, or is it just
人なんだ
safe
け
to
ど
be in
な
the north for now?
あんま言いすぎると逮捕されちゃうんだけどね
I think it's that kink in the river as it
ゆっ
does
くり引
pull
いてい
towards
く
the
わら
south. The one
金
that
持
is
ちなん
just
てヒノ
around
ビーさんが
ruin
デバイス
side.
コロコロ変えても怒りま
It
せん
does
あ
play
ありがとうございます
車からポンポン音
そうですよね
ratio,
わらわら
and it
そう
does
ですよ
play
ね
with it, and it pushes it more
やっ
towards
ぱ
the north.
そんなこと
You
で
need
怒ってたら
for it to go south
怒ってた
now.
らちょっと僕についてこれないですよ
If it went split again, I'd say it's going to the north, just because of this river scenario.
うお
言っちゃ悪いがサンシスファンボとサンシスアンチが一生戦ってるからねわら今タイム
That's
リーの
kind
話
of
題
what
です
Northern
ね
Lights are banking on.
あそう
Playing
なの
around the mountainside that they are. Because remember, they were early. We were talking about they had the pick of the bunch, and if they really wanted to just go
Yep.
straight across their bridge, they had all the time in the world. Anybody, they'd have got there probably just seconds.
マウス変えるの
to
めっちゃ来るや
So
ん
they could have gone anywhere at this point. But they are banking
車
on
抜
the
きすごいね
circle
テラ
coming
ハウスの
their
や
way.
つか
あーなんかテラスハウスなんか自殺したんでしょ
I'd love it to
Seems to be
stay
めっ
well.
ちゃかわいそうじゃねなんか
Yeah.
ツイッターのあれ
Yeah, I love
画像
it.
かなんか返ってきたけど
Again, I like to see
お前
teams
もう
put through their
出る
best.
な
I
みたいな
like
こと
to
めっ
see
ちゃ言われ
it
てるけ
kind
ど
of, you know, push
すげ
to
えかわい
something-
そうだよな
Imagine Georgia Pol being an ending, something around that, or I feel like shooting range is a common one that we're seeing. You know that hillside.
あれはもう
just south
完
of
全に
shooting
言葉
range
に
is very
殺された
common.
わあの人は
But as you said, this could
マジ
go
でかわ
anywhere
いそう
still. This could still sit south, and put it's a 50-50 split of teams. Really, you'd argue the north is slightly more covered, but there's still room
あれ実
for a
際脚
lot
本
of
書い
these
たやつを
teams to
叩
get
くべ
caught out. So we'll keep our eyes on that
あー、なるほ
circle.
ど
As
ね。
soon as it
テラハの
updates,
話はひ
20
どい
seconds, we'll find out where it's going.
えテラハあれ脚本あるでしょ
So
ど
will
うせ
teams. I think they're putting a
なん
lot
か
of their eggs in that
あれはありません
northern
って言ってるけ
basket.
ど
Phase
俺はあると思って
shifting
見
all
て
the
る
way up towards north side of shooting
韓
range.
国
Here
み
we
た
go.
い
You
に
can
サイ
see
バー
it
侮辱
there.
罪
Let's
作ら
have a
なきゃ
look.
ね
See where this one heads.
そうだよ
So you've currently got
サイバー侮辱
I
罪作らん
guess
ダメだよ
1, 2, 3, 4 viable bridges you can
特に
utilize
ツイッターとか
here.
で書いてるやつはあれ
あれはあると思う
IP アドレスとか登録してるからさ
Here it is. So you're looking
アウ
at
チ
the
でしょ
hill.
多分その
You're looking
すぐ見つかるでしょ犯人
The mountains.
テレビはやらせというか
Surely the
あんたみんなの
mountain's
に
the
ね
ending now. You
Auntie
know, if we
やばすぎ
look at
そうだ
this,
ね
you look at mountain. I
でも
guess
なんかテラハに関してはさなんか脚本一切ありませんよって歌ってんじゃんだからじゃないだからなんか自然な人を出しててまあ多分俺はその人が何やったか分かんないけど相当すげえなんかゴミみたいなことやったのか分かんないけどそれでもなんかテレビだと思って見ないとねやっぱ
番組だからもちろんありますもちろんなんて平凡だからね
Depth's over by it for now. Does get a
So
tag
no.
towards one, but Noki's got to be very careful because yeah, he just gets overwhelmed. Razor Edge feeling it
いや
now.
てか
They've taken these fights and Nadir wins them.
ライ
Tempest
調
gonna
子
start
出て
making
きた
their
な
attempt. Their run begins.
さっきインタビューでも言ってた通り
金持ちなしの T さんからマウスもらいたいですあの自殺しちゃった人はちょっと感情がないって言われてたな多分 IP アドレス開示したら一発で捕まるけど手続きめんどくさいから放置してるんやろうな
あーなるほどねでもそういうのさ一回見せしめてやっとかないと言っとかないやっとかないとダメじゃないって思うんだけど
It's not quiet.
心が金持ちのシュービーさんからマウスもらいたい何言ってんの俺は心が金持ちだけどリアルは金持ちじゃないから絶対あげない絶対 対にあげない。
Next time up there with them sharing it, so they need to be careful. A lot of people going in further and deeper. I feel this should be interesting. I mean, I'm actually glad they've kind of moved to here. I'll give credit where it's due. I'm a big fan. They do need to be careful of the players across the road that are hiding down in the ditch. We've already seen Monkey do a drive-by for the style point.
一回見せしめっていうの結構あると思うけどな。なんか昔さ、高校生がなんか電車で電気泥棒して携帯充電したりしてたんでね。それやめなさいって注意してたけど、その一回やめろって注意してたけど、そのなんかいつまでもするみたいな。だからその高校生とかはさ、別にいいじゃんこれぐらいみたいな感じで、その電気泥棒してたのね。携帯とか充電して。でもそれをなんか名前とか出して逮捕したんじゃなかったかな。それでめっちゃ減ったらしいよ。だから見せしめ5。見せしめは大事。
This is going to be so much fun. That hill cannot accommodate too many more teams because these are 4 teams. These are 4 stacks of teams. These aren't just players here and there. This is a lot. This is a lot of players heading towards that mountain. So FaZe going to tuck themselves at the base of it for now. You've got some Tempest over, some Tempest in the north. Haifu still north. Ents still in the north now.
ああ、そうだ、そういうのあるかもしれないね。
Ents had huge potential. Oh, Gustav's gone down. He was later than the rest of the pack, so everyone still kind of was watching and looking that way. But Ents had huge potential to leapfrog a lot of teams to these positions, and they kind of dropped the ball on that. The Wildcats working their way forward, that's against Red Bull.
ああね。
Something like this, you have to remember, and it only goes further to what you.
だからもうなんかそのプラマイで考えたらもうダメだよね。そうなっちゃうと。
Against the northern edge of the blue, and they are deep inside the circle. Where's Ents in all this? I mean, the pass. That's a headshot and a half. Nav.
お前強っ。お前強っ。
Two teams simultaneously falling there, I believe. It was.
確かに。
Marv, you absolute god! What a hold!
That's actually pretty
まあ
nuts. I honestly
そ
don't
の
expect him to
訴
get
え
that
て
second.
勝
His
って
adjustment
相手
is
から
so
さ
good.
その
So
訴えた
good.
分ぐらいとか
Fast
弁護士費用代ぐらいはリターンが取れるんだったらやってもいいけど
Living off bandages and hope.
ちょっと全くの赤字とかだったらやんないかもしれないけど俺がもしされたらやる
Avoid that at all costs.
やるね
Now let's look at that new circle.
見せしめにし
We are
て
heading
もう
towards
名
the
前
north.
と住所家族構成
Both of
出
them
身
do
校
that. And
すべ
you're
てインターネッ
right.
トに出す
You think about FaZe, their route to this position. They die, but let's talk about how far they've gotten. You know, you had someone like Northern Lights with a similar.
俺の持ってる財力
So,
すべてをかけて
you
すべ
know,
てでや
Northern
るか
Lights have
ら
done
な
really well to get up here. If you're going to compare them to Ents, for example, who started in the north, but they made nothing of it, and that really is a shame. I'd love to have seen them maybe push a little further, get a little bit deeper into this, because now they're playing edge game. And as Monkey said in that interview, not many people can play the edge well. Navi does it.
ファイナルマス全部ってその分やる
Really
わ
making it work. So the current meta does not favor this style. Ents now making the bridge run. They're over by kind of Ruin's side.
なんか一回親と話し合ったことがあるんだよねそれでなんかもしなんかそのいやできませんそれはできませんいやそれはもうそれやばすぎだろ
And just fighting for themselves. When you look at other teams that work as a unit, they will move as a roster. They have no issues in just separating off on a
お前それ普通にタップ中しとけばあ
2-2 or 2 or whatever. They don't mind just overextending.
なんで俺にかかってんだよ
Which I'm okay with that. You got to play for your own life.
俺にはかかってないよ
As long as you know the position of your
一
teammates
回親と
around
話したこ
you
と
and
話したこ
what's
とあって
secure
さ
and what's
もし
not.
なんかそのインターネットとか誹謗中傷とかめっちゃされたらどうするみたいな
Here an English translation of what their communication
誹謗中傷みたいなそのプロのそういう人結構多いんだよねっていう話してで誹謗中傷されたらどうするみたいないやそれはもう知り合いの弁護士使ってもうそいつの家族構成から全部出してインターネット公開やっていう話は俺親にされたなそれにかかるお金は別に使ってもいいって言ったらそんなもん構わんっつって見せしめや見せしめみたいなっていう話をしてたね
make it as far as they maybe like in this kind of hillside attempt they've gone for. Maybe Ents will outlive them. Maybe this example will, you know, seem a little ridiculous, but it's as I said, it's a common fact that we see. FaZe will, you know, you can't say that them being leader of the lobby with their playstyle.
まあ個人情報さらすのはまずいから気をつけるけどね
Now the point is, we
さ
look
すがに
towards
そこまでは
the
せん
red
けど
zone. They were at the bottom. They just got caught. Mac and Dark's gone down. They've got one left. Fast Rail's gonna be playing this out as long as he can. He needs to outlive Red
でも
Line.
土下
Just
座
let
さ
them
せ
go
る
first, and he'll just
俺の
creep
目の
up
前
with
で
the blue once it moves in. Fast Face and Uber are
絶
still
対に
alive,
土下座
but
さ
they
せ
are
る
being kept alive by the thinnest of margins. It's very slim at the moment for them. They have to just try and play it out passive here, which is it's easier said than done.
I mean, they got given a decent circle earlier on. It was about time they got given a bad
相手
one.
の親の会社
They have
と
to deal with it. They are a team who
親の会社とご近所さんや
deals with
ね
these scenarios very well. Circle updates. It keeps one of the players in. Uber's still there, but for how long?
でもしその人が引っ越ししたら引っ越ししたご近所さんにも電話しとくわ。
How many smokes do you have though? That's the question. Take a look in that bottom corner.
この部屋にしてこの子あり。そうだ。もっとやるんだ。徹底的にやれ。
Across the edge of the circle. They're playing edge because I think this circle comes down. We see many of them ended on the top of the hillside, but this one, with how much greenery is still in play, this one for me eventually comes down. They'll be waiting with open arms.
いやマジ増えたね。
Time to move.
仲良くないのに死ねっていうのは結構やべえよね。そうだよ、それさ、一回やったら次からそういうことをしてくるやついなくなるからね。だからそれに対するあれだと思ったら別にいいんじゃないかな。
Where do you go? Which angle do you take? Do you go towards the north and do the approach there?
間違いない。
Or do you go down to the south and potentially get shafted by?
特にテラスハウスとかよくありそうだよね。
Either way, they're in a really nasty spot. This has been so cruel to them. You could argue that they should have moved earlier on, but hey, it's just one of those things. If FaZe Clan outlives them, then it does come down to moving earlier, because even in a very difficult spot, FaZe Clan alive. Okay.
俺このマーブって人頑張ってほしい。これマーブって人頑張ってほしい。
I'm fine with it. He may not be doing well, but he's getting our attention. Now, Northern Lights, gotta be careful not to overextend.
マーズくださいとかこじきする人は俺嫌いかな。
Tempest being
2ちゃんだけの時は見てたから。
they're not getting away with it.
利用者が増えた
those crates, so it's a very open run. We've all had to do it. We've all played the games where this happens. Making that run is very tough. Wookie Bookie Pixel feeling the brunt of that force. Tommel on the play, on the run, on his bike, and off he goes. Senya for Na'Vi, 5 kills. They're such a machine in the way they play, just slowly churning through the rest of the lobby. It feels like yes, they may not have an advantage.
ライマジ頑張ってる。ライマジで頑張ってる。
again.
いい空気出てるもんここ。
Stop it. Leave him alone. Oh, another big nade coming down from the hill. I think that was from Northern Lights. Keeping Ents locked away from getting up top. Yeah, Batulin's probably let that one fly considering he was one closest to it. Got a bullet back. Fuzzface getting in. It'll be Shiv this time.
Fuzzface やばくね？
Tommel. So, vengeance is finally had, but FaZe are still staying alive. Fuzzface is getting into his own here. Na'Vi shifting very far to the south. Interesting reposition from them. I'd love to keep an eye on how they approach this. Get in the vehicles. They've got everything they need.
いや別に欲しいものリスト貼るのは別にいいんじゃない？俺嫌いじゃないよ。
この前のドブーテ TT をやるな。
ああやって貼ってるだけでさ、みんなにさ、誰々さんこれ送ってくださいよ、これくださいよって言ってるわけじゃないでしょ。貼ってるだけで、送ってくれたらありがとうございますって言ってるだけで別にいいんじゃない？じゃなくて、名指しで何々さ、マウスくださいとかさ、何々さんお金くださいっていうのは俺嫌い。それは違う。ただの小じきだね。
This could be Na'Vi's time to strike. They need to take out Etiga in order to move forward. That's their next victim, if you will, or the next objective at least. Fuzzface has gone down in the back lines, just so you are aware. But yeah, this was still the Uber going head and toe versus anyone else who was left in front of him. Black's still alive, especially after FaZe just picked apart the rest of his roster.
この山のアンチ結構難しいよね。
But you know what? It's paying off. Tixu has knocked his own man. That's rather unfortunate. That's going to burn him at the wayside. Northern Lights, big nade. 1, 2, thank you. Squeaky down, dead, dusted. One man standing.
山上も端っこから来る方が強いかな。真ん中の山って結構いっぱい周りから上がられて挟まれると結構しんどくなるよね。あ、取られてる。
Better look next time from a distance on the hill. They take that one through. Nate goes up, does do some damage.
I don't
know this whatsoever, but look at the damage that's still coming from the opposing side. Better look next time arriving to this party could be the downfall of all these teams downwind of them, but also they've been tunnel vision for a little bit onto the Northern Lights. Do they know the position?
先に上行っても挟まれづらい。いや、先に上いた方が挟まれやすいかもしれない。でその辺噛み合いやね。
Does it? Look at Fate, look at Monkey, look at Shiv. They're not checking on this. Did Shiv just have a look? He might have just seen something. He might have just had an idea that someone might be there. I think they've worked it out as Nailp and Monkey are now kind of falling off of that kind of peak of it.
たまにあるよ。山頂の
ETG are just left on the bottom of the hill, so is Diggory, so is Batulin. So they're the kind of solo-ish side that you're seeing here. This isn't as exciting. They're going to play late game. They're not going to get involved unless they have to.
BL とかが結構いい位置じゃないかな。その後ろに敵がいないっていうのは結構なアドバンテージだよ。
If they clear this team out, their backs are super safe. So that's going to be in the back of their minds. But let's look at who's got the better line of sight. You've got to argue better luck next time. Have the slightly higher ground, whereas Rage Reg are depending more on the northern side of the circle. Navi's presence is noted. That's why Esports, they're the ones kind of getting the shots in, looking for the fire, trying to get a little bit of security. Now with the circle moving central, that plays well for Rage Reg, but the first bit of fire just came through from Better Luck next time, so they need to remember to not overextend.
I'm watching the map here. I really want Raise Your Edge just to focus onto Better Luck next time, but again, we don't know if they have the information and not behind them. If they've been opening up, in fact, actually, they should do, because they have been opening up onto Na'Vi, we know that. So they definitely will hear those shots. If they wrap... Oh, Diggory, what else have you got? Got one.
まあラインも一応敵はいないっちゃいないんだけど後ろに。
That's not good. Was he the man with the level 3 gear and the Groza? He was.
でも位置的に BL の方が
That's one of your big players now.
強そうやね、上から下だから。
One pawn down. Who's going to be the king to step up? It's not Monkey. He's fallen. Tap down as well. So he's nail up. Everything's falling apart for Raise Your Edge.
そうこれ上結構強いんよねこれ。え？トロール？
Fortunately, does fall. Gets a little bit too aggressive. Teammates burning at the wayside, looking for this player, but he can't see him through the flames. He doesn't realize he's actually just below him.
これ上マジ強いんよな。
He gave it up to Na'Vi in the end, but a close attempt. Not bad. Good kills for Raise Your Edge. That's a swing up. That's a good takeaway for them. They can't be too mad at that one. Now let's look who's alive. 4 teams. Better Luck next time can revive the third, so they should have 3 up. And still stand in the form of Diggory. Na'Vi have 2, and a late game completely clean. 3 vest, 3 helmet, and an org. Not bad at all. Vessel's got that 8 kills as well. A high kill game for Na'Vi. As Diggory's the first target on the chopping board for Na'Vi. They want to get rid of him. Can they find him without exposing themselves to Better Luck next time? I don't think so. Diggory's banking on that fact as well. Kemba focused on Diggory, but do they see the bigger picture of Better Luck next time closing in from up above? This could be a nice bit of vengeance, but Diggory wants to play for placement. Ents need this. Keep in mind they're in 11th currently. Got to triple digits. But you want that kill. You want a little bit more if you could have it. Maybe even a 2nd place would be ideal. And the circle moves to the south. It moves away from Diggory, so he has quite the way to run here.
Kemba's still on red alert, even though they know where Better Luck next time will be lurking. I like the fact that he's not taking his eye off Diggory. Even if he doesn't know exactly where he is, they know of his presence. Once they remove him, you go into the 2 versus 2. Still something in the back of Na'Vi's mind that want a bit of revenge for that 4K that we saw last week in the car. His way out. He spotted good headshot though. That's a beautiful tag. Bestalok will be forced back here to help out now. Is that the go symbol? Is that the time to strike on the side?
いやーこの人結構いいよ見せたのでも。
Even though he goes down, he has forced these guys into a heal scenario. Better Luck next time do have the height advantage on both members of Na'Vi, but the level 3 gear and the AUG in this scenario could be pivotal, Lauren.
Yeah, Arctics will
いいとこ打ってる。てか敵の来る順番を理解してたねちゃんと。
further away, but here come the Molotovs. Flash is there, fully flashed. Arctics has no idea. Kissick holds his flank. It's just Kemba now using the body as bait, using it as a shield. It does not matter. Better Luck next time. 11 kills, good positioning, and they hold the hillside.
これで終わり？あと29だけど、マッチ30で終わりじゃないの？
It's a damn good showing for this lobby.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. Up at the top, what are they looking at the overall tournament factor? We actually look at the leaderboards themselves. 9th place overall, 122 points. They're performing really well. Another win like that, this is a 21-point game. It's going to send them further up the field, and that's where we want them to be. There's potential. They're actually, of all teams, knocking on Na'Vi's door here for that 6-7 position spot.
not bad. It's not a bad performance at all. I want to see what that's done to the
라인 맞아,
overall board though. With Raise Your Edge, good amount of kills there, a little bit more late game. We saw Ents pushing a little bit harder. Diggory making it through quite late. A lot of those boxes checking now for the team.
5試合5試合やんのに偶数で終わんの？偶数でってか4とかで。6試合かこれ。5試合じゃない？
That's right. It is better luck next time, and they are absolutely blasting. The 2 games prior to this, they got themselves 2 third places and now a first place as well. They are guaranteed going to be going through into that grand final moment there for the next week, I should say. And it's fantastic to see how they've stepped it up throughout the day, Toby. It's just phenomenal.
Well, by the end of the last break, I said if they can find a way to get kills coming into next week, it's going to look good for them. It seemed like they did that with just 1 game break. They didn't need more than that, so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to try and see if you can go and get something done like that? And in a very difficult game to play as well. They had a really, really good transition.
これ選んでるこれ何回やった？これ今2回？これ2回？終わり？
How they play. They were fortunate. Outside, but they had to fight alongside with Northern Lights and trying to hold everyone off of the Everest there. And it's a difficult thing to do, and they pulled it off.
1回って30で終わってあと6で終わり。
Great little spot up there to be able to shoot down upon people, and then as you can see here, Na'Vi with a few more kills once again. Martin, what do you make of Better Luck Next Time throughout the day so far? It's been great.
I gotta be honest, the first day I saw them at 16 points, I was like, okay, well, suiting name, I guess that's it for you guys here, but they stepped up, they surprised us. I mean, the next day with that, 41 points, 42, and now they're gonna be surpassing that as well, so super nice to see.
素数、なるほどね。
the more like upcoming teams.
奇数じゃないのね、素数なのね。
Nice to see that they're able to step up like this.
Yeah, definitely. Ents get themselves one of the top spots as well. But once again, Na'Vi is just going to be
俳句？確かに。俳句はさ、もう6連動見せて。
And then Better Luck Next Time will clean things up at the top of Everest. So very good. Na'Vi get themselves a second place. Let's take a look at those points coming in. Unfortunately for Adepts Red Zone and Nuclear Penguins, they get themselves 0. Is unfortunate indeed. A lot of teams here that are really wanting some points like Wasted Potential. And Toby, unfortunately for Wasted Potential, they lost a lot very early and it was all down to Fast Rail to try.
確かに29素数じゃね?
Yeah, it was a tough one, and one of the teams that were in the, I guess you can say, the positive end of all of that was Raise Your Edge. I mean, they come off of a win, and now they immediately right off the bat of the next one get. I mean, it's not really getting aggressive because they had players coming towards them, but it's getting out there, getting kills, and once again they find a late game placement. So maybe what Monkey said is we just needed something to go our way, and hopefully for them they can get a good 3rd game on Rankles today as well.
Oh my god! The lead damage.
The lead damage.
It couldn't be more perfect for Better Luck Next Time. Jeez, what a stellar day they have had, and it's fully deserved, and it's going to be fully deserved going into the final. Now, whether they can keep that form in the final is debatable, but this is fantastic so far, even surpassing Na'Vi when it comes to damage done. As we take a look at our full kill leaders at the front, Mr. Fuzzface makes an appearance, Martin, popping off.
Yeah, 5 kills. He was able to stay there for a very long time.
ロシアのチーム強いね。
Keeping some of the teams that decided to go containers, which was a suicide anyway.
Marvin マジ強かったな。
But they managed to get some kills from there and decided to just play around that. And Fuzzface was able to clean that up nicely. Spyro and Battlefield though on the top, and Perfectic actually also.
Yeah, Northern Lights, once again, Toby kind of having a lot of room to work with in some of those earlier circles, so they kind of pick and choose where they wanted to go for a little while. Is that fair to say?
To some extent, I still want to say they played this the exact same way they played their win on Miramar earlier today. They are in a position where, yes, you have space between your players, but you only get that space by constantly shooting and keeping everyone away. Because the hilltop on Everest is one of those spots where, when we saw it in the late game too, once the first team gets in to push you, everyone else goes, wait, they're fighting at the top. Yeah. This is our chance to maybe take the spot away from both those teams. But they managed to keep everyone away until circle 6 or 7, which is an extremely hard thing to do because there's only so many spots you can play. But you saw it in the damage there. They were constantly shooting and keeping everyone at distance.
Yep, very nicely done. All right, we're going to a short break, ladies and gents, and when we return, we have our final game of the day. It will be game number 6. It will be Erangel Remastered. We'll see you in a few for more PUBG.
しぶりに見たけどフッツファセさん一生強いっすね。
ファスフェス今大会めちゃ強いね。
今ピクセルは分かったわ、わら。
めっちゃ綺麗な目だな、この人。
こんばんは。
こんばんは。
謎のゲーム。こんばんは、ルブペイクア。
こんばんは。
誰得なんこれ。元の人を知らねえんだよな。
そうなんだよな。
公式が選手の顔で遊ぶって日本じゃまずなさそうだな。わら。シノビーさんとファイナルマウスミックスしてほしい。わらわら。日本もこのマッチにしてくれ。穴開くだけじゃん。もう一戦。
あと1回あると思うよ。これはもうそろそろ眠くなってきた。
投げと思ったけどプジスはもっと投げんよな。
そうだよ。特に最終試合とかめっちゃ投げよ。インターバル30分ぐらいあるからな。会場俺ら寒すぎてブルブル震えてるからね。
Welcome back. One more game remaining here for day number 5 of PCS Charity Showdown EU, and we have Erangel Remastered coming up. And so far, so good for a lot of the teams that are trying to get themselves up to that top 16 position. We've just seen a Raise Your Edge win. We've just seen a win as well from Better Luck Next Time, who have truly solidified themselves up at the top Martin now in a 7th place, jumping up 2 spots at 143 points. That's fantastic for them.
Very impressive for such a new team, new name.
オンラインだったら8分とかじゃない。10分はちょっと長いかもしれないね。でも5分は短すぎない。
NTSM playing today, but ENCE should have been above, in my opinion. Tornado Energy should have been above them, in my opinion. Raise Your Edge should have been above them, in my opinion. But we might see some changes tomorrow after all with the games being done.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, you thought maybe 110 might be the cutoff point for 16? Is that fair?
I would say so. 105 plus minus 5.
Because I'm looking at this and it could, I don't know, it could be a little higher maybe, but you're ballparking it, right?
8分ぐらいが一番いいんじゃないかな。見てる方も8分だったら待とうと思う。10分だったら、風呂入ってこようかなってなるかもしれないし。
You can double looking at 16th, you could double it, and that was around the number we were hitting, like the 105 mark-ish, I believe.
アジアの PCS めっちゃ始まるの早くない？終わって、パパッといったらすぐ次始まるじゃん。あれめっちゃいいよね。早いわ。あれは結構早い。あれは見れるね。ライブでも。
Last game here, Toby, to try and put themselves on the board. So we're looking at Misfits, we're looking at Penguins, but even these teams, they're going to have a smashing. I think some of them are already probably kind of done and dusted. So it may be those middle pack teams from Group C, right?
You'd have to think so. You'd have to think so. I mean, it seemed like Misfits. No, I think we can call it now. It's not going to happen. Wasted potential and Nuclear Penguins, they're sitting close to one another in terms of points. Nuclear Penguins, they already have a win. They've had some decent games too. They need that with a little crisp on top in order to break that 110 barrier. So I'm not going to call it out and say it's not going to happen. I'm just going to say it looks very unlikely.
まあなんかその
I mean, they wanna
大会に対してこれいらないよねって言われても俺はそれがあるから大会やらせてもらえてる立場だからさいらないと思っててもいやマジでいらないよねって言えないよね
They wanna maybe if they can get 10, 11, maybe 15 points in this game, say okay, at least we know we're in the grand finals now, it's resetting, then we can take it from there.
Could be very close. Let's get into it. The final game for Group C at least as we head over to Sims and Pansy.
All right, another go of things. Who are you looking at here, Rich? Who's the one who stands out to you? What storyline captures your thoughts the most in this?
It's a difficult one, given the ups and downs and backwards and forwards of who could and who can't qualify. It's always harder when we have a full day of play left. I have to try and think in my mind who's still, who still has points to play for tomorrow, who's still got a position that could be changed and isn't solidified by anybody else. Looking at the overall standings, let me just refresh how this works. Wasted Potential, 18th at the moment currently. Raise Your Edge, but we know they have another day to play. Wasted Potential, did they play yesterday in our group? Yes, they did. Okay, so they came 15th overall. So Wasted Potential is one that needs to play for their money right now. It's as simple as that. If they don't perform in this one and they don't make it to above 16th, then they're not going through. Raise Your Edge, another day to play, that's fine. Misfits, it's been a bit of a rough one, but, I'm all for bringing again. Never kick anyone when they're down, unfortunately. It's not unfortunately. Never kick anyone when they're down. You won't bother with it. It's just not fair. But it's certainly been rough. Some other teams that can take advantage of that and realize who it is, and maybe they think, okay, well, we can follow on with them while they're down. It's really hard. The question's quite loaded, 'cause they don't really know who's going to make it to what stage.
結構強いよここ
But you know yourself, anyone that's really below 100 points by the end of this, anyone who's not there now and they're on the
移動もしやすくて物資がうまくてっていうのはなかなかないよねポチンキとかもう本当いいよね物資絶対うまいやん
I think for me what I'm enjoying is watching maybe a recovery from Raise Your Edge. That to me is like quite the standout so far, just purely because we've seen day and night performances. They've been able to adapt quite quickly. Yes, it's not welcome back, but that's two very polarizing circles where they've been able to definitely recover a little bit. Now they're still quite low at the bottom here. They're not out of it just yet, but they can push. They've given themselves a plateau to work from. And another good game could really set them up. That's what I'm hoping, is that maybe we see them build a bit more off the back of it. I do see Adepts, I see Red Zone, I see Red Light. All these players, all these teams, they're doing very well. But I want to see just that little bit more, that little bit of that final push. How much do you have left in the tank? Same with Wasted Potential. How much further can they go? There's the big one. Now, who will be on our screens there? Northern Lights. Comfy. Second right now, 170 points. You can't ask for more. You'll always want more, but you're comfortable and you're happy. Now, Ents, we want to see them pick up. They have. It's not been a complete turnaround, but it's been a marked improvement. That's what my teachers used to say to me. You know, it's not actually, you know, you're not doing actually very well, but it is a marked improvement on like 0. So, well done. But overall, Na'Vi still solid, Tempest solid. I have to, you know, most of these teams towards the top have shown that they are resilient. They have that ability to adapt as well. That to me is the fun part. But let's not forget ourselves. We're seeing FaZe playing a little bit looser in certain aspects. They're over in Yasnaya right now. That's not something I expected. They've had some crazy drops.
They're on the second game. They're on the final match of the group stage, Lauren, and they're the only team 200 points, and they clear by about 25. So they might pull a liquid in the final game we saw with them. Yeah, just do what you like. It's
だから第一パルスの真ん中っていうのはあんま当てにならないってことだよね。
TSM Sunday again,
do we do? Yeah, I mean TSM could do maybe kicking it up a gear. They're you know, they're doing fine, but when TSM gets good, it gets exciting to watch, right? Like that's always the big thing. It's like, yeah, they're pretty solid.
本当に真ん中真ん中真ん中真ん中になるようなアンチって全然なくない。第3か第4第2打線第4でめっちゃハードシフトするじゃん。
Maybe challenged by FaZe, and there is something very deadly about a team who has nothing to lose. They'll just play out. They don't have to care too much. Now they've gone towards Ents, and actually Squeaky's called off Uber. Very lackluster from FaZe in regards to them playing their normal, like, you know, tight game. That was a little bit in the open there from Uber. And normally not a player I'd ever have to, not highlight a mistake, but he's not normally the one to get caught out. Out of any player in the lobby.
A bit late over there, Lauren. You might just think, you know what, if I do this and just pretend it was an accident, I can go have an early dinner. Is he crawling outside as well? He may have just been clipped by that fire. I'll keep them at bay. Deny the res. If that's gone inside, then that's definitely going to deny the res. FuzzFace will hold the Harry Potter tower. He's still trying to make his way forward. Oh my god, they've done it. How are you alive? A breath of fresh air, and you will be dead, my friend. Res will come through. We have seen Ents hold this compound several times before in the past. Smoke walls up, and I like the fact they're not actually committing anyone to it. They know where FuzzFace is, they know his presence. There's no point in sending the other two here. Gustav's holding the opposing compound, so it just makes it that much harder if all 4 players want to push in. They're going to be open to the crossfire. Haiku looking towards the compound that we know as the liquid compound, although it has changed hands in recent months. Depths.
いや、多分あれがファズフェイスでも起こしに行ったと思うよ、みんな。
No one say thankfully.
ファズフェイスが H とかグスタフとか。でもあれは起こせるところだと思ったら起こしに行くんじゃないかな。相手詰めてこなかったし、ね。
The teams that are just doing whatever they want at this moment in time now. Be late, but it doesn't matter. It's the usual spot for them. Northern Lights, if you can see the map, all the way on the west coast. All the way over there, just chilling.
大きくん、大かじゃなくて。
They'll be playing this one late. Maybe even come from the north. Who knows? They might just swing it around. They've got enough points, in my opinion. They can just play with this one. Second on the leaderboard.
だから相手の火炎瓶の中に
and we'll see you in the finals, boys. Not a problem.
火炎瓶の中にもう一個火炎瓶入れて、いや敵の火炎瓶つれはっつって他に火炎瓶食らすかもしれない。
No, it feels like everyone's kind of betting on the same sort of thing. Let's treat where Razor Edge is, maybe where the Wildcats are, as a central point. Let's treat it as such. Northern Lights, so far away. It's wild how far out they are. They're on the western road up towards Georgia Pulse. They're going super late game. When Na'Vi are comfy in the circle, you know, minutes ahead of you, you know you're playing late game. Markelov there, going to find one of the red zone boys. Very isolated, very much on his own. Markelov not going to fully commit to the flush yet, just going to see if anyone's there. Just they haven't cleared all of these compounds just yet, so you can see a nice little bit of control on that. They're fine anyway. They can get themselves into a better position regardless, and they can kind of solidify what they started, try and get the lay of the land as to where they are.
早くは多分これドンカツしてもまだ最下位だよ。
And so still hold FaZe clan. Really don't have to move. There's no point, to be honest with you.
ドンカツしても一個も順位が上がらないことある?
Yeah, I think that's why you'll probably expect a bit of dead Santos from us, just kind of watching how things unfold.
鮮明に覚えてる悔しいシーンってありますか？
And we go again for a final time in the group stage tomorrow, which sets us up for a... I kind of said this, I know we've got some really strong teams throughout these 24 that are actually...
俺結構記憶力いい方っていうかさ、どの大会のあの時どんなシーンだったって言われたら結構覚えてるよ。すっごい昔のことでも。
Both of them just ramming it uphill. But yeah, it at least guarantees us when we get to the grand finals that out of all this, we've definitely found the 16 best teams currently.
いや、なんか言われ、そのここがここがあって、まあまああるかな、あるよ。悔しいっていうより、あ、俺やったなみたいな感じのところとか、
素朴な疑問なんですけど、チーム内の言えないことでも移籍したら全部教えちゃうもんなんですかね。
It's good practice, right? There's a few teams that we've not seen before.
チーム内の言えないこと、作戦とかだったり。
There's no better way to practice in.
それはもう移籍したらそれはもうふんだんに言いまくりますね。
There's no better way to do it. Review it afterwards, look it over, and you'll walk away with some wonderful information. Now, Circle, just shifting as you'd expect, hitting up the biggest point of land here. Right in between, yes, Naya and the south coast. So
Cloud9 じゃなくて
becomes a little bit more playable. More of the south becomes a viable option, which some of those teams on the extremities might decide to try out.
クラウド級だったわ。
あれやろ、クラウド9やろ。あれは覚えてるよ結構。
Where's FaZe heading? Where are they off to?
Maybe they just go through the fields and just kind of scout and do what they want. Just chill.
あれは確か香港の大会だったかな。
No real reason for him to go crash a building and I think there's also probably for me
ふんだんに言いまくりますよ。
talking completely
あの香港の大会俺結構
from
まあ個人だけだけど個人だけは良かったね。
not want to just go and just smash teams for the fun of it when they know there's others still that are looking for qualification here. I know it's been brought up several times with the 4K we saw Navi and such, but with someone like FaZe, yes, it's nice to go hunting, but they also don't need the points, whereas others do. So why bother bashing into someone to ruin someone's game? That could be the factor. Yeah, I know, and like, I don't know that... But they can just chill, there's no real reason to kind of...
確かダメージとノックが7位だったかな、
Then I respect it. It might not be, now I could be talking utter garbage and falls a bit like...
ダメージとノックが7位だからだったな。
Find the team almost qualified, kill them. Who's almost there?
でも8試合しかやってないからね。8試合だったかな。多分それぐらいしかやってないから。強っ強っ。いや俺もあれ回復終わったと思ってんけどな。
Now, the remaining wasted potential team struggling to find position here. It feels like they've not had clean rotations, and they're getting picked apart from a lot of directions.
仲間に2点入れてもらったから。 そう。
They need a
い
big
や俺
game here
回
as
復終
well.
わったと思ったけ
And
どな。
unfortunately, it will be coming. Dire straits at the moment,
って
especially
いう
with
の
the
は
18th
たまにある。
place. 2 points of 60, so the kills and frags have been there. Just unfortunately the late game, getting to those final few circles of the match and bolstering those points combined with the placement. It's not been perfect, far from it to be honest. We shall see. There's still a chance, as small as it is, there's still a chance. Circle, again, this is why me and Laura are just kind of just chilling for now. There's no point in play-by-play in every footstep that goes by.
Wait, are you telling me that you don't want commentators who yell about everything? What? What?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
You don't want fake hype all the time? No.
Pushing across the roadside, Eki on the opposing side looking for more gear. He's found a first aid. Jesus Christ.
Rich, he's spotted him. He's looking at him. He's crouching, he's leaning. Pixel!
Does
he know it? Oh my god, this could be an unbelievable scene here. He's decided to look the other way. Such intelligence. He spots out Pixel from a new angle. I've never seen anything like this. This could be game-changing. Wookie Bookie has actually landed a shot. Again, we're 12 minutes in. There's 61 alive. There's barely been a death here. But now the bullets rain in. And they miss, but it really doesn't matter in the bigger picture.
The bike, Lauren. The small drive of a massive 4 yards has been so pivotal. Pixel still... Oh, yeah, we're not going to do that. There's just no need. You do it better than me, but there's just no need.
Some say, some people are naturally good at faking it. What can you say?
I think
Haiku.
I just think it kind of devalues the battle royale
When it's
scenario.
actually good?
Like, it needs to be brought up to that level. So I don't mind chatting away about various things. I mean, hell, speaking about Gamescom earlier on, I'm all for that.
It's a good time. I mean, PUBG is.
もう弾ないよあなた。
I don't know.
何発撃つの。
esports game, right?
Yes,
It's
I
like, I
撮りたいけ
feel
ど。
that I can actually have a
撮られ
chill
てるし、しか
conversation
も。
with the community more than I can with any other scene out there right now. But when the action gets good, I mean, it's incredible. I can still remember the exact cast I was doing when the guy was sat over by hospital. He leans the rock and kills like
しか
4
も
people.
今の人
Like,
5ミリ武器だ
it's
ったんだ
sometimes
け
this
ど、
game
ア
can
サ
be
ルト
incredible,
も。
but also the point of PUBG is that there are lulls, there are lows. It's it's not all this kind of like aiming style. It's very cerebral. It's the pace is very hit and miss, and we're going to see it now winding up as we are getting towards that 13, almost 14-minute marker. Teams are on the move, and Tempest is one of them. Zeron's just seen Wookie Bookie get out of the car. Unbeknownst to Wookie Bookie, the eyes are all on him, and the second he stands still, that SLR is going to do some hefty work.
Wilderbith's response at 44 HP, headshot out the car, insta heal. If he gets it under the tire, then it'd be nice, but I think he'll just take them out and hold him.
この人回復しないんだけど。
It's a potential for a third
この
party
人
here.
回復しないんだけど、
Tempo
この
looks
人。
towards
この
the
人
Penguins.
1点でも SLR
Tempo
もらった
then
ら
gets
死ぬけど。
looked on by
多分。
Misfits, all playing for this long ridge down towards the southern end of the circle. Potato Hill has 4 players in. Adepts are going to be there. Navi, edge game. Would you have any other less? Fast rail. Dink and a donk. Thank you, bye-bye. 2 players back-to-back just like that. And Eki comes down to him. The player off the back has no idea what's going on. Comes around the corner and wasted potential is wasted. 16th place in a lobby where they needed some points. Sorry, boys. It's not good enough.
落ち着いてる。いや、ダメージポイント換算したらちょっとやばいと思う。さすがに。
Yeah, this is the game you'd hope they'd do a little bit of recovery work. Maybe you get a little bit late game. I feel like they're losing so many players on rotation.
いやでもね、ノックした人が、
this lobby isn't meant to be easy. This isn't meant to be kind to teams who can't keep up with the big boys. This is why it is this caliber. Now,
ノックした人がさ、なんていうの、キルパクがなくなれば、俺結構いいなとは思ったから。
Penguins, trying to do some damage, but I think they're gonna have to
キルパクめっちゃ不幸じゃない。
about how they're gonna get themselves in.
せっかく俺がノックさせたのにみたいな。
This has been the most
まあ逆も
centralized
しかり
circle
だ
we've
けど
seen in
さ。
a long time.
I don't mind. We'll see where it goes towards the next one. There's a bit of difficult terrain if it does go to the footholds of the Potato Hill. You got that open
Apex と
grassland
かってどうな
area.
の？キルパクあるのあれ。
Raise your edge. Solid spot. Apartment
コットはないんだよね。コ
solid,
ット
but with how
と
big they are,
フォートナイト。
open to being able to get breached.
まあやったら気持ちいいけど
You're
ね。
just getting inside the buildings, then you're like, well, I'm stuck now above them.
あ、ないん
What
だ。
else we can do?
あ、じゃあノックした人のキルになるの？他の人がやっても。
Oh my God, I was looking at the map. Did he knock him off the bike?
Yeah, like the spray came through, like he was leading it by a country mile and it worked. Like that was actually pretty filthy. Good job, Clib. And you're probably pretty pissed off if you're the Penguins because you're the ones shooting at them. And well, didn't go so good in the end. The Misfits letting them pass and then maybe gonna set the trap. They're not quite inside the circle yet themselves. Maybe trying to get the idea of the bigger picture here. Now, Senya has another couple of victims. This could be pretty hard to handle, but actually managed to maintain unscathed. Now the car's not looking so hot. And now neither of the players. Senya is gonna find the twos. The car made it further than the players did. Na'Vi maybe looking to
キル
close
パ
this
ク
one
が
out
なく
with
な
a
れ
bang.
ば、もっと炭素な持つ人増える
Incredible
よ
this。tournament.
ノックさせてもさ、誰かが殺してくれたら、
phase in the middle
自分
of
のキルに
nowhere.
入るじゃん。
Having to get past Haiku, they've already lost out on Gustav. Now 8C has to find the last man. Go Black tries to hide in the corner, swings out, the gun barrel swings up, and now 8C. He really peeked that window like that? There we go. Peeks out nicely in the end, resets the timing on it, and outdoes Haiku for now. That's going to be 2 points added. There's not much that can be said back to it by Haiku. Look at these. Oh, 8C.
もうきつそうだね。
8C and Buzzface doing it to Haiku. Right to the face of the phase. Looking deadly. 8C not happy with the spray there, but pretty good to me on recovery.
What's worse about that?
確かに
Feels like they're
Apex
just
なんか
chilling,
ダ
just
メージがい
avoiding
くつ出た
fights,
みたい
not
な
getting
結構
involved in all
あれ
this
だよ
and
ね
just。playing passive. They will take somebody if they are directly in front of them, which they have done quite clearly, and it just shows you how damn good they are to execute perfection. Speaking of executed, Tempest, 13
ベストウォッチめっちゃキビキビしてる
Still get to play tomorrow. Plenty of points on the leader table as well. 6th spot overall, so that's a qualification for them. No bother whatsoever.
俳句もうかわいそうだよ。
Let's be aware if the circle isn't favorable to you, you need to
1個上の順位がだってポイント差倍だぞ。
sooner or later.
倍以上あるもん。
Nice place for now. 3-1 split. Tixu takes the central compound in the fields just to the right-hand side of the apartment blocks. Northern Lights a bit further up. Up top above, looking down upon school and the apartments. Na'Vi, next fight about to unfold. Adepts up on top of the Pachinki Hill. The Pachinki Hill is about to become one hot potato, though. Adepts in the middle, Na'Vi to the left, and Misfits about the third party on the right.
それな。
Yeah. It's looking pretty good. Na'Vi slowly climbing that hillside, and as you said, it is going to get pretty hot up here. Tundo is playing off by the, I think that's the newer additions towards it, the trench that runs around it. So Ferex already receives the first bit of attention, but that's from the Misfits. That's from the other side. Now Na'Vi, if they realize this, they can start to strike. Uber still working forward, still finding kills. Oh my word, FaZe! Stop it! You don't need to do any more. I mean, it's quite fun. Keep doing it. Now, Na'Vi, Adepts, Misfits, all trying to make sure they get in that new circle. But while they do it, don't drop the ball. They've got so many people to get past. That's, you know, 12 players potentially, all in the same area, fully looking to go. This is beautiful from Uber. This man's so good at this game, by the way. Like, I still think like Uber's one of my favorite players to watch. Just absolutely nuts. FaZe do need to cross the road, so that's the big thing on their minds. They have to make it across. Now, Adepts has seen a lot of this. He's kept his cool. He's kept calm here. Now, Senya's a one shot. There goes the first. He's got, on the second. Tab best of luck. This isn't an easy trade. He has to get the high ground. And while all this happens, the rest of Na'Vi are bleeding out. The tag comes in from afar. He knows there's someone on that hillside now, but does he know where the other player is? No. But now the Misfits. They hear it all happening, and they want in on this.
It's about time they got themselves involved. Noki finishing off in the kill feed, back to back with the mini. Confirms them. They keep on going, but they have to deal with the Misfits. You have the position. They've been reading all these fights and understanding what's going on. Response come through. Zemberi push back. Dull holds for now. Durex and Noki all cycling nades. Time to let the bombardment go. I'm seeing Molly's down as well. They do not realize though, unfortunately. There are 2 more players that are wrapping them. Zron may have just fallen off, so there is a bit of a respite there. And Monkey goes down in the kill feed. That's not good, especially when FaZe are knocking at the door of that compound and raise your edge. We'll stick with the fight on the screen at the moment.
なんかいきなり実況なくなったけどね、実況なくなったけどいきなり
2人目行くのめっちゃ早かったわら。
しれっとオーバーキルね。なんか実況なくなったぞ。
分かってるのにオーバーキル。
分かってるけどオーバーキル。あれなんかやばくねライ。あれでもグスタブ死んだんか。
あれ
グスタブ死んだっぽいな。実況がなくなりました。ここからはフェイズ対ライの試合になります。まあ念のためね。ちょろっとだけだったら大丈夫から。ちょろっとだったら。
親フラかな。
親フラは受けるでしょ。
そこ入ったんわら。
スモークを焚いて入ったじゃね。まあそれしかないと思うけど。
Seems like there are a bit of issues on the receiving end of the team for the casters. So Martin and I will take over for a little while we get everything sorted. On the other end, Udyr, Raise Your Edge, trying to see if they can hold off against FaZe, and they need good games here coming into tomorrow. So let's see what they can pan on out here.
Yeah, very impressive for Raise Your Edge so far to have raised from the depth, basically. From last weekend, it was looking very dark for them here. Danilo trying to get into a position and pushing red line a little bit. Still have FaZe and some of the other guys still alive. More pressure is coming in. Last game for some of these
なるね。
teams. They need to get as many points as they can out of this
て
game.
かもうこのチーム両方とも不幸になる可能性高いよね。
Damn difficult. I do hear that the castles might be back, so any moment they want to tune in, feel free to join in. Ooh, Fuzz spaceship.
いいよいいよいいよいいよいいよいいよいいよ
And they need to push on this now as
いい
well.
よちょっと頼むライ頼むよライマジマジでもう渋死ぬなお前なんでバレてんのそれお前ウーバーモニターの設定教えて
Oh, it's been found. The monkey is found from this side, and that's going to be FaZe Clan.
モンキ
Very
ー
well played here for Ratio Edge. With 2 guys alive, still Monkey and Nudi are still standing.
And that is really big. Not only do they get the kills there, but they also make so much more room for themselves. And they need that room now because the circle is going to shift away from them. It actually is already starting to close out the compound. Redline is holding up, and in the meantime, Spiro, you can see, trying to isolate Red Zone inside. The Jagged's working for now, but they need to hit some shots here because they
いや
cannot.
多分あれね
They cannot let
スモークの
them
中
stay
から
there
ちょっとじわじわ来てたじゃん
right now, kind of
銃先
isolated
が見え
down
たと
and
思うんだよ
Rocky
ね
needs all the help he can
足
get.
音聞こえんの？
いや足音じゃないと思う多分銃先が出たんだと思う
How is this going to work out? Uber thrown down by the vehicle. It's not going to be easy at all. Spiro is still trying to hold off as best as he can.
それはやばい
Spiro
でも
kills
モンキー
the bubble.
強
You
かっ
know
た
what,
な
guys? We do have things working for the casters. So hop back. Fancy and Sims, take it away.
Hold on. That was a good job. I mean, I know, Toby. Look, you've already got the community on your side. Let us keep something going for ourselves, okay?
決め打ちではないね
I
さす
feel
が
like
に
a deer right now. I'm under fire. Squeaky's gonna get that one, puts him out of his misery, which I might need to be done after this game.
多分決め打ちじゃないと思うけどな
I am. I'm gonna put pizza in. I was hoping that was it, and I thought, you know what, we'll have a clean Sunday night. It's
Ungoが言って
Saturday
たよ
night here,
うんご
but no, we're back on track. Little to be said for Raise Your Edge during all that. It looks like we lost them. I was trying to keep a track of the map as much as humanly possible. Apologies for any confusion out there. Better luck next time making the run.
俺も強
For Key, there's 2 very weakened enemies. His teammate at least can back him up potentially. If Ivers can get involved in this one. One's knocked, Fade's back full HP. Ruston Mar, I'm seeing, is overextending from N. So he said we wanted to see a big game from N. Lauren, could this be it? They've got 4 players and they have the northern side of the circle. 2 players up for Northern Lights, 2 players for Red Zone. Provided they don't get split apart, from 2 different angles, this could be theirs. But it looks to me like better luck next time.
フェイズどうなのフェイズじゃあライどうなったのあ終わってんじゃん
They have been. This could be huge.
あでも17位まで上がってる
Yes, they have
いけんじゃねえライマ
Yes,
ジ
they've got
で
the north side, but the north side is
23位から
You can see this from Ivers. Complete vision over Ruston Mar. Maybe just biding his time. If he shoots, he's got to be able to make sure he gets that kill, and his teammate isn't in that new circle. So
あ
yes,
なんかラグ
they
くなっ
could
て
do
る何
damage,
何何何
but sometimes you got to think about the fight that's at hand, and it's the one against Belloc next time. Fate goes down, and Freaky is in trouble. Now Ivers strikes. Can he get a
お
flush?
いなんか配信調子悪いぞお前
Points through in front of him. But I don't think he's going to get that flush. That might go somewhere else. Ivers trying to fight out from a very, very hard scenario. Faultlessly is above him right now. So if he comes over that ridge, that could be the death of him. 5 teams, Atomical. Got to be careful there. Looking around as well. That's Red Zone. Off on the other side, northwest of this.
うわ強っお前キモい今の
Coffin for Red Zone. Final player bleeds out, and Northern Lights actually split with them as well, so it's a little bit unfortunate. They managed to lose 1. Rustamar did fall, but that's because he was separated from the rest of Ends. Furky's getting close to them down low. In the kill feed, he is confirmed. Ends keeps on going, keeps putting points on the board. There's 10 up for grabs, whoever picks this one up. Northern Lights still in play over by the western edge. Artie. He is forced back. I'm seeing gunfire from Squeaky.
よう3倍で当たるよな
Well. He might be a lone player, but he's a decent player.
3倍でよう当たるのマジで
Cause either of these rosters problems. That's the issue with these solo snakes, right? You just need to be aware and keep your head on a swivel, because then you get into a scenario like Ruston Mar does. He thinks, okay, we'll focus on one fight, but then one player who's just up on an angle, especially with the topography of this hill. It's awful. It's cruel. All they have is trees to play with, and look
いや
at
もう
the
みんなたまないから
open
もう
field
打ち
in
ま
front
くっ
of
て
them,
るからね
Lauren.
これ
There is nothing.
この人 T クツまだ
There
AK
is
だからいいけ
really
ど
so little. What do Ents do about this? Because technically, I guess they have a decent spot at the circle, but to shift Diggory and Squeaky back there, so hard. Do you just unleash them? Do you let them run? Do you let them try and fight it out? I think that might be the only chance. Faultlessly removes Ivers, who's being a real threat, a real pain, but Artix tries the same on the other side.
BL 結構頑張ってね、さっきからずっ
against
と。
Northern Lights. Now the nade could have been good. The rock keeps them safe. Tixu turns attention, spots out deep. Spyro's up there as well, though. So he's going to be trying to support his teammate if needed. But all these teams, this is just barely in it on a Nats wing at this point. We've got a nice tag from Squeaky, but the cover is being removed piece by piece. The mapping closing.
止まってる。
It's so hard for some of these players to find safety from each other. You can see it. Each of them barely finding a new place in. Banking on smokes to keep themselves safe. Faultlessly, there's only so long you can survive there. Spyro under fire. Now burns him away from the rock. Is he open? Not quite yet. He's still fighting it out. Artix kept humble, unable to peek, but Tixu just found Faultlessly. Next time, might be looking at doing this next time. They had the high ground, and it's being taken away. It's just Artix here now.
うまっ
Shots down.
なんか
No
見てるとこうまいな
Northern Lights still standing. 5 kills here for Ents, but they have to make that big, wide, open swing. Tixu getting
弾が
multiple angles.
弾がない
A 360.
もうこの人はあと6発とかなんだけどお前もう撃ちすぎだって
Just noticed that one.
弾がないこいつら
Diggory is going to be a huge surprise. They're all pushing down towards Tixu, pushing
当たってる
down
当たってる
towards
当たってる
Squeaky. They're trying to use that side of the hill. Squeaky's keeping him pinned. The information's going to be coming. Where is Diggory? Show us him on the screen. I want to see what he sees. I want to find out how much information he has, because Squeaky has 19 bullets. He can't do much. Now, what if they come back around? What if they come up on that high ground? How much can Diggory do here? Spyro goes down. It's Diggory from the back. Beautiful play. Aggression from Ents is what we want to see. And now Deep, last one alive. Diggory gets some fire towards him. He has his teammates beside him. He's got his support system. He's got Squeaky. And Ents have the win. 7 kills as well.
エンス強っ
They needed that. And in the final game, they just got it.
17-point game to round it off. That's exactly what they needed. We said no mistakes. There's been a few. It's not been clean. It's been a bumpy ride. But that win might just jump Ents into a safety net. This is 11th overall in the league table with 106 points. You add 17 onto that, and that shoots them, depending on what everyone else has done at least, it shoots you up there, top 7, maybe around 8th place. That's just what they needed. It gets you away from that moment of maybe going out in last place.
あれかあれ強かったね
the group stage, and you're like,